And we're back with more CD action. Day 2, week 6, day 14. It feels so weird. Like simultaneously, it feels like we've been doing this forever, this split, and it also feels like we haven't done very much of it. It has to do with the best of 3 format. So even though it's kind of week 6, we're only seeing kind of 4 matches each week, right? 4 to 6 matches every week. So that's why it kind of feels really slow. Yeah, day 14. But we're only like kind of 6th round, 7th round, depending on which teams we're kind of talking about. They never updated this, so some of the players they're showing probably aren't even there anymore. Well, Doom's back in, so. Yeah. I find it somewhat ironic that they show Grufthar there because they know Grufthar was never making it out. Red's co-owner, Verdini was saying that, yeah, he just made it out, but Grufthar will not. Grufthar is locked in here with them. Hey, I think the prom one's new. I don't remember the prom figurine there. Yeah, okay. Today, our 2 matches are somewhat interesting. I think the first match is the technically higher quality match. Los Grandes versus Corinthians. Reminder of where these teams are right now. Los Grandes are top of the table. And sorry, I had to mute for a sec. Had to sneeze. And Los Grandes, they had a sort of a mediocre start. Their losses are honestly a little bit of a surprise. They lost to Flamengo in week 1, and I think that was one of the reasons why in my head I boosted Flamengo so high. Like, don't get me wrong, I still think Flamengo is a good team, but I really thought they should be near the top, and they did last pretty much with Rice Gaming. And then the loss to Red Academy here was also a bit of a surprise. This was not the Aegis Greftar Red Academy. This was the Doom Greftar Red Academy. So yeah, but generally I think Los is a pretty strong team. MG especially has been starting to pop off a little bit. So up against Corinthians kind of like Kate Stars started the season, you know, really strong, 3-0, and then dropped games to... Okay, dropping to Rats I think was a big shocker. Dropping to Stella is a bit of a shocker, but not as big a shocker, because I think Stella has really good decision making, and so they can definitely punch up. They're good at capitalizing on your mistakes, and they're good at capitalizing on teams that are hesitant. So yeah, the Stella win was also a 2-1 win, which is a lot closer, and we just saw that. Was that last week? So yeah. So this technically should be a top of the table match. Now if Los win, they take Seoul first. Stella just caught up yesterday, but Los could just widen that lead once again. Or recreate that lead, I guess I should say, once again. As for Corinthians, they are kind of in the soup right now. This will be their 6th game. If they win, they're kind of still in contention for that first place. So even though they look very far apart on the standings here, they are actually pretty much still tied-ish because of the way the best of 3s go and the way it's the 6th game for Corinthians, but it's kind of like the 7th, 8th game for Los Grandes at this point. Yeah. Oops, let's get back here. Yeah, 7th and 6th game. So yeah, Corinthians might not actually be behind. They're just 1 game behind in general. Rats versus Reds, another interesting one. Rats has been, first of all, they're 2 and 3. The way they got 2 and 3 was lose, win, lose, win, lose. So theoretically, according to this formula, they should be winning today, right? Hello, Rev. Hello, friend. I saw you starting up some interesting discussions in the community Discord yesterday. Spicy takes, my friend. Spicy takes, my friend. Desafiante is very well loved in the community, and he started a guy who struggled for a while when he made his debut, so a lot of people kind of like to root for him. Actually, he modded the community. You know what? I'll finish quickly talking about the Rats Red Academy thing, and then I'll address your points a little bit. I didn't really type yesterday because you're doing this during my stream, so I was kind of like, can't really chime in, but okay. So yeah, Rats is an interesting team. Their wins have been off some odd teams as well, in that they really punched up. They beat Corinthians specifically, and then they beat Rise. Rise is the weakest team. Corinthians at the time was the strongest team. They're the team that started Corinthians' spiral into death, destruction, and despair. So yeah, this is like my Leviathan of CD. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what the hell to expect from them. They have pulled off miracles, but they generally don't look that good to my eyes. So, yeah. Red Academy, on the other hand, are doing way better than I thought they would. Even with Greftar coming down, I didn't think this team would necessarily be the best team. They started out kind of meh, which is what I expected. They Greftar are good, but Greftar are not good enough to carry against top teams. Then they beat Los. And that shocked me. I mean, them beating Dopamina was kind of like, okay, I can see that. And then they beat Los and they beat Flamengo, and I was thoroughly shocked. And yes, they had Aegis last week, but they should not have Aegis today, I don't think, since Aegis just played in LTA South. It should be Doom. I don't really know what the rules are anymore for who can be used and who can be played, because, yeah. Man, Rev, I'm still not going to get to talk about your Desafiante mistake, because we are into draft and we need to deal with drafters. Damn. Okay. Los on the blue side, Ivern, Maokai Sedge, so a lot of jungle bans targeted at Sting, interestingly enough, and I don't know how effective these are. Sting has a very big champion pool, and he still has things like Lilia in his back pocket, so I don't know, it just feels like they maybe want to take away the tanks to try and expose Trigo, Tyrion, and potentially Leleco a little bit more. Or more Leleco Trigo. Tyrion's got a big enough champion pool. On the other side from Corinthians, they're banning top lane on Super Clever, which, fair enough, Super Clever is a huge carry guy, but I think MG is actually the scarier of the two right now. I think MG's been starting to pop off. Okay, Bear's first pick makes sense. Strong, AD, Cryo. Though without the Kalista ban, I think it's a little bit risky, but it's fine. Rumble Vi. Don't like this combo, but we're seeing it super often. I think Vi is overrated. We answer Shinja, which is not bad into the Rumble necessarily. It can also help disengage the follow-up from Vi. And then we take the Galio here, which is a flex pick. Could go mid. But in this case, as you can see, it's been flex top as a counter to Rumble. We've been seeing this more and more frequently. I don't hate it. It's fine. It's good. Then we ban out mid laners. Ban out AD carries. We were just talking about it on Gringos Liberados actually this morning about Trigo's Jhin. Kind of random, but yeah. We're talking about it on the podcast. I respect that ban. I get the MF ban here, I guess. But yeah, it just feels like 80 carries to me pick, so Ezreal Trigo, that's fine. We pick Aurora into the Yone, by the way. This is into the Yone. I don't like that. We keep seeing this, and it never works out well. Aurora wins out early, and then she falls behind lane, and becomes kind of useless. And then Nautilus, well, they pick Rakan. Okay, so that's pretty okay. I think there's a more cohesive composition. It's a better teamfight comp. I don't like Vi necessarily with this, but it's fine. You've got set up elsewhere, so it's still a pretty solid composition. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I've given 4.5 or 5 if this was an AoE jungler, but that all got banned away. It could only have been Wukong is the only option, so this is fine. To get 5 out of 5, I'd have needed a tank and an AoE jungler. Los Grandes. This is more like a counter comp. Like, they have counters into Corinthians, but their comp itself is not particularly amazing. My biggest concern for this composition is nothing's gonna really threaten the Ezreal, maybe the Aurora. Yeah, it's a fine, perfectly stable composition. You got a good front line, you got good back line, Aurora more burst and consistent damage. It's tight, like 3 out of 5. It's not a bad comp, but not terribly self-cohesive. Okay. We might just have to let it to live then if they go straight into game. I'm not sure what that reference is. Like, what do you mean? You might have to just get to live, but yeah. Anyways, now we get some time while they're getting into game. Maybe that's what you mean. Where yeah, I can kind of talk about your takes there. I think it's interesting looking at the community response, and I actually do like that you did bring that up. I do think you did wake up the community a bit. That was a good discussion to be had. But just a bit of context about the whole to LE. Oh, LEV, stay alive to live. Oh, may just get to the I'm sorry, Rev. English is a stupid language sometimes. Live and live, different meanings, same spelling. Ugh, both applicable in the context. What a English is a dumb language sometimes. Sadly, I only speak English, so I'm stuck with speaking dumb language. It is, very much so. Yes, so about the whole Cade situation. So when Xiao joined last year, he said there was a 5-year plan, and his first year was not about winning, it was about building up the roster. They then proceeded to place first in regular season, both splits, and did very, very well. This year, he actually stated that his goal with his existing roster is actually to win a split. So obviously it didn't happen first split, they look terrible. Second split, they've been kind of hit or miss. So they might yet have a third split. But his stated goal is to actually win one of them, whether it be second or third split. So I think that's kind of why K-Stars is being held up to a very, very high expectation that they could win it all. And looking at K-Stars last year, in 2024, it looked very doable. They were very, very close to winning it all, actually. Pain was sort of the thing that kind of stopped them. But with this new roster, I think Xiao and a lot of the K-Stars fans think the potential upside is there for this team. So it's a question of just how fast they can grow. I think they could. There's a chance they win, but I think your expectation that, or your statement that the expectation is that they should be looking at maybe like not winning but doing well is probably the more realistic expectation based on what we've seen. So, yeah. But in Brazil, sometimes it's less about the expectation. Logic has no power here. What was that? There used to be that copy pasta about what you can keep your stats and I'll keep my magic or whatever. That was my introduction to Brazil basically. Was a very stat based guy, but when it comes to LTA South, like yeah, I've learned it's all about the vibes, man. Yeah. Should IE have beaten Red? No, but the vibes were right that day, so. Yeah. The South is funny that way. And that's why it's the most entertaining region in the world. Anything can happen. Truly, literally anything. Here he goes. I don't know, man. Your goat's looking kind of crippled there.
Essa Aurora, nesse ponto do jogo, tá muito cedo, né? Não vai ser
aquela
destruidora que provavelmente a gente vai...
Rev, you should try and get on the podcast one day. Put your availability for the podcast. I think you'd have some very interesting takes that would do well on the podcast.
Ah, mas eu sinto que quando o mid laner pega esse Oni, ele já sabe que vai acontecer isso aí no início.
Sim, não pega pra dominar o early game, né? Não é aí, ele pega pra mid game, jogo...
For now, Steen is playing very aggressively this game. He invaded pretty much solo into the face of 2 people to get a ward down, and now he's invading onto Sting. I actually love this. I like Xinjiao aggression. More Xinjiao aggression, please. One more. Oh, okay, Flash is traded. Sting still gets pushed out. It's still bad for Sting, but it could have been worse. You should, to be honest, but only if you hide the pitchforks. No, we don't bring pitchforks onto the podcast. That comes on the YouTube comments.
Pro Steiner, então sim, a Los sai nessa vantagem e o Steiner já começa a abusar da pressão do MG.
Yeah, but I think it'd be quite funny and interesting. My goal for this year is to get everybody on the podcast at least once. I don't know if it's doable because of scheduling and timing and stuff, but that's the goal. Oh man. Yesterday I was losing my voice by the end of the cast, by the end of the Costream. Unfortunately, I suspect I might be falling sick. My nose is a bit sniffy today, so my throat, if I sound a bit scratchy, apologies. But despite that, I still kind of want to watch this. And I'm not scheduled to cast on Saturday, so I've got a bit more time to recover. Wow, Sting trying to invade on Steiner is just wild. Like, what? Okay. Well, that was a bloodbath. Okay, so I get that that was the lane swap that came through from Los first. So bot lane didn't actually have the reinforcements. And that's why Sting thought, okay, I have numbers advantage, I can try and make that play happen. The reason why I say it's really wild is just because Sting does not win the fight against Steiner. We saw he literally got forced out of his own jungle. And also, unfortunately, it wasn't like Trigo and Manel had that much prio in the thing, right? Because Galio is not like a lot of the top laners we're used to seeing. He has a lot of wave clear. So he can actually kind of hold that lane. And then he gets first move plus a level advantage. It's just, yeah, it's just really rough for Sting. I don't know. This felt very, very disrespectful from Corinthians. And sadly for Corinthians, this seems to have been their issue in the last 2 games they've played, or the last 2 matches, is they've been playing overconfident. And specifically, I'm looking at Sting. Sting has been playing like he owns the map, and he does not. And Manel, I feel like, gets sucked into that a lot. This time, it was Trigo who paid the price, not Manel, but in the last couple of series, it's been like Sting playing over-aggressive, Manel's trying to back him up, and then they both end up dying. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with Sting here. Like, again, you're good, but you need to look at nameplates too, right? And Los is one of the like full, almost full CB level teams. You can't really just be just randomly throwing hands without thinking about it.
Ele acaba exagerando na agressividade, né?
Sim, sim.
Sem informação, sem muita condição de avançar.
Okay, Dragon for Grub trade.
Tava com a vantagem numérica do lado. Foi meio que
Pretty standard, pretty basic.
Foi meio que uma má sorte também, porque no momento em que o Manel
Considering Los initiated the lane swap and everything, yeah, it's fine. That's what they wanted. Oh my goodness, Sting is actually inting. Like Sting is actually inting.
3 kills pro galho do Super Kleber.
He literally just died there and he goes right back to it. Okay. I don't know. He's gonna fall far behind. Tina's gonna get so far ahead of this. It's actually doubly bad for Corinthians, not just because Sting is being set behind, but Super Clever was in a lane swap position, gets CS, and gets 3 kills. Like, they're lucky Super Clever isn't on carry. If he was on a carry, this game's over.
Ele gosta de defender, né? Ele gosta. Porém, uma jogada mais arriscada. Ainda assim é uma jogada muito arriscada.
E o Steiner vem pra cima do timing.
Steiner is playing his heart out right now. Might die for it though.
Tentando torrar o Steiner.
Oh! Hey, yo! Damn, Steiner. I thought he was cooked for a second. And the heal on top. Okay. I think Corinthians are just mentally boomed at this point.
Como que ele conseguiu esse duelo com o Rumble, com o equalizador super aquecido. A equipe da Lousa.
That was kind of like the one guy who didn't get screwed by all these early game shenanigans.
Sting de novo, né, tentando fazer essa aproximação aqui na selva, porque a equipe da Los tá jogando muito bem pela parte de cima do mapa, né? Então,
yeah, Sheener's been playing his heart out so far. Really, really well played. I love the aggression, the aggro.
Vocês falaram do Shinzal, né, do Steiner, mais uma vez eles vêm trazendo essa dupla mid jungle.
Yeah, now that Super Clever's got the the experience level lead, kill lead, gold lead, yeah, Tyran's just a non-factor now.
Nesse começo de jogo, e mais uma vez vai sendo assim. Mas a gente já falou um pouco que a equipe do Corinthians é essa equipe que gosta de jogo truncado, jogo brigado. Eles viram muitas partidas, então começar perdendo não significa que está tudo ainda terminado para eles.
Okay, Sting is 6. The timing's not good. Usually your junglers hit 6 closer to your soul lanes. And usually you can get that one gank off in the bot lane where you're 6 and they're still like early 5, so you have the advantage of the ultimate on that play, but didn't happen this time. So the level desyncs are also kind of weird because of the lane swaps that came through. So Trigo has a lot more experience than he normally would have. Netuno also has a little bit more because of the way the lane swaps worked out, but not a ton.
O Rumble meio que não tá aí pra ganhar do galho, né? Ele não é pra isso, é pra ele não deixar nem a Aurora nem o Varus jogarem.
And Sinus is invading again.
O Rumble, eu acredito também que ele não tá fora do jogo, ele tá no percurso normal da partida.
See, this is why I hate it when Xin Chao is not being played aggressively in the early game. His base damages are so high. There is no reason why you're not in their face looking for fights. Like, I understand that a lot of teams are picking it more for the late game teamfight potential, where your Crescent Guard just protects you from range damage, especially against things like the Rumble, but I just think it's not using a champion to its full potential. Like, the two are not mutually exclusive. You can still play a very aggressive early game and still have that utility late game.
O galho do Super Kleber vai chocar o Brasil hoje.
Já começou a chocar, já.
É o Galho Kleber ou é o Super Galho?
Super Carry.
A parada pra mim é a seguinte, eu olho pro Corinthians, eu vejo o Leleco com vantagem de ouro, eu vejo o Ezreal em pé junto com o Netuno ali, em pé de igualdade junto com o Netuno. Então,
1.5k up for all Los Grandes has done so far.
muito prejudicado o jogo.
I think Los Grandes has done a lot, but it doesn't feel like the gold lead is that huge for what they've done. It's a good, solid gold lead for 10 minutes. And I like this from Corinthians. They're still playing proactive. They're still making things
Foi
happen.
flash do Leleco pra escapar da âncora do Sanhão, tá?
E aí abriu espaço pro China poder invadir a selva, meio sem medo. Sangueon tá
I'm not a super huge fan of the fact that Los just kind of let those scrubs slip.
Vem chegando o Manel, a galera do Corinthians.
I do think they could have tried to brute force the win on the top side and still rotate for the dragon in time.
Exatamente.
Or at least make sure Corinthians can't sneak away the dragon. The Corinthians would get the starter for free, but
de objetivos,
yeah.
De objetivos neutros, né? Tem dois, na real tem dois pro Corinthians e um pra Los, mas a Los vai fazer esse dragão aqui, então vai ficar 2-2 dentro dessa contagem.
Mas exatamente
So they're just trading objectives. Unfortunately, you see this a lot. Second set of grubs being traded for second drag.
Só fez o esbiro, mas tá roubando a selva. Os dois caçadores sendo muito agressivos, né?
Sim.
Sim, e o Xing, ele aproveitou bastante do começo do jogo na parte inferior do mapa, pode não ter
It's just kind of funny watching both junglers farm in the enemy jungler side. I mean, for Steiner, that's a choice he makes by being aggressive. For Sting, he has no choice. If he wants to pick up farm, he's got to just grab it wherever he can. And wherever he can, unfortunately, means the enemy jungle.
Mais uma vez o Xing trazendo essa característica aqui pra jogo.
It's really rough.
Conseguiu pegar o primeiro dragão, então, de qualquer maneira, apesar
Tough
do
life, tough life.
forte da Luz, ele atrasa esse potencial alma, né? Porque a Luz agora tá forte, provavelmente eles vão dominar os próximos dragões, mas com esse primeiro que o Corinthians conseguiu, eles vão dar uma atrasada nessa alma que poderia ser ainda mais rápida, né? Aqui no nosso jogo.
Você acabou de ver o Netuno pegar uma barricadinha ali pelo meio do mapa. Os jogadores vão tentando cavar esses recursos aonde podem. O Schiner tá nessa parte do rio, fazendo aquela cobertura. Detalhe pro Trico que fechou a força da Trindade, então o primeiro item do Ezreal já veio, tá ali estacando aquela...
If Corinthians can maintain this sort of distance, the 1,000 gold lead, they actually closed it a little bit. I think they're going to be perfectly fine for team fights, actually. Like, they have the Yone still. Yone Rumble is really, really strong.
Ainda assim é no segundo item que ele começa a fazer chover, né? De fazer a diferença acontecer. Minha parada, voltando
Like,
pra esse papo...
yesterday we had pseudo sort of Thanos draft of like Gwen, Sejuani, Yone. I think if you replace the Gwen with Rumble too, I still think that's a 5 out of 5 like starting draft. And that's why I think Yone probably is like the best mid laner right now.
Vai pegar o
Oof.
Netuno, saiu bem com o flash.
Really nice turn from Los Grandes.
Passou a barra incendiária. O engage do Corinthians.
Ah, but Yone showed up.
A luta fica bagunçada. Um abate pra cada
Oh,
lado.
great bait
Leleco não
onto
conseguiu
Leleco
ser
there.
efetivo. Chegou o Super Kleber, mas o equalizador vai derreter o
Okay.
Sanguion. Ainda
This is
tem
Los winning through
a
wallets, by the
galera
way.
da Loja vem mais forte. Tem vantagem numérica. O Chile vai tancando tudo e todos e o Trigo faz o que pode pra tentar.
I'll not say wallet, I guess, but like just general early game strength.
Passou o carreto ali
If
pelo
Steiner doesn't do that much damage, if they didn't have the gold advantage, I think Corinthians kept turned down. But there were some really beautiful individual moments from Corinthians there.
Ia ter uma quantidade de dano que a equipe do Corinthians não esperava. E tá aí, veio do Shinzal, do Steiner, grande...
I think Netuno, despite the fact that he didn't do that much damage, is actually one of the biggest reasons why Los won that. The initial bait onto Sting was gorgeous to watch. Like, he's baiting right here. He knows. But immediately, as soon as Sting went in, they turned on him. I think the Crescent Guard was a little bit too early coming through from Steiner. Like, you could have held it for more utility. But it's fine. I mean, he got the damage that he wanted early on, and then he was never really at risk of dying.
Nossa, que
On the other side, okay, I want to rewind it slightly, because what they did to Leleco was pretty busted too. He gets the kill, and then right here, Leleco is looking for the re-engage. Steiner and MG played that side step from Steiner is beautiful. And then Leleco is now up a creek with no paddle. And Galio comes in like a wrecking ball because he's so damn tanky.
Nossa, que teleporte, né? Sensacional.
I don't know if that dredge line was actually the best way out. I almost feel like if you just walked it, it would have been just as good. But that's fine. That's just icing on the cake. That's just me being picky. The fight was already won. Yeah, really unfortunate for Corinthians. I do think they could have won that fight if they played it better. They just misplayed the fight. Little mistakes added up, and they lost. And then now it becomes really, really tough for them. They were actually closing the gold lead from 1.5 to about 1,000, and then it just doubled back to 3,000. Yeah, Steiner's Sinjao was nice. Up the damage charge. Super clever being second in damage charge just on the heels of Steiner is kind of nutty. 4-0-3 now, by the way, on this Galio. Holy. Gonna be a hell of an annoying pick.
Super Kleber tá saindo do bot, a equipe do Corinthians vai fechando em cima dele, tem a neutralização na cabeça desse galho. Então o Corinthians vai se mexendo, vai conseguir a primeira torre, inclusive.
Vai conseguir essa primeira torre, tá aí garantido. Então,
Okay, good punch back from Corinthians. He actually got first brick.
Falta monstro pra cada lado.
Isso, é no Arauto que isso aí vai ser decidido. Só que quem tá na parte
Yeah, I've not been a huge fan of Los Grandes' lane assignment so far.
é a equipe da Luz.
Like when they did the lane swaps and then didn't really manage to capitalize on it. Or the rotations, shall we say.
Mas ele tá aqui com todo mundo. Beleza. Vai garantir esse objetivo e isso vai dar a bota com aprimoramento pro time da Luz.
Aqui na parte de baixo ficou o Trigo contra o Super Kleber. Tem a vantagem de distância, o Super Kleber...
Hello, Spoods. Hello, hello.
Então o Ezreal é
I've got good and bad news for you. Which would you like to hear first?
enfrentar. Tá aí as proezas de fato para a equipe da Luz, como a gente tinha falado que ia ficar.
Bad, please. Aleko is not winning this game.
A equipe da Luz costuma, né, pegar essas proezas de força mais 50% das
And then the good news is you're here.
Então,
Yay!
dessa vez é diferente, mas o Corinthians vai trocar o objetivo. Eles
Yeah.
já tão
Okay, the good
dominando,
news is that it's not
vai
Aleko's fault
cair,
that
a Luz
Corinthians are
vai
not winning.
disputar, fazer uma luta pós,
The Aleko
sem
individually, I
parar,
think, is doing
tudo
okay.
bem.
Vou ficar ligado, de olho.
He did mess up the last team fight a little bit, but it was just a small mistake.
Bem na torre.
The fight was not going to be won by them.
Podem tentar ter dois,
Then we
hein?
get to watch him win 2 more games back to back. True, true.
Bem na torre. Vem chegando todo o time do Corinthians.
Potentially.
Assim,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Corinthians. Their hands are still good. You can still see it.
foi dada, Colossus.
The
Já
players
entrada
are still
aí
good,
uma
but
vez pra demonstrar
Sting is
essa
low-key
potência.
inting.
adianto legal aqui na
And the
parte
team is just
central,
not as
e
sharp
aí
in
um
team
time
fights right
que
now
tem
as they were in
Gabi,
the beginning
que
of the
tem
split.
Aurora, com o Shinzal também, com essa mid lane
I wonder if that's like a
aberta,
coaching issue or something.
é o que eles querem, jogar à frente,
Like maybe it's like an
jogar
off-the-rift
visão,
thing.
e aí poder abusar da mobilidade que o Gali vai ter.
I always just get sad though when teams pick Yone and then lose with Yone and Fearless Draft because like you just wasted one of the most powerful picks.
O Shinner e o Super Kleber com participação altíssima nos abaixos.
It's like picking the Fury or Gwen
Olha,
and losing
agora
with
já
it.
vai fechando uma máscara assustadora ali, então bacana que ele conseguiu construir o item de resistência mágica muito forte, que é o Resplendor Vazio logo aqui no início,
cara, né?
E agora ele vai aproveitar que ele tá fidado, e vai fazer um pouquinho de AP também, né? E por que não?
Também é filho de Deus, né?
É, exatamente, pô, vai aproveitando aqui, tá muito bem na partida, já tá tanque, né? Como a gente falou, a posição dele de tancar esse dano mágico já tá ainda mais intensificada pelo começo que ele teve, e agora vai conseguir também causar um pouco mais de dano. 4 abates, né? Pode aumentar ainda mais esse score.
O Galo engana, o Galo
Shouldn't see, you know, those did improve, yeah.
Parece só tancão e
First of all,
tal, mas
hello.
Mas
We'll see you soon, I guess.
Ele tá aí.
I like how like your first statement in the chat, it's like be right back real quick, or second statement. Yeah, no, Los definitely has improved. And like I said, I think MG specifically has been one of the biggest improvers on this roster. I think he's been getting more used to the team. Though Super Clever just had a disgusting start to this
Vai o
game.
Gali de novo, sobrou o Leleco, hein?
Him and Steiner, yeah, ran the early game map. Wow, they are zoning Corinthians away from their own turret.
Lois jogou de maneira segura, Colossus. Eles não se arriscaram entre essas torres porque é sempre uma posição difícil.
O papo que eles fizeram, eles mantiveram a pressão
Ah,
por aqui
super rough.
pra manter o próximo push de onda de minions e derrubar até um. Porém, o teleporte do Leleco foi... O do Leleco, não, desculpa, do Tyrion foi rápido.
Yeah, I feel like when you're strong enough that you can just cut a team off between the turrets, that's when you can just brute force turrets. And there's not really a lot the other team can do about it.
Continuam os 4 aqui na parte de baixo com o Super Kleber pra chegar. Então,
Yeah.
é ter 12
Nice angle from
avançado.
Trigo.
E é mais um ultimate gas
He hits the entire
pra poder
wave
limpar a onda de minions,
and
cara.
kind of
O
threatens
time do
poke.
Corinthians vai fazendo isso
Então,
pra
But, yeah.
segurar. O problema é que o Super Kleber lá no
Então-
meio, aquela papelada que foi dada a entrada, ó, já garantiu, saiu rapidinho.
Yeah,
não
so
é
they're actually
que-
able to match turn turns and oppose on the top side.
Carimba
They still managed to match in
agora,
the
beleza, E o Galo, inclusive, vai dominando aí. E dessa vez parece que a torre vai cair, mas
Ok.
tá bem ultimate.
Manel veio pro engage.
Give me like a wrecking ball.
Pra cima do China, o problema é que o Super Clever chegou pra tancar.
Yeah, Super Clever is so fed. It's disgusting.
Um abate pra cada lado.
This is what I mean by brute force, right? Like, that fight is not favorable for Los Grandes. They were just pushing in. Corinthians get a great engage, and it does not
A
matter.
equipe da Los tinha 5 jogadores na parte
The gold lead's not
de
even the biggest gold lead. This is partially
baixo.
comp diff.
A onda de Minos está empurrando a T2, dá mais.
Like, this comp has a lot of... Los Grandes' comp has a lot of early power. So when they get the... Whereas Corinthians' comp is a lot more conditional. Like, Rumble's not here, which is a big part of their team fighting. Leko going down like that, unfortunately, means that a lot of his damage output, consistent damage output through the fight, is not available. So, yeah, really well played from Los. They recognize him in cons. Arxen, according to Kakapel, Los CEO, they finally got Stardust to coach the team. He's online, but still. Okay, yeah. That's fair. So Stardust is not in Brazil anymore? He already left? That's interesting. I feel like a lot of the Koreans leave like immediately the moment they're off contract, they just ditch. Nobody like waits around to see if Nick Split has a job or something. Yeah. If Los win here, they are in Seoul first at 5-2. So I mean, technically Stella is right on their heels at 4-2, but you know, they're just a game behind. But Los gets to sit pretty at Seoul first for a bit if that happens. We've already seen Los and Kaboom, right? I know we've seen Kaboom and some of the big teams. I can't remember if Los Kaboom was one of them. Yeah, Los Kaboom was still on week 4. Okay, nice. I feel like Kaboom has also been improving, so like a Los Kaboom match would definitely be spicy. Now that Kaboom have Wiz in instead of C's. Yeah, Wiz looked really good yesterday, so I would love to see Los and Kaboom kind of go at it again. Yeah, as the Corinthians, I don't know, man. Look, the early game sting into it a little bit, and that's... Okay, I'm not gonna say that's good, but whatever, it happened. My bigger problem with them is that since they kind of entered the early game, they have not come back. They lost one team fight, and that was kind of it. Like, I'm not seeing any signs of them recovering from that loss. Like, Tyran's not used a good team fight equalizer at all. Manel and Leko have not been able to chain some sort of engage. Like that, this is not a team that would win the league if a single setback just kind of stops you like that.
Não tem como pegar esse Rakan assim. Saiu tranquilo, saiu sem problemas. O ultimate do Netuno volta relativamente rápido. A gente está num momento que não tem objetivo, né? Então dificilmente vai ter uma luta forçada.
Aí é o mesmo argumento que você pode usar para o ultimate do Netuno, você pode usar para o equalizador do Tyrion também. Que não tinha nenhuma briga, a não ser que viesse alguma briga aqui ao redor do atacante na parte de baixo, que eu acho pouco provável porque não tem um setup tão grande para isso. Mas eu acredito que era por isso.
Yeah, I think Los are just gonna keep playing around objectives, right? I mean, they could brute force the top side too,
Dar
but
pouquinho mais de tempo para a equipe do Corinthians no mapa, né, de restabelecer.
I think it's more just about playing around the objectives
Vai
with
estar
them.
disponível o equalizador de um lado, vai estar disponível a corrente da corrupção do outro para a próxima fight.
Sabe lá se vai ter um Ezeu ou um Ione falando.
They have full setup around Azakan. Like, they've got full vision, they know it.
Tari falou, vai não, calma aí, essa aqui é meu. Pera aí, tô fechando o item.
Yeah.
Esse aqui é meu. Ó, barra incendiária aqui.
Pegar visão,
Ver se
Yeah, good
o
safe way
Rakan,
for
né,
Corinthians to
pra ver
check.
se o time da Luz
They have Farsight
tá
trinkets,
fazendo
but
esse
the cooldown's
atacão.
faster on
A
the
galera
ult.
do Corinthians vem avançando. O China quer esse engage, ele vem pra cima do Manel.
Steiner literally 1v5 or 1v4, pardon me, because the Leko was bot side.
Vai voando pra pegar a galera do Corinthians, que é obrigada a recuar e tomar cuidado.
Like, you can see the chunk onto Steiner. If Corinthians commit to it, they can certainly kill Steiner, but they're so scared to commit because they don't know where Los Grandes is. It's all lights out in that area. Really well set up by Los Grandes.
Aí na luta, e aqui tem a galera chocada, duas Sphinx no mesmo lugar, mas que não serão retiradas agora. Poderia ser um grande potencial ali pro Leleco, né, de ouro, mas ele ainda não vai conseguir
Almost overcautious from Los. I'd like to see them just death push right now.
Não tem muita coisa o que fazer nessa parte de baixo por enquanto, não. 2 minutos e meio ainda pro Dragão. O Barão vai nascer
Like
em
the
10
big thing for
segundos.
Los is to
E
try and bait
talvez isso,
Corinthians into
a
fighting them
parada
somewhere.
toda é que
And then if you
eu
win the
acho que
fight, you
talvez
just get
isso,
an inhibitor.
faça a Los mudar de lado do mapa.
Atacan's
Mas eu
almost
acho que eles não vão
secondary.
mudar de lado no mapa
Like the
não,
objective
eles vão
itself
continuar
is
jogando
just
com
a
essa parte
means
de
to bring the
baixo,
team
porque
to the
o
table.
Atacan, nesse ponto, ele meio que anula o Baron. Então, se quem for pro Barão, eles tomam o Atacan na volta. E aí, no fim das contas, você mata o Baron dos caras e você não morre numa eventual briga com o Atacan.
But to a very large extent, if you're spending that much money on dropping control wards and clearing vision and taking over an area, I need to see, you know, payoffs, right? Like you need to do something with it.
Não que a Luz não tenha também crescimento.
Unfortunately,
Mas vamos ver como é que fica, porque essa era a hora de armar um Arapuca, Colossus. Seja lá no Barão, seja aqui no Atacan. Você chama o time adversário, né? Força que ele venha pra brigar. O Schiller tá colado no Leleco.
That's Leleco's ultimate. They use Fate Sealed.
É jogado pro alto, escapa
Oh man,
no limite aí do que podia, porque o
that's kind of really bad.
Já foi o ultimate do Leleco, já é o que a equipe da Los precisa pra dominar a parte de baixo.
Like no
do
Fate
mapa. O
Seal,
Schiller
that should be
perdeu
instant Atacan for Los
basicamente
Grandes.
nada de vida, e isso eu tava pra falar. Primeiro você vai controlar a visão, depois você vai tomar alguma decisão, depois você vai pro objetivo neutro.
The
Agora,
insane
eles
amount of
vão
pings.
chamando
There we go.
o
Yeah, they need Costream
e vai
down.
jogando com todo mundo aqui na parte de baixo. Tá na metade da vida.
A lot of pressure now on Manel to find the right engage. Where's Manel? Manel is literally half a map away. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry to say, Corinthians are not looking like the old Corinthians. They're looking like,
Não tinha muito como passar a linha
I don't know,
de
a very
defesa
disparate and messed
que
up
a
team.
Los armou era muito boa. De um lado, o Sangyeon com o ultimate, com a âncora, poderia parar.
Like the amount of pings coming down
jogadores
there,
do outro.
they even committed a TP from Tyrion instead of continuing the split push. And there's just no way in because no Fate Sealed and Manel was 2 screens away. Literally 2 screens running in. There's no engage, there's no setup.
Perfeito.
Porque o time da Luz beitou, o adversário veio, não tem como.
Part of me would almost rather wish that Sting had just found like looked for the engage, even though I know it's not going to end well. But at least maybe you can try and find a steal
Vai ter dragão no meio disso aí, mas eventualmente eles vão pegar esse barão.
compared to just the nothing burger that we just saw.
Isso, né? Como que tá fazendo essa dominância da equipe da Luz?
Ah.
Eles estão à frente em ouro, mas eles não saem, né, dessa condição. Eles continuam avançando o mapa a ponto de que não teve que o
Like it literally feels like Los is playing PvE right now.
Avançam a visão, voltam, controlam um pouco mais as waves, né? E a partir disso eles estão jogando muito bem no tempo da onda de minions, sem perigo, controlando completamente os objetivos que eles querem fazer. Agora se propuseram pelo dragão.
And you can see that Corinthians were just kind of stalling, waiting to scale up. Sure. But now they're losing all these objectives. I don't know how true that is. If they lose Baron, just sitting back like that, then
Exatamente,
yeah.
não tem muito o que o Corinthians responder, não. O que dá são 2 sentinelas pra botar por ali pra ter alguma informação de quando a Los começar o objetivo. A parada pro Corinthians aqui é que um dragão não é uma punição tão grande. Eles vão ter que... Eles querem ganhar tempo o suficiente para que esse Atacan não esteja disponível na briga pelo Baron.
Ah, mas vai ter tempo não.
This is frustrating. Again, the vision's being cleared out by the side of Los Grandes. Corinthians put in time and effort to get the vision, and technically their ward positions are all right. The biggest problem for them is you put down the wards and then what, right? If you put down wards, you're setting up to make a play in that area. There's no point putting down a bunch of wards if you're not going to make plays. You can drop single wards on objectives just to track the objective, but that setup was a setup to like actually move in and do something, and then they just walk out and all the control wards get wasted. And then instead it's Los Grandes walking in and brute forcing something on you.
Afundado o time da Luz, garante a eliminação, e aí com você, Atacan, eles vão pro Barão.
Eles vão fazer o Barão agora com a vantagem numérica, com a vantagem de briga. O Leleco tava lá na parte de baixo, ele conseguiu ganhar algum espaço para a equipe do Corinthians, era o que dava pro Corinthians fazer. A Los vai ficar com esse Barão.
Bloody waste of a really solid composition from Corinthians and it's just completely wasted.
Vai ter a contagem do Barão e a equipe do Corinthians está chegando.
Demorou, hein? A Luz demorou, o Leleco tá próximo, o Xing
tem que matar
também.
o Xing.
Trigo de Luz vai mandando bala, já garantiu o primeiro abate. O Barão é feito pelo time da Luz. O problema é que a briga ficou ruim pra ele.
Small mistake from Los looking for the fight. They were very split on that call. No way, Super Clever doesn't even die there. Oh, the snipe into the back. Netuno, you didn't have to do him dirty like that. Holy.
Tudo que queria.
Porque a fight gruntar parecia que tava ruim. E realmente estava.
Okay, Super Clever is actually super again this game. 6-0-5 on this Galio. Just cannot die.
A equipe do Corinthians brotar, fazer a curva. Assim que eles fizeram a curva, ficaram.
Now this fight was a little bit messy from Los. They kind of split and left themselves in a really bad position. Cina's taking a lot of damage. She's not a true tank, so ideally you should have been switching off with Super Clever a little bit. And because of that, yeah, there's no damage to actually do anything on that side of the map. Just two tanks zoning. But this fight, this is where things turned. And I think it's between worlds from MG that really split up this fight. Huh. Yikes.
Cara, e pra mim o MG foi muito
Just
sagaz
the
nessa
tip.
jogada, viu? Muito
Okay,
sagaz.
yeah, this game's kind of done and over with for Corinthians. Their mental issues are persisting. This is the same set of mental issues they've had in the last two matches that they've played, where they just seem to not have their heads screwed on quite right, and it looks like teamwork issues as well. I don't blame them. Like when you've got one or two particular players who are kind of screwing you repeatedly, you start losing faith in them.
Conseguiu escapar no ultimate. Vem esse galho do Super Clever. Netuno tá
Oh.
derretendo no equalizador, mas
Fade away snipe.
isso não importa porque a luz tá muito forte. Ela aguenta.
Yeah, in a way, it's really bad for Corinthians that the two who have been screwing up prior to this were Sting and Manel, because those are their go buttons, right? And then Leleco as Yone can be primary engaged, but he still needs a team to kind of follow up with him. And that hasn't been happening, so suddenly the carries of Tyrion, Leleco, and Trigo are struggling to try and find fights when nobody's engaging for them. Yeah. Sometimes the score doesn't reflect the reality of the game. This time, sadly, it does. 18-4 sounds about right for this one. Okay, MVP for this game, probably either Super Clever or Steiner. I'm leaning more a bit towards Steiner. I really like how he piloted the early game Xinjiao. But Super Clever undeniably had some incredible plays of his own. 6-0-5 for a reason. Unstoppable. Yeah, everybody on the side of Los Grandes, I think, played very well. They knew their win cons, they did exactly what they had to do. Nice and easy. Simple. One thing I really did like about, when I say like they knew their win cons, with a draft like this is an early game composition for the most part, right? Like Varus will remain viable? No. Relevant, that's the word. Xinjiao, Varus will remain relevant throughout the game because there's no tank on the other side. Aurora will scale well, but the Xinjiao and Galio do fall off over time. A little bit, especially in the damage department for Galio. So they needed to play aggressive early, and they did. It just snowballed from there. They also made sure Corinthians never really got the team fight they wanted. Part of that wasn't Corinthians also just not pulling the trigger, as if they don't recognize who should be pulling the trigger for them. I mean, this tells you the whole story, right? Trigo's numbers are horrifically inflated because he's a poke champion. It's the same poke argument that always happens. So he gets to pump out all this damage from safety, whereas everybody else has to go in. But when you're Yone, Rumble put out so little damage, you know that it just didn't work, right? Like they are supposed to be the big wombo combo. They're supposed to be big in the team fights. If you don't get team fights, their damage numbers are low, and they just never found team fights, which is It's a good comp. It's a simple comp. It's a comp with a lot of go buttons. While Los can mess them up a little bit, that was never the case. It was never like Steiner just denying the engage.
Isso daí foi o que perdeu o jogo pro Corinthians. Esse início aí, pô, catastrófico do Sting. Catastrófico.
Aqui ainda consegui ver detalhe ainda maior.
This was bad, but it's not like they couldn't have come back from this for Corinthians.
Do Manel no W com o seu provocar, né?
Sim, eu tinha falado isso.
Perfeito, né? Nem tinha percebido isso. Foi ainda mais efetivo.
I'm curious, how did Super Clever know this? There's no wards actually that spotted out Sting.
Outra jogada que aí dessa vez o Sting foi eliminado sozinho, ainda deu
Did he just
de guerrilha.
get a feeling that he needed to cover that he just needed to watch it? Yeah, this was the fight I think that really broke the game. And then Corinthians' mental just crumbled after this. And that was like kind of one mistake this entire game. But yeah, his team was making more mistakes around him, and then just there's no way for him to come back in.
Eu tinha falado que foram aquelas 2 jogadas iniciais do Sting, mas foram 3, né? Porque essa também começou com o Sting.
Yeah.
Tá
Mas
certo.
essa aí não tinha.
Ele tinha que fazer o que ele tinha que
Okay.
fazer. Ele tinha que fazer.
At this point, I almost feel like for Corinthians, you're better off just picking sort of comfort champions for everybody. Say screw macro, and we're just gonna focus on playing comfort and getting back in the zone. Because yeah, they are looking rather tilted to me.
Nessa fight aí,
Aqui era
cara,
arriscado também, hein?
era muito. O Barão era arriscado, mas cara, o
Incrível,
MG
né?
foi gigante. Foi gigante essa jogada dele.
Incrível, né? Não é à toa que ele é o mid laner aí com maior KDA, maior DPM, maior participação em abates também aqui do nosso circuitão. E aqui, de fato, foi pra finalizar. O Netuno que foi focado dessa vez, e olha quanta gente vai focar meu ADC, não. Não. Ele tinha os Zones, teve a chegada do herói também do Galho, mais dano sendo colocado ali na frente pelo MG, pelo Stinner. E Stinner que ofereceu, que funcionou como um carry aqui nessa partida, né? Esse Shinzal, muito mais focado em causar dano do que, de fato, ser o maestro ali da equipe da Luz.
Porque ele tava muito à frente do jogo, né? Então ele consegue itemizar, vai
Okay,
ficar tanque,
well, that's that game in the
ele
bag.
vai fazer esse
I mean,
dano,
they'll take some
esse
time,
Shinzal, quando tá nesse
kind of
ponto,
reset and whatnot,
é
and
muito
then
difícil
we
da conta.
Pra mim, o Shinzal
we'll get into game 2. I am hoping, praying that Corinthians bounce back a little bit better.
Se ele
I
fechasse
hate watching
ali,
super one-sided series where it just feels like one team's not doing anything.
o Shinzal já
So
estourou já.
É isso, né? Foi isso que a
yeah.
gente viu nessa partida. E agora pra segunda partida.
we shall see.
aqui dessa
In the
primeira série,
meantime,
não teremos
I can go
versão de
take a
lado
look at my
não.
LTA fantasy because
Teremos
market's open, guys.
Não teremos a luz do
For those of y'all who aren't in our LTA
desse lado
South
vermelho.
Discord,
Será que
community Discord,
aqui pra gente vai ter algum
might want to go take a look there. We have our
Coisas
own
não podem ser repetidas, não. A
LTA
gente vai
fantasy
descobrir qual vai ser a história agora
stuff
dessa
in
série
there.
depois do intervalo, porque o circuitão volta
Yeah, I didn't do too hot this week. Oh, I was saying it on the podcast, but like, props to the guys who do the LTA fantasy. They have now added sorting market by last points and by average points, which I think is wonderful because last points shows you what happens in this round. So you can see like Aegis, for example, did the most this round. Granted, he only played one game. It is worth noting that he literally only played one game. So his points didn't get diluted by averages. And it was against Fuxi W7M, so yeah, kind of inflated. And nobody could have picked Aegis anyways because we didn't know he was playing till middle of the week. Yeah, and the LTA South side, you can sort by round as well. So the round 3, Lunar topped the table again. That's the reason why she's top of the group, of the overall group. Bren got the second highest with, oh yeah, Robo Shinny. That was a solid bet this time. Pods and Titan Tuts. So like his average, yeah, I think he just overall got a really good average. Like no super crazy pop off. I mean, technically, like there's a 37 there from Robo, but it got bounced out by the end of the game. So yeah. Oh, the 40, yeah, for Pods. Followed by the negative score against Pain. Pain got their revenge on him for the last split. Yeah, I'm mostly just running Pain because this week. So we're into the best of 3s this week, which I think is very, very important and pertinent because some matches are kind of risky. Now, I will say with LTA Fantasy, I'm never quite sure what the best way to play it is. Because on one hand, I think, for example, Fury Allowed could go 3 games, and more games means more points. Potentially. Maybe. But because it averages out, you might lose points. Versus like something like Rid versus Fuxi W7M, which on paper could be a very bloody match. That might be good for points. But I was kind of looking at it, and even if you get high, even if you get a lot of kills, the problem is that if the game's close and the kills are racking up, but it's even, usually if you pick the entirety of one team, then you're going to average out to kind of mid points, because if it runs into a lot of kills and kind of even game, then, you know, for every, like, for whoever wins, probably 3 players are doing really, really well, 1 player's doing kind of meh, and 1 player is like dying a lot. So I don't know. I still haven't quite figured out like the best way to play the fantasy points to game the system, if you will. For me, I think this one's a risky one. Fury versus Loud. It's kind of close. Loud is coming back, and Fury is really good. I think Red Fluxy W7M is not a bad bet. I think Red is going to win out most lanes except for mid. I think Fu gets to pop off this game. Yeah. Actually, when did they last play each other? I feel like early on, right? Oh no, it was the last match. Okay. Yeah, Fu did okay in that match. More like his usual self. I got inted by Fu last week because he played really bad the first 2 days. Yeah, I think Red's a pretty good team. Their players should have a decent one to draw on. Oh man, Cade Stars versus Ice should have been very one-sided. It should be an easy bet on Cade, but they struggled so much. They went 0-3, man. And granted, like they still looked good in the early game, but I don't know. Depends. If you believe in Cade, this is a really good. This should be a good one for Cade. Like very similar to the Red Fluxy W7M situation. Personally for me, I'm just all winning on Pain at this point. Pain versus Lev. I do think Lev could be a tripping hazard and could mess up Pain a little bit. But I choose to believe in Pain. My problem is my freaking jungle... Oh, hello. My jungle role right now, I am too broke to be able to replace people. So... Is that how it works? No, I want cost. How do I not look at average points? Price. There we go. That's how we do it. From most expensive to cheapest. There we go. Yeah, I want Karaoke, but Karaoke's become like one of the most expensive players. He's the most expensive jungle, bar none. So I don't have enough points to buy him. And unfortunately, Shinny is slightly below average, which I don't think is fair. I think a lot of this came from the first couple of weeks of Loud, which is why I could afford Shinny. But he's slowly been going up, which is good. Yeah, I'm maxed out on budget right now, picking up Roamer from Fu. Yeah, Fu was averaging really good, and then like I don't think Roamer will net me that many points, but in terms of mid laners from the south, there's Roamer, Fu, Mago, Miryu. I don't trust Miryu against Kissy. I think that's a really hard matchup. Kissy's been doing really well. I actually had Kissy originally. He was my original mid lane pickup. But I cashed him out to pick up Wiser, who I didn't start with. I should have started with Wiser. But he was really expensive. Yeah, I don't trust Mago into Fu. I think that's a losing lane. So it's either Fu or Roamer. I was thinking about Fu, but I actually think Fu would have better numbers than Roamer this week. But I'm choosing to go with Roamer anyways because I just want to build a full Pain roster at this point. I don't think I'll ever be able to get it because freaking Karaoke is too expensive. We'll see. Okay. Game 2, Corinthians opted for the red side still, so they like the counter pick option. And I do like that Los have banned out the Lilia. And they can do that this time because the Varus that they wanted Prio has already been picked. So they can afford to pick one of these, open the Sejuani and pick it themselves. So I really like this. Kalista ban to me is kind of weird. As long as Ashe is open on the table, I just don't feel like a Kalista ban is necessary. I don't know. Not a fan of that. Okay. I already like this though from the side of Los. Sejuani with MF is a really good starting combo. The Renekton feels a little bit premature for me, but it is what it is. I don't hate it. They're blinding super clever, so they can give counterpick to support and mid. Corinthians, we go with Corki, Rel. That's a solid combo. Nar. Yeah, very non-committal, very standard openings for both these teams. They can still pivot into lots of different other options. Okay, now the big question for Corinthians is this AD carry or mid? Okay. And I think Skarner generally just a good champion, good teamfight champion. I don't think he'll have an easy time getting to the Misfortune, but yeah. Open time for shower. Are there games tomorrow? No, this week is only 2 days because it was Super Week, so Monday was LTA South. Next week, however, will be Monday through Wednesday, so it'll be 3 days next week. Yeah, they just rescheduled the games that were supposed to be on this week's Monday to next week's Wednesday. But, yeah. Okay. Have a good shower, Smooths. And I guess I'll see you next week or this weekend. This weekend is start of the best of threes, the group phases for LTA North and South. So
pra
Yeah.
ser escolhido, né? O que pode ser escolhido, porque esse Corki ainda poderia ser rotacionado. O
Yes.
Silas é muito bom, ele
Okay, so it's a
tanca
Corki
demais,
bot.
eu
I
ouso
think
dizer que
I
ele
like it
faz
a bit
mais,
better
então,
than.
com o alistado, com a própria
Muito
ultimate
mais.
do
I'm
alistado,
not a
né?
huge fan of the
Essa
Corki mids we've been
segurança,
seeing
vai
so
ter
far,
ali
so.
nessa
We
segunda
said
fase,
that's
não
really.
me pega que
Hey, bro,
tem
are you
como
showering?
ganhar uma composição.
Olha os ults da Lotus. É o ult do Alistar,
Okay,
o
peace, man.
da
Oh
é
no,
mais dash,
they were
né?
fast. I didn't
Está
screenshot.
rotacionado. E só tem
I like the
mid
screenshot
laner
their
pra ser
actual pick
escolhido,
order.
né? O que pode ser
I think pick
escolhido,
order
o que
tells you a
poderia ser
lot about how
rotacionado.
teams are
O Silas é muito
prioritizing
bom, ele tanca demais, ele, eu ouso dizer que
and
ele
how they're
faz
thinking.
mais
So
da área e do Alistar.
that's one of the big
já
reasons
são
why I
o
complain so
suficiente
much
pra
when
você
they
pegar
just
o
show us the
vantagem.
pick order and not
Pagar,
the
assim, já
Oh
é-
no, sorry,
vai
not the
ser
pick
só
order.
o
They only show us
bônus,
the
né?
É, exatamente.
O que
roll
eu penso
order.
aqui é
Pardon
que
me.
pra equipe do Corinthians pegar esse Silas na rota do meio, eles tiveram que jogar o Corki pra
Okay.
rota inferior.
Sim.
E o Corki não
Yeah,
vai dar match nessa
this is like
nessa
the
MF.
this is why I'm
Então,
kind of
muito
okay with this
provavelmente,
composition.
o
Like when I see
Netuno aí o
this,
Sangueon, eles vão ter
picking
a
the Renekton
vantagem
just opens up your
com
comp
o
to do
Alistar
whatever they
mais
want because
frágil.
Renekton's a very
Então,
non-committal.
mas logo
Like it
depois,
can
no
tank,
nível
it
2,
can
ele consegue
win your
ativar muito
lane.
o
The only thing
MF,
it doesn't do
muito
is
proteção do
scale,
Corki. Então, esse Corki
but it
aqui,
gives you a
ele
bridge.
teve que ser jogado pra bot lane pra
So
dar uma
it's just a
moral ali pro Leleco
generally
e talvez não seja,
kind of do it all
né,
pick. Same with the
a
Ari.
que eles poderiam ter.
Foi a
So now
escolha que
this
eles
composition has
tiveram
kind of shifted
também,
towards an
porque eles
early
já
mid-game
foram
skirmish
na parte
comp,
de cima
a
do
snowball.
mapa com
Like
esse
you need to get
lado.
your early
Então,
leads and
eles
just try and
tinham
crush out the
a
game.
opção de botar o
Given
Corki
what we saw
pra
last
legal
game, I think that makes a lot of
pro
sense.
Corki, e eles
Those just crushed it
botaram o Silas pra ter, pelo menos,
and ran over
essa
Corinthians
possibilidade
anyways.
dos ultimates aí.
Corinthians, this is a
Então,
much more.
eu
Oh, so
acho
okay,
que o Corinthians
scoring. This comp's a 3 out of 5 for me.
Depender muito do Xing, cara. Ele vai ter que fazer uma
Okay,
coisa
actually no,
muito
I'll give them a
diferente
3.5 out of 5. I don't like comps like this where you have no late game insurance personally. Like I like to see at least one scaling pick so that if anything goes wrong, you can kind of still play into the 30-minute mark, 40-minute mark. This comp, if you're not significantly hit by 20 minutes, it just goes downhill from there. So it's a very high risk composition. I would give it a 3. I'm only giving it a 3.5 because I think the way they played game 1 gives me faith and trust that they will be able to close out early and that they will be able to leverage their early game strength. So we'll see how that goes. I was a little bit critical with how they played out the early game. I don't think they pushed their objective strength quite as much as they could have, but they did get kills and the dives did come through. So
Mas será que vai ser o suficiente pra parar ímpeto dele? Não sei.
yeah,
Eu acho que não.
I have to give them
E
faith at this
aqui,
point.
eu acho que ainda aquela o cara
For
que
Corinthians,
bot lane
their
anterior,
comp has
pra
pretty
mim,
good
foi
scaling with the
difícil,
Corki
mas
and with the
ainda
Silas. The laning Gnar into Renekton is pretty good. I think Skarner is a very good front line and sets up well with the Rel. Just overall, this composition is really solid. I give the comp a 4 out of 5. The lane matchups are not terrible either. Corki can play into the Misfortune. It's not that bad. Rel into Alistar, we see that a lot. It's kind of just meh. Like Alistar can disengage, so that's kind of a wash. I wouldn't say Alistar like wins the lane, but Alistar's not about winning the lane anyways. Silas into Ari, Silas outscales but loses early. So yeah, it just feels like basically the longer the game goes, the more it becomes Lowe's favorite, the more it becomes Corinthians' favorite, pardon me. And everything else is kind of even. Yeah, like I said, I like the Corinthians comp a little bit more. I think in general, I have liked Corinthians drafting. I think it's more their execution that's an issue. Hopefully with the Skarner now for Sting, we don't see as many weird invades and like we don't see him throwing basically. What's the term that for always uses? Tank and spank. Like just pick a tank and spank jungler that isn't gonna feed, isn't gonna put you in bad positions, and you're kind of good to go. So yeah, Sting has done exactly that, and we'll have to see if it ends up working out.
Perfeito. Mas uma MF.
Let me get this centered a little bit. There we go.
O carry talvez seja diferente né, nessa partida, mas uma MF também, Gruntar, que é muito fácil de ser travada pelo Skarner, né?
Perfeito.
Então várias nuances aqui, vários detalhes que podem importar muito. A gente já viu uma MF essa semana lá
It's interesting that both in LTA South and in CD, execution is still king. Right, we've seen teams play comps that are weaker, but I feel like in CD we get a much more wider range of different types of compositions, different win cons, and different ways of executing. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we have bigger gaps too in terms of laning in CD sometimes. So if a team like Kaboom, for example, or like kind of what Los did last game, if you're far ahead enough, then in a way you kind of open. you
Começou bem,
you
só que
can
deu
afford
uma
to play
caída
higher risk
gigantesca
compositions
nas
if
últimas
your hands are
rodadas e
better.
precisa agora se reabilitar para não dar mole, não ficar pelo meio do campeonato. Já tá na tua tela a Arena dos Campeões e vamos acompanhar como fica essa brincadeira toda. Não teve troca de lado. O Corinthians continua do lado direito jogando de calções vermelhos, enquanto a Lois do lado
Here we go.
esquerdo da sua tela jogando de calções azuis.
Gruntar, eu tô...
Because of the way the lanes go, Renekton
nesse papo aí,
can win out his lane,
meio
but he
preocupado
has
de como é que vai
to
ser esse segundo
get
jogo.
probably a
A
little
equipe
bit
do
of jungle
Corinthians
help.
que fez
So
3 vitórias consecutivas, pode amargurar 3
gonna need
derrotas
to see
consecutivas.
Steiner kind of help out that lane.
Pior do que isso.
Bot lane, if
é porque
Natuno and
era-
Sanghyun are good enough, they can just
era
actually win out that
mão
lane.
do
Like,
nosso
Misfortune
Era
and
pra
Corki,
ser o time que tava
they are both
acarretando
shorter
todo
range in terms of
mundo
their early game
quando a gente
trades.
começou.
So,
Então, me preocupa
or
pelos
just in terms of their
deles,
trades in
porque
general.
eles
Corki
podem,
gets long range when he gets his
inclusive,
missiles, but
nesse ritmo, ficar de fora do top 6.
in laning,
Tá, foi
it's shorter
canalha
range.
agora
So
nesse
bot lane could be more
Ele
interactive.
sabe,
Mid
ele
lane's
sabe
the
o que
spicy
você
one.
tentou falar,
But I
coloca.
think Loleko was
Eu tô lembrando
arguably, with Trigo, the best performer on Corinthians in game 1, and he didn't really lose his lane to MG, so
Deixa ela.
he should be fine. Like, he knows how this matchup's supposed to go.
Tava aí quando eu cheguei.
E ela vai estar aí quando você sair.
É
Com
verdade.
certeza.
Com certeza. Tá focando no
Começou.
time dela do Fantasy, pô.
Ixi, mas
Ela
Ela veio pra
aí-
estudar.
Ela veio fazer,
Aí ela vai
fazer
ter que
bootcamp,
ficar
tá?
todo
estudar.
dia mesmo.
Ela veio fazer bootcamp aqui
Mas
com...
se recuperou, tá?
o dia que eu preciso.
Tirou leite de pedra.
Daquele jeito, né?
Não, mas
Yeah,
quando você
Alistar
tem 30 pontos pra
level
gastar
1
no
has
seu
a pulverize and that's
fantasy
it.
É, não, tudo
He kind of needs to be level 2 to do
grupo, sabe
anything.
isso, né? Essa é
And to be
latifundiária,
like a real
então,
champion, he needs level
pode
6.
vai.
So,
A primeira rodada...
oh, interesting. He started hit butt. I really don't like
Essa
that.
briga na parte inferior do mapa. O Netuno
Yeah.
tomou certo castigo, devolveu o castigo.
Yeah.
Pô, de repente botar o circuitão aqui pra dentro do Fantasy também.
Ô, bacana.
né? Ia ser legal.
Eu já tava pensando aqui que toda vez que eu vejo que um time
É.
ganha com mais de 10 mil de ouro, minha cabeça já fica, meu
MG
Deus,
mais
quanto?
4.
E o
Mas
dinheiro,
MG vai
mano? Será
valer
que vai ter
19,
dinheiro?
Double up just
No,
felt like
MG
a bit of
vai
wasted mana to make that happen.
É o preço
MG
do
mais
code,
4.
É o preço do code. Começa a pressão, ele pra cima do Leleco. É algo que a gente
Electrocute
esperava
Burn
também,
almost
foi o
does
que a gente
feels
viu
like it
no
does
primeiro
more than the
jogo,
fire
já tá acostumado.
Foxfires.
Jogar de Oni,
I don't think that's
Silas,
true, it
vai
just feels that
realmente
way.
dar uma pressão pra esses campeões que são aí a longo alcance nesse início de partida, não tem muito jeito.
Lá na roda inferior, que a gente comentou, né, que a CMF poderia botar pressão em cima do Cork. Agora sim que a gente vê virando essa matchup, porque o Alistar é
pegou
bem
level
fácil,
2,
né?
né?
É bem fácil de focar esse Alistar no começo. Então, pela matchup de suporte ali, a botlane da Luz ficou um pouco prejudicada.
Okay,
né?
now that Sanghyun's fine at level
Desesperado,
2.
mas agora sim, eles já
You can see Manel and Trigo
estão
instantly back off.
aumentando, né, XP. É muito importante essa movimentação que o Netuno e o Sanguião estão fazendo.
It's kind of risky as well for Trigo to drop the Foster's Bomb. It gives you vision, but it's also one of your biggest trade tools in the early game. So the moment he does that, he kind of has to start backing off. He would not win that trade. Hey Trajan, Super Clever is doing well. He's drawing a lot of bans. Actually, last game he just popped off and went like mega. I think it was like 6-0 and 5 or something like that. Something disgusting like that. He caught Sting out in the jungle twice. The second time soloed and just killed him. Straight up killed him. Yeah, Los Grandes is looking really good right now. They are currently, if they win this, they are sole first at 5-2. But because of the way CD is and they're doing best of threes, so Los Grandes is on like their 7th game. Stella just played yesterday and they just finished their 6th game. So those will be like sole first for a bit, but it's due to like the way the schedules work. Corinthians are crapping up though, on the other hand. Okay, they get first blood. Maybe they can try and turn this. Okay, Corinthians not crapping up this fight. Let's go. They're actually doing something. Nice. Yeah, game 1 Sting kind of into his face off. He's just running into the enemy team and got punished for it. On Vi. But on this Skarner, it's a bit harder to follow up. He's got enough tankiness that he can just buy time for his team.
Saiu arrancando a armadura de todo mundo e conseguiu uma double kill importantíssima pro Trigo.
Ainda fica com buff azul, então pode
Oof.
falar mais das suas habilidades.
Trigo taking a
Só
lot of damage there.
Mas como que o Manel conseguiu ler bem,
Yeah.
né, essa
That fight was
situação,
doubly bad
porque
for Los Grandes because even though they had a lead and they just kind of got evened out by the first blood, so not the end of the world, but their comp needs to snowball. So anything that kind of drags the game equal is good for Corinthians.
dragões aqui pra ser eficiente, assim como a gente vai ver nesse replay agora. MG ali
This was straight up just a stat check, it feels like. Or damage check. And unfortunately, Alistar's a lot squishier than the Rel early on. Like, you can literally see that Manal was just tanking out more damage, that's it. If this happens at 6 with Unbreakable, I think Los win it, but they just pulled the trigger a little bit too early. After last game, they probably thought, oh, we are just better, and we can outhands, and we can just try and force this and just outplay. How does Super Clever have an CS lead against a Gnar as a Renekton? That's crazy. That's illegal.
Já colou o Super Clever na parede, mas também não é muito preocupante. Tem o Dominus para ser utilizado, é por isso que o Tyrion não força mais essa presença, né? Não força mais essa pressão.
True, he doesn't need to go.
Chegou aqui na parte de cima, mas ele
Actually, as well as Super Clever has been doing down here, Mix has not regained his 1v5 Darius form, unfortunately.
Para pressionar o Stinner, então ele não vai conseguir matar
So,
esse.
I guess I shouldn't take it for granted then. Like, oh, obviously the GOAT's fine.
Porque
lá, já tem ping em cima dele, na real.
O Xing imediatamente começa a fazer o dragão lá no bot. Fica o Tyrion ali, deixa aquela sentinela, tem uma detectora do time da Lois, então tá tranquilo, a Lois vai ficar com o Vastilarva e o Corinthians vai ficar com o dragão. Aconteceu exatamente essa mesma movimentação no primeiro jogo.
Okay, they get.
Falta dizer que também
It's the Grub's Dragon
uma
trade.
característica muito forte da equipe do Corinthians focar nesses dragões.
Same
Eles
old, same
começaram o
old.
dia aqui com o principal número de dragões.
See, that was my concern when I saw this draft from Los. Even though I thought they'd be able to win out their lanes more heavily,
que querem trabalhar por essa parte inferior do mapa,
I did
mais agora
notice
que
that they
o
didn't.
principal
Los didn't really
carregador deles,
push
nesse
the
início de
advantage
jogo,
on the
tem que se
objectives
então, trabalhar
in game
pro
1.
lado onde eles têm de fato uma garantia melhor.
Like, they're pushing for kills and lane advantages instead.
Essas duas kills aceleram muito o comecinho de jogo do Core, que já vai acelerar a força da trindade dele para ter uma troca.
Oh yeah, BF sword already picked up for Netuno. Even though Trigo gets the additional kill, it's not gonna feel as good till later. Let's just stack that tier.
Para de fato levar melhor, mas aí ó como é que a troca já não tá tão legal assim pro Netuno.
A little bit premature from Netuno there. Especially when you know Steiner's in the area.
Ele tem nível 6, dá de cara com o Manel, puxa pra debaixo da torre, a galera do Corinthians.
Nice attempt. Yeah, a little bit decent from Los there.
Não compra ela, não tem muito como vir.
Like with Steiner having out, I really think you just kind of save that ultimate for potential third dive.
Porque eles não têm informação de onde está o Sting. Se o Steiner tem nível 6, o Sting tem nível 6 também. Entrar embaixo da torre.
I know some's burnt it all in that exchange.
Irmão, é receita do desastre.
Ainda mais que o Trigo poderia sair, né, dessa ultimate do Steiner. Acho que foi por isso também que ele não utilizou logo de cara, né? Tem flash, tem purificar. O Fago já faz muita diferença nessa
And
lane.
the result of that, Trigo gets the push. They get to deny wave.
Dano de ataque também para oferecer.
And just
Então,
evens
essas
things up, really.
bancadas do Netuno, né, com essa MF que agora
Okay, really good for Corinthians though. Again, they're just waiting to scale up. Their Corki will scale, their Silas will scale.
Já tá indo a MF lá tranquila desfilando para a parte superior do mapa para conseguirem realizar essa segunda leva de Vastilavs que vai nascer daqui a 2 minutos.
Não sei se eu entendi direito essa troca aí não.
É uma rotação um pouco mais...
Tá muito cedo pro Viro. Não pegou.
Tardia pra primeira.
I think the first big team fight will tell us a lot about how this specific game is gonna go. Whether or not Los is as good as they think they are. To drop this sort of Sinner's comp.
Vamos ver a estratégia, a escolha do time
Use Alice terms.
agora aqui, como que isso vai funcionar.
Sinto que também para dar uma fugida aí desse cork, né, para dar uma atrasada no mapa. Pode ser que esteja ainda cedo demais, mas com isso a Loz acelera o seu
Como mano de...
Mantém sempre a equipe do Corinthians em alerta para responder. Ele chega um pouco depois, inclusive a gente vê que o Cork foi para a rota do meio, ele não foi diretamente para a parte superior do mapa, então o CMF ainda vai continuar pressionando, porque tem vantagem numérica lá em cima do Lelé.
Mas ó, ficou para trás o Netuno nessa troca, tá? Nessa inversão. O Trigo...
Oh, the charm missed.
MG. Unfortunate. Agora ele expandiu essa vantagem. Vamos ver como é que fica, porque o MG já vai fechando para cima do...
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting rotation from Los Grandes, that they actually moved up Netuno and Sanghyun to the top lane instead of the mid lane. We usually see the AD carries, the sort of two people being moved into the mid lane. So it's kind of usually a 1-2-1 formation, just so that the mid can respond to either side. Not quite sure what the thinking is necessarily from Corinthians. Maybe they're trying to shut down the Silas, perhaps. And then they think that with the Ahri, maybe they've got kill threat.
Fica travado, Manel, por muito muito
Nice.
tempo. E aí não tem jeito, daqui ele não sai.
Okay, they got
Abate
Netuno.
do
Nice.
Netuno pra galera
Nice.
da Luz.
Deixaram o abate pro Netuno justamente pra remediar toda aquela situação de que ele tinha ficado pra trás, né? No final das contas, acabou sobrando pro Manel. Ele tava fazendo aquele escudo de
The funny part too is that fight breaks out with like no objectives on the map. So literally they just get the kill on Manel and everybody just resets anyways.
Na linha de frente, a equipe do Corinthians deu um molezinho ali de posicionamento, tá?
Manel fez a boa, senão o Trigo tinha ido.
So again, for the Corinthians, not the end of the world. It's just more gold going over the way of Los. It does go into Netuno's pocket, which is a little bit scary. We'll see if it's working out. Yeah, and then Corinthians get the grubs for free. This is nuts to me. Like, what was the point of the rotation that Lois did? Why did we send Netuno and Sanghyun top if not to get Prio over grubs? And then we do one fight, we all recall, and nobody's there to actually stop this from Corinthians, and Corinthians gets in first despite losing the member.
Essa MF agora pra rota do meio e voltar o Super Kleber pra parte superior do mapa.
Pode ser perigo aqui pro Leleco, ele vai limpar.
Arxent, you who brought me news about Stardust coaching this team, explain to me why this is happening when Stardust is now coaching them.
Eu até achei que a Los podia
This is
ter
why I doubt Stardust.
Eles sabiam que tava a rapaziada lá na parte de cima, estão com pressão na parte central, estavam com pressão na parte de baixo.
Didn't work with Los in the past, it didn't work with Loud, and then we're trying it again.
Eles ficaram ressabiados do Leleco ter o flash, ter o potencial de roubar o ultimate ali do Alistar na hora do dive. Mas enfim, não fizeram dive, jogaram mais safe.
A bit of a split call from Los Grandes.
O Rio e eles vão fazendo esse dragão e eles não foram vistos, tá?
Pois é, tô fazendo o dragão na surdinha.
Oh, MG showed it.
Eles são pelo
time do
time.
Corinthians. Mesmo o time do Corinthians tendo uma sentinela. Agora tá dando pra ver o MG, né? Mas o dragão já foi e aí fica esse objetivo pra galera da Luz.
Foi muito
The grubs are split
executado pela equipe da
one
Luz
set
esse
apiece,
dia, porque
dragons are
só
split
no
one
momento em
apiece.
que o MG apareceu no
All
Rio,
3 feats are
o
on the
dragão,
board and on the table.
na real, teve essa
to be
informação,
taken.
o Corinthians teve a informação
Nick's kill,
de
Nick's
que o
objective,
dragão
Nick's
estava
turret.
sendo feito. E aí já era tarde demais, né? E já não valia
Actually,
mais
pretty
a pena
balanced even game.
fazer a movimentação. Em objetivos, em placar de ouro, em absolutamente tudo, esse jogo, ao contrário do passado, tá empatadaço.
Qualquer detalhezinho, qualquer equipe que se consegue um pouco mais de vantagem, um abate a mais, a gente já tem o desequilíbrio da situação. E agora o Super Kleber que vai tomar.
There we go. This is how I expect the Naur Renekton matchup more to go. It's like Naur just running Renekton down.
É, ele só vazou ali, não tem muito jeito.
And the spacing.
Contra o Mega Nar, não tem como, é só pedrada e pancada. Opa! Sangue on.
Ih, vai sobrar.
No meio de dois jogadores.
He's got unbreakable,
ele
it's
fica
bait.
travado, usa ultimate.
Oof.
Flash
Flash,
pra
tá,
poder
ok.
escapar.
Ultimate importantíssimo para a equipe da Luz, que foi gasto, porém o Sting gastou dele também nessa brincadeira. Então tem um
Actually wonder if he
ultimate
needed to
legal.
flash
Agora, Leleco
at that point. I almost feel like he
pega
could have
só aquele
tanked a little bit more.
pokezinho inicial. De olho pra
Maybe he could have even walked it out if
movimentação do
Netuno came
time,
down to cover him with a
porque
bullet
tem
time.
muitos
I don't know.
parte de cima. O Sting
Hard to
tá
say.
chegando por aqui, mas não
Yeah.
deve
I mean, Los are
ser
still getting
muita
advantages in most of their
coisa
lanes.
disso aqui não, cara.
Even in the bot lane where Trigo is ahead, that actually wasn't from laning, that was from rotations coming through. And he was able to pick up a bit more farm. Netuno was usually lagging behind and dropped the wave here and there.
Quem pegar o primeiro abate, pega a proeza da
Isso.
guerrilha.
Tá
E
tudo
quem
igual,
pegar
cara.
o primeiro monstro, pega a proeza dos monstros épicos aí.
Quem pegar a
I'm
primeira
getting a little bit
torre,
nervy for
cara.
Los right now. Just sitting back a little too
Eu vi
much.
essa aí vindo de longe, tá? Essa aí eu vi vindo de longe. A primeira torre já é mais esperada, né, minha
Oxi.
rapaziada? Beleza.
Não menti.
Não, mentira.
Like, I feel like I'm seeing Sting and Manel move around a lot. I don't feel like I'm seeing Sanghyun and Steiner as much right now. And that's fine, there's no objectives on the map, but it's just more...
Aqui no Circuitão, lembrando que estamos terminando, né, a semana de número 6. A gente vai até a semana
It's like one of those
número
stats in like football where it's like,
9,
oh, you know, distance traveled, right? Like it doesn't always convert directly into goals, but
apenas 6 times passam desses 10. Então, muito importante,
Ok.
cada vitória importa demais e não
Nossa,
dá pra dar
verdade.
mole, Tyrion.
Não ficou. Tari ficou. Não conseguiu voltar debaixo da torre. Ele é a torre do
Nice.
lado,
Easy pick up. There we go.
eliminado. A
That's what you
guerrilha
wanna see.
veio, o MG garante a
Okay,
eliminação.
efficiency rating high for Steiner, I guess.
Super Kleber é obrigado a pular de um lado pro outro da torre. Ele
Distance
pulou,
run is not very high, but conversion rate high.
Tem 4 jogadores do
Meu Deus.
Corinthians. Ele travou os minions.
Oh, we've seen Super Clever win these. Let's go, Super Clever.
Vivaço!
E no
Let's
fim das
go. We
contas,
knew he got that.
ele
Easy
vai
clap.
levar
We've seen that happen too
pela
many
parte de
times.
cima, e com isso, as proezas ficam pra
Genuinely, as I saw them collapsing down, I was like, wait, I don't think they're actually gonna kill him. I'm so amused and glad that, yeah, they actually didn't kill him.
É muita coisa, Colossus, porque com isso ele ganhou tempo. A equipe do Corinthians fez uma escolha, já que eles tomaram a jogada na parte superior do mapa, eles vieram descontar né, na parte inferior.
I'm disproportionately
Então,
amused. I mean, he loses turret, but he also bought time for his team to get the turret. So that's kind of both feats going the way of those rounders. Or feats of warfare, feats of turret taking, feats of strength as a result.
Saiu com flash e com isso, só por isso que a Loz conseguiu pegar e finalizar essas proezas.
Ele não só limpou a onda de Minos, ele cortou ela, não deixou chegar, né?
Perfeito.
Então o time do Corinthians já começou a tancar de cara.
Yeah, so small, very slow, small leads being accrued.
Que vai expandindo a vantagem do ouro. Eles têm agora as botas com aprimoramento, que é ouro que não aparece.
It's a lot slower, honestly, than I like. I think Corinthians are still sat pretty comfortable where they are. Like just waiting for the skilling to kick in.
Que aí o Super Kleber vai abusar desse quebra-passos no momento em que tiver no mininar para manter esse contato, para manter essa proximidade. De novo, o Corinthians aloca 4 recursos para tentar pegar o Super Kleber. De novo, não consegue. E a Loz, em contrapartida, consegue. Em contrapartida, vai para a parte de baixo e vai alvejando a torre. Trigo toma uma punição severa.
You forgot for the podcast lore?
Mas a MF cura, né? A MF tem essa.
What do you mean RMC? Oh, are you talking about age or
pode trocar tranquilamente Netuno que com a onda de Minos ele
points
vai
or what?
curar. A Loz abre mais espaço agora
I need context.
O LG que derruba a
Age?
pela
Yes,
parte
I
de baixo
am.
do mapa, assim eles conseguem uma vantagem para brigar pelo próximo dragão, já que
I am the
esse
boomer,
arauto aqui já
esports
não
boomer
tem
of
como
the
eles
OTA
chegarem.
South
Ótima
broadcast.
movimentação da equipe do Corinthians e parece que tem potencial de luta aqui, tem
I was like,
teleporte.
hey, 30 points is kind of low. Like, I know I didn't have a good week, but
Só agora o time da Loz
30 points, like averaging 6 points per player. What did I pick? Freaking 2W7M or something like that?
É isso aí, é exatamente isso que eles querem, Grutar.
Oh.
O Zagueiro tá ficando pra trás,
Okay.
o Schiner tá ficando ali na lateral pra fechar a brincadeira. O Super Kleber tem o teleporte pra chegar, mas são
This is an
5
interesting
jogadores
position.
do Corinthians.
Los is just letting this happen.
Posicionamento mais defensivo para poder limpar esse arauto, defender a T2. Se encontrar o trio
Oh.
aqui pode ser perigoso, ainda assim.
Senior just getting
Eram
a
só
tip.
2 jogadores
Okay.
da Loz contra 4 do Corinthians.
Yeah, Los is opting to buy time for Super Clever rather than trying to like save the turret and actually set up for Dragon, which is fine. I mean, inner side lane for outer mid is kind of worth it. Gold-wise, it's certainly worth it.
Eles não vão, eles vão levar a T2, vão adiantar o trabalho na T2 e vão ficar com posicionamento favorável para fazer o dragão. O Corinthians tá abrindo a mão de tudo, pô.
Exato, eles tinham que aproveitar a vantagem numérica para iniciar né, esse dragão, só que ele deram espaço, a Loz que inicia e parece que agora sim o Corinthians vai
Okay,
ter
Terrence about to go mega.
Tá atacando todo mundo.
Nice pulverize. Really nice pulverize.
Pra longe, balaço do Netuno pra garantir o abate. Fica na mão da Loz essa primeira eliminação. O Corinthians vai tentar insistir, mas o dragão já foi feito.
Okay, let's go. MG with the zoning ultimate, actually.
Tranquilo pra
Yeah, okay.
ele.
Los, again, Los are getting small leads everywhere. It's really slow, excruciatingly so. But they are getting leads. I just don't know if they're getting enough, fast enough, before the scaling from Corinthians starts to kick in. Like, by the time your next objective comes up, Trigo is going to have his mirror mana already at that point. And that means he's fully online. Leko will... Okay, he won't have Rod of Ages when Atakan spawns, but by the time they fight for Atakan, his Rod of Ages will be fully stacked too. So, yeah, I think Corinthians, like I said, sat real pretty right now. But their team fight has not materialized. And until I see them actually get a good team fight, like, it's so hard to give Corinthians any credit or, you know, to believe in them.
Porque pra mim dava pra você defender tranquilamente a parte de cima. Você fica com os 5 jogadores aqui, meio que força o teu posicionamento com a vantagem numérica. Se o Super Kleber vier, aí você decide se você quer brigar ou não. Se ele não vier, você faz o dragão.
Super Clever lost his significant CS lead he had in lane.
A equipe do Corinthians não fez nenhuma.
I still don't understand how he got a huge CS lead over an hour as a Renekton. That just feels so disturbing. Oh, Leleko just lost the ult.
Tá meio isolado, mas ele não tá sozinho.
Corinthians tá
Okay.
chegando contra o Schiner MG, o flash do Schiner já foi utilizado. Então a Loz consegue se manter defendendo.
Okay, and what is Los doing while this is happening? See, this is my problem. Like, when there's no objectives, it just feels like Los are just straight chilling, right? Like, I'm not seeing them try and clear out vision, try and get control. I'm not seeing them look for ganks necessarily. I guess you could argue Cena was maybe thinking about a gank on the Leko, but I don't know. I don't think that would. Like,
Mais minutinho vai ficar completo.
yeah, I don't think that would have been that successful solo.
Vai ficar pronta pro Trigo também dentro de instantes.
Especially when at that time Leko was sitting on Unbreakable Will.
Próxima briga, no próximo objetivo neutro, importante, a Los não tá longe no placar de ouro.
É, realmente, acho que vai ser um grande momento aqui pro Corinthians brigar. Por outro lado também, o MG
Might steal away. Steiner secures it.
mais XP à frente, ele fechou primeiro o seu bastão das eras, né? Ele comprou primeiro, então fechou primeiro. Leleco vai pegar um nível inteiro agora e mesmo assim ainda vai ficar um nível inteiro atrás dessa área que
That's
tá se
getting more
aproximando do 16,
interesting
ou
now.
seja, mais
Not a lot of setup around
possibilidades,
Ascon whatsoever.
tempo de recarga também.
Drag spawning in 2.5 minutes.
Então assim, sinto que esse mid game, de fato,
Trico has his mirror mana. Leko, Rod of Ages, less than a minute to go.
construídos agora, mas a Loz não fica muito pra trás porque eles já construíram.
Tuno still wearing flip-flops and not proper shoes. Magical footwear.
Com a IE fechada ali também, né? O Gumi, então... Beleza, o Cork chegou no ponto em que ele começa a jogar o jogo, mas a MF também tá jogando o jogo muito bem. Já tem os itens importantes, cruciais para que ela cause todo o dano dela.
Por isso a gente entra naquele momento que não tem nenhum grande objetivo para poder ser disputado. Os dois times vão tentando ganhar posicionamento, tentando ganhar visão do adversário. O Ventura tá puxando o engage, o Trigo também.
Okay.
Ele usa a Valkyria pra sair.
Okay.
Faz o engage pra pegar o Manel. Ele cavalga pra longe.
I think Sanghyun's fine with that engage.
Teleporte do time do Corinthians fechando com o Mega Na. Foi encantado o Tari. Flash Ultimate, ele consegue.
Where's the bullet
conectar,
time?
e a galera da Luz toma
Where's the bullet
prejuízo,
time?
perdeu o
Sanghyun
seu
sacrificed his life.
O Corinthians luta bem, mas tem
There we go.
Olha o balaço.
Solid bullet time.
Atrás da MF.
Didn't get full duration, but it did enough damage.
O Corinthians tenta revidar,
Another one for one, though.
Foi um abate pra
Top
cada lado.
for support.
Depois desse
Yikes.
engage, o Corinthians tá bem.
No final das
Okay.
contas,
That's-
o Corinthians sai na
I
vantagem
think that's it. I think we've hit the
pega
magic
dois
time.
abates. Sangyeon
Corinthians
e o
are
Super
online.
Kleber é quem cai e só cai o Manel
And they are
na
now fighting on
volta
even
mais
footing
uma
from
vez.
Los with
O
Los,
Manel
and from here,
decide
Corinthians only get
mais uma
stronger.
vez, o Manel salva a
Riftmaker
equipe do
for Leko
Corinthians.
as well.
E,
Okay.
ó, vou dizer mais uma parada aqui. O Sting
And now Los has to show me kind of like they are actually better. If they drafted us, if they were better.
Pra equipe da Los. Ele não teve a presença de espírito para fazer isso.
É, mais uma vez que isso acontece. Eu lembro que também lá na parte inferior do mapa, que ele foi focado, ele teve que flechar porque utilizou o ultimate antes.
In
né?
a way,
Então não
the
consegue
nice thing about the
esse
comp for Los
tempo
Grandes is
aqui,
that
o Alistar. Então, mais uma
as
vez,
much
ele
as they
aguentou
don't,
bastante, mas mesmo assim,
they have weaker
tá
scaling, they're still going to be
ainda mais
relevant.
fatal. Temos um dragão em jogo em
It's just
20
harder for them. They just have to play
segundos.
better.
O Corinthians tem o ímpeto agora. Eles têm o ritmo,
But
eles
there's
têm
still very clear
coragem.
ways to pull the
E
trigger,
aí,
and you get the jump and get,
primeiro,
you know,
o Trigo vai
sort of a
fazer
pick
defesa
or
do Divino,
burst
vai
one person
descer
out fast
errado
enough.
por aí, Trigo não
It's still
vai
playable.
muito, não.
Tem que tomar cuidado com o Corinthians, porque o Leleco tá lá na rota lateral, ele tem teleporte, ele pode fechar aqui, tá vindo na backline, hein? Tá vindo no flanco, vai chegar por
Okay.
aqui o Leleco.
Leleco's in flank position.
Sabe, já
Sanghyun just kicked him over the wall with the Blasco. Let's go.
contra o Leleco. Era um perigo danado esse flanco a favor do time do Corinthians.
Mas não acabou o flanco. O Leleco continua ameaçando pelo flanco e a equipe da Los
Já era.
não vai contestar. Eles não têm essa vantagem.
Yeah,
Dois
not even a
sabores
look from
dos
Los Grandes
dragões.
there.
Agora o Corinthians vai pra cima.
O
Roubou o
Leleco roubou o
ultimate.
ultimate do Sangyeon, tem esse alistar aí pra poder tancar. O Corinthians defende
Oh,
a sua
no.
torre, não
And
deixou
here we
o
settle in
espaço
for the
pra galera da Luz
CBLCK.
bater nela.
Jogo empatadíssimo de novo. A gente começou assim e continuamos nessa pegada de
Okay.
igualdade.
Yeah, I
entre
think
os
with
dois
that
times.
last Dragon take, it shows that Los are aware that they're no longer strong. So don't, for Los, expect to see them dancing around a lot more. They're going to be looking for like that perfect engage angle. If they can't find it, they're probably just going to keep dancing around, never actually fighting. It's on Corinthians to find engages at this point. But at the same time, for Corinthians, there's no need to overforce it. If Los are not willing to fight you, then that's fine. Corinthians can just show up objective, take it for free, and keep on rolling. They're fine with that.
Grande vantagem a favor do Corinthians, Corinthians, na minha opinião, é esse late game que
A
eles
nice
têm,
pause
cara.
into some
Eles
action.
têm uma composição que
No.
eu acho que vai ser mais forte.
Never
À
pauses.
medida que o jogo vai avançando por causa do Silas, por causa do
Pauses are the evil.
Eu
To be fair,
acho
CD's
que
gotten
é
better about
bem
pauses. Like,
honesto
we
com os dois,
still
mas
have
eu
pauses almost every
trouxe
week,
um
but they're much
pouquinho
shorter
da
for the most part.
Porque
So.
eu acredito nessa área aí no late game.
Yeah,
também.
usually by the time like I
Ter sido
take a glimpse at
nerfada e
the
tudo mais, ela ainda pode ser um problema.
LT Fantasy or whatever, it's like right
conseguir
back in
alcançar
already,
a
so.
backline inimiga. E assim, eu vejo o dano é o Trigo, cara. O Leleco não é um cara pra dar dano, o Tyrion também não. Então se o Trigo morre, a composição do Corinthians fica meio enviesada, fica meio empenada.
Vai cair essa torre agora da parte de cima do mapa. Beleza, Demoli ajudou bastante. 700 de ouro ali, solo pra esse Renatão. Eu ia comentar também que o MG tá fazendo bastante uma build de utilidade, né?
Sim,
Além do Bastão
verdade.
das Eras, que dá um pouquinho, né, de AP. Ele fez a Leandre pra causar mais
really
dano
is
em
super,
tanques,
super,
né? Já
super
que tem
boring.
vários potenciais de bastante vida do outro lado. Mas ele fez agora um corta-cura, né? Justamente
Man,
pelo-
Brent Atakan's even worse. Like, we're literally just sitting waiting for dragons now, I guess. Because neither team is comfortable doing Atakana Bear, and those are throw points. And not, Corinthians don't have a big enough lead. Los have already decided they're not going to fight objectives.
Mesmo sendo nerfada, né? Porque ele precisa ser esse potencial que vai cortar a cura ali dos jogadores.
Like, Sheena, let it rip, man. Worst comes to worst, he burns a cleanse, and it's kind of okay.
Mas vai sendo utilitário pra sua equipe.
A área fica talvez até um pouco mais bruiser, né? É mais,
sim.
roda mais
Mais pra
skill
cima.
ainda. Tem
You're
que
just
ficar
watching
ali,
me get bored,
pulsando
don't you?
fogo na
The other
porta,
problem too is like the
pulsando
macro is not very good. So
pra dar esse
if the
danozinho
teams
de
are doing like
rotação
rotation, trying to get
muito
leads
bom.
or trying to make plays somewhere else, and that's why we're not seeing action happen, I'm okay with that. Like, I can live with that. But the problem right now is like we're not seeing pushes come through. We're not seeing vision set up to allow for split pushing to be very, very effective. The meta is not conducive to split pushers either. And so we are literally just pushing teams out, and then yeah. Did I set my fantasy? So I've decided now I don't lock my fantasy team after first week, because first week I locked and then found out things after, which I wish I knew before I locked it. But I have pretty much decided on my fantasy team, Lunar. Yeah.
Mas o Corinthians tá passo à frente.
I'm going full pain strategy plus in the jungle role. I can't afford Carioca because he's too expensive. So I went with Shinny. Actually, I should see if I can pick up Carioca instead of, and see if maybe I'll drop a different player and go for like a super budget option who's not going to get me a lot of points. Because yeah.
Trigo tem que sair. O Trigo tá tranquilo.
O Steiner tá sempre muito temeroso.
I think Carioca is probably a better bet for points than Roamer is right now, but like Roamer's a lot cheaper, so yeah, we'll see. I'll go check after this game if there's a way for me to somehow get Carioca on my team. Sack somebody else instead.
Muito importante em troca de feitiço que ele consegue ainda continuar na luta, né? Diferente da Sejuani que perde seu principal potencial.
Yeah, like I said, all pain except for jungle right now, but where I kind of went with Shinny for now. I think Shinny, that game is going to be a coin flip. I actually kind of don't want to have any Loud or Furia players on my roster this week, because I don't know which way that series is going to go. Budget options, everyone is your budget. Good for you, Chancellor. Lunartine. Oh, they found Trigo? Trigo gives and Trigo gives away. He's dead. He's not dead? I'm dead. How? In what world? Okay, there we go. Finish him. There we go. It took forever and a day, but finally explosive action. And it was Corinthians who screwed up the dance first. Really, really patient play from Los. Very, very, very patient. I mean, they're the team that's going to struggle. Like, they couldn't split because Renekton can't really do anything into Nara splitting. And it doesn't get easier as the game goes on. Ari struggles into the Silas. So literally the only thing they could do was just keep waiting for Corinthians to make a mistake, and Corinthians made a mistake. So, yeah. Kind of sucks to be Corinthians right now. Los made Corinthians look like this. I refuse to go on that. I don't watch NFL. I don't know. Not getting into that. Stick to the football metaphors. At least that one I can relate to. Like actual football, not American football. Yeah. It's so patient. Over and over and over again. And Trigo just should not be up there on his... That overextended kind of on his own. Yeah, on his own is not completely fair, but realistically... Yeah. Steiner is having quietly a standout series. 117 doesn't sound amazing, and I know that MG is the one with more KP. But I really like the Xinjiao game 1, and I think his Sejuani this game has been solid. My criticism of Shiner is that I think he's been a little bit too passive this game too, but I mean, when he finds engages like that, it's hard to fault him. I'll complain about him. Oh, speaking of the Canadian team in the NHL Finals. Wait, did the Jets win last year? Who won the Stanley Cup last year? Oh, it's Florida Panthers. Never mind. Yeah, they choked. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's sooner. That is better, and I'll take it because it's sadly, unfortunately true. Oh man. I'm personally not a huge fan of the Jets. I feel like they get a lot of 1993. Damn. Almost as old as me. This is the last time we touched the Stanley Cup. Damn. Yeah. I'm not a huge NHL fan, but I mean, I live in Vancouver, so it's the Canucks is our team. But they've sucked for quite a while. Literally since the riots, no, was it 2014, 2013? No, 2012? I forget when they had the riots, when we made the Stanley Cup Finals. And then since then, my team sucked, so. And I still support them, but yeah. This is not a pain situation where they have a chance of winning ever and just couldn't win. This is this is like a Fluxu W7M situation. Yo, Orbital, aren't you costing right now? How come you're here? I think 1993 was the last time the competitive fight. That's not true. Corinthians are skilling, Lunar. They're skilling. They are competitive if they can actually get a fight that they want. But the 5... Oh, okay, I guess the 5 to gold league makes them less competitive, but they should still be competitive.
Com isso, o Corinthians vai ficando mais e mais atrás. Esse valor aí de 4K e 700
you're on break. Tech issues means you're stuck on the next match, which is at the top of the hour. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Tech issues suck, bro. Half an hour, man. That's a long time. Actually, you know what? I'm stuck here half an hour too in this stupid game where nothing ever happens. We have like 10 minutes of nothing. Okay, that's an exaggeration. We get like 5 minutes of nothing interspersed with like one burst of action. This series is really slow. And game 1 was like a one-sided beatdown, which had zero, which wasn't very interesting. I actually say it's zero interest. I mean, Los was rotating really well, but. My exaggeration to one point. It's because that's how it feels to me. I understand that it's not true, but it feels that way. It's just, you know, you watch video games for action. You know, like nobody wants to sit here and do nothing. It's like, caster, start the game. Team, start the fight. Here we go. Our 5-minute timer's up. Ooh, nice impale from Sting. Oh, that's really good. It doesn't matter. Corinthians are actually hinting this. Ooh. This is really frustrating to watch, man. Like, Corinthians are approaching this blind without the full team there. Tyrion just wants you to buy him time so he can freaking get the turret. And then instead your team gets engaged on because somebody walked too deep with no backup. Oh. The impale was the dying breath of a starving bull. Very poetic and very true. Like, the whole team wasn't there. I don't know what we were doing, what the call is. And now, Corinthians calling for this dragon is actually asking to die. If they get caught in this dragon, they're so dead. Tyrion's mini. He's not even close. Oof. Trigo gets looked at and loses half his health. Damn. Okay. I want them to replay how that fight started, because it's... Yeah, I want to go Lambast Corinthians some more. Okay. Great, you found a... you know what, actually, not terrible. You got at least one Baron buff off somebody. I'm gonna take it, I guess. Hey, you're back to work? Okay. Hopefully I'll have fun with the other match, but have fun with your match too, Orbital. Okay, Corinthians starting the power play negative. Nice. Or making Los start their power play negative. I guess I should phrase it that way. Nice.
Sujeira.
Like, I'm not being sarcastic.
Sanghyun, seja bem-vindo ao
Sanghyun's fine. He's baiting. He's got Unbreakable. Yeah, there you go. It's a beautiful, beautiful bait from Sanghyun. This is why Alistair keeps getting picked in competitive. It's all bait. Oh, point blank. Nice. Spirit Rush is almost off cooldown. Oh, Netuno. Netuno. Make it rain, baby! Or not even, just flat out auto attack him. That works too, I guess. Killing him with Make It Rain would have been funnier, but okay, that should be game. There's still Baron buff multiple members of lows. They should be able to crack an inhib. Even if they don't end the game necessarily with this Baron buff, it should be pretty much over. I don't see how Corinthians come back in. Yes, it was negative 26 or 56 or something like that. It was negative. The start, I said. And then it very quickly became positive. This is like a normal Baron power play number. But yeah, I don't know. I think Corinthians are having massive underlying issues. This is not a dropped issue. This is not a hands issue. They look scared to fight for some reason. Like, when you're strong, you need to fight. I don't understand what they're waiting for or how they're playing. Like, one of the biggest strengths of the South as a whole is that they're decisive. Like, sure, sometimes when they lose, it looks really bad because they decisively lose, but at least they, like, make a play, you know? On the international stage, they don't just sit there and die. They make plays till they die, or even as they're dying. Like, Sting getting the Impale, to me, that is like the LTA South mentality, you know? Like, that's the way it should be. Like, I might be dying, but I'll go around kicking and screaming. I will not go quiet into that good night. But Corinthians don't have it. I don't know, it just feels really, really lackluster. I think Sanghyun in this game too did really, really, really well. But personally, I think I want to give it to Steiner. I think Steiner was really solid throughout this series. He found some really good engages. The critical game-breaking fight was the one on Corki, and I think Sanghyun was the one who, not Sanghyun, Steiner was the one who kind of enabled that. So, yeah, I would give it to him. The Steiner had a good fight. Whoever's doing prod today is... Guys, production? There we go. Yeah. I don't know, these numbers are kind of bad for Leleco. I'm not going to blame Leleco. I don't know if I should, but I'm not going to. That he gets low damage numbers. It just feels like Corinthians was never willing to fight when they should have. Okay, I'm going to go back to that weird... There's a weird fight that happened, which I thought was kind of bad. Is this it? No. Yeah, okay, it's coming up. It was right before the Baron take. Okay, so it's the ways away. Where was the Baron take? I think it was around here, right? No, his Tyrion was closer to the tier 2 turret. So this is the setup for it. They're just kind of fighting for vision and control. And so you see Shiner, you see Sanghyun, you see MG. You know Netuno's there because Trigo was facing off against them. But this is a 4v4 situation right now, with Super Clever much closer. And then, yeah, like, Tyrion's just calling like, hey, let me split push, guys. Leleco goes to answer this top side, which I think is the right call. Like, just push that out and buy Tyrion space, right? That's kind of thing, I think, just it. Tyrion actually starts basing in the bush. Oh, okay. To be fair to Corinthians, it wasn't them. Sanghyun got an insane flank. Okay, maybe I MVP Sanghyun then. This game too, it was really, really good on him.
cima do Manel, ele foi encantado, travado por muito tempo.
Yeah.
Já foi eliminado.
Okay.
Xing puxou
Yeah,
três
maybe Xiangheng
jogadores.
deserves the MVP.
É que a equipe da Lua se recuperou muito bem. E eu confesso que no começo do Ride 0/12 fiquei pensando,
Yeah.
eu ia doutrina, sequência de nomes aí.
I guess part of the reason why I kind of don't want to give Sanghoon MVP is also because like I feel like the last catch we give it to MG. What?
Cara, ele tá bem demais. Isso só
Look,
mostra
I get the
como
KDA is absolutely
não
insane. I get it. I get it.
nessa série,
But also,
o MG tá
I don't know, man. He felt like icing on the cake.
aqui, nosso circuito
Like really good icing, but
E eu vou te dizer que isso é porque ele morreu 0 vezes.
28% of the damage is not
Foi,
like
a
insane.
diferença
I
dele
don't
pegar
know.
um MVP e não
650
tinha,
DPM?
falou outro nome aqui pra
Muito
ele, tá?
God.
Muito God.
Yeah, exactly.
Agora, assim, ó,
I'm with you, Trajan. It's pretty mid.
God,
Like,
é, pronto, MG
like the insane thing that from MG was this, right? Like the KDA and the difference of gold, I guess. But the difference in gold isn't even him either. Like at 20 minutes, it's not at 15. So that's like after your whole team's been making plays and
A Luz, então, continua lá no topo da tabela. Agora a gente vira a página que você já
Ah,
tá
não,
na
man.
telinha. Reds contra
Disagree,
Reds,
hard
não
disagree.
confronto direto, mas aí, agora, mais
this one felt like a KDA award.
mapa não, da tabela.
And again, zero death is
Acho
impressive,
o time
but
da Red se vencer,
and
coloca
Tinons
a
was
posição
Brazilian
da
Baker for a while
Red.
because his
Os
KDA
dois
was that
times
good, so I
ainda
guess
brigando ali pela zona
it's
de
consistent.
classificação por esse top 6, a Reds meio que
Wow,
se mantém
Lunar.
legal nessa briga, se
Shots fired.
conseguir mais uma vitória, mas a mesma coisa pode ser dita pra Reds.
Actually, we just recorded GL this morning, and Trajan defended why his scores are the way they are, and I actually kind of feel him.
É verdade, o
Ele
Brown
também vai embora.
do Colossus também vai voltar
I love the
pra
emote,
casa,
the Trajan's
porque
there.
uma nova galera
Yeah,
vamos
Trajan
ter
actually defended why his scores are as bad as they are, and it's actually kind of legit. So I feel for Trajan.
Mas o circuitão volta já já.
Tchau.
Okay, next up is going to be Rats versus Red. Again, Chancellor Lunartine, not all of us have the budget to do everything, you know? We are not the Senate, unfortunately. So, we could not approve more funds. Yeah, so this is kind of where I'm at. I'm going to see how much... Okay, to get Karaoke, how deep in the hole must I go? An 8.5 gold. Damn. Can you actually buy all the top players, Lunar? With your... Actually... 25 points. You'd be pretty... Yeah, I think you'd be pretty close. If, maybe you might not be able to afford all? I don't know. Okay, let me see. If I drop... Which player could I drop to make space? Because wait, how much is Shinny right now? Shinny is 9.9. I need 6 more gold. So I need to drop somebody 6. Romer is 9.9. There's nobody at 3. So I've got to drop either Wiser, Titan, or Curry. Ooh, that's kind of tough. Curry is droppable, I guess. Seos counts as an LTA support, right, guys? Seos is an LTA South player, right? He's from here. We count. Titan, I'd have to drop to 6 point something. Oh no, the only one is Marvin. Nope. Wait, who got me more points in round 3? Was Curry or Titan worth more points? Titan's worth more points. Ooh, maybe I actually drop Curry for Seos, you know? Wait, what the hell? Okay. No, Seos is south. I have decided. Seos is south. I do not care. I'd have spare budget too if I drop Seos. Wiser is not the most expensive top laner anymore. Whipple beat him out. Damn. For 6. Dothby? No. Bull? No. Summit? Hell no. Yeah, I think the only player I'm willing to trade down would be Curry for Seos. Hair versus hair incoming. 6x6 versus Trajan. Find out on the next episode of Gringos Liberados. That should be out Friday, I think, based on the schedule we've been releasing that. know, Lunar. I don't leak these sort of things. You gotta watch the episode to find out. Late afternoon on Friday. Yeah, unfortunately. So, first of all, shout out to Trajan who does the recording when we do the podcasts, and then 4x4 has to do all the editing to send it out. But 4x4 is in school, so yeah.
Salve, salve, boa noite pra
Alistair or
vocês
Leona?
que estão
Leona.
chegando, assim como nós,
Dois.
para essa segunda série do dia do Circuito
And-
Desafiante. Boa noite pra vocês. Boa noite também, meninos.
Give me
que estão
karaoke,
aqui do meu lado,
baby.
chegando pra essa série que vale muito.
Does he get Maokai?
E eu já queria
Does he ever get
destacar,
Maokai?
a gente
He gets
tá no
Maokai,
mapa,
actually.
né?
Oh, he lost the game on Maokai. Where's my 100% win rate, Karaoke? Disappointed.
Acontece também.
Vamos dar boa noite.
I want to see them more in
Boa
Ivern.
noite,
I think
André.
Ivern's actually a really good pick. I think the Maokai is more likely, but wait, that actually means I could switch up my mid lane potentially. Dude, Tinones? Nope, not touching Furia Loud. That one's too iffy. I don't have a good read on that. You'll be at the draft? What do you mean at the draft?
Eu acho que
Lunar?
vai estar de boa, mas
What
vamos
draft?
pra você, Andrezinho Foguete. Agora sim, com boa noite.
Oh.
Propriamente.
Damn.
É, pois é, já tá na tela já?
This
Eu
draft?
vou-
This
vou
draft
você
drop?
distrair. Sua
Out
careca
of nowhere.
saiu um pouquinho.
Moleque, aqui dá pra ver o futuro, olha lá.
Pois é, e o
Yeah.
do
Considering the
Branco
break in
também,
between
mas chegou
games is
pra
not
time
very
Big
long,
Bang.
I am
Manda
surprised at
informação,
how fast.
É, acho que eu
How deep in
na
the draft
bola,
they
exagerei
were.
um pouquinho aqui, não vou negar não. Mas,
Vamos falar de
Okay.
pickball?
por favor, Foguete, nos
Um.
introduza, nos
Fala
introduza.
da Raíssa. Não, brincadeira. Red
Okay.
já fizeram a escolha
Red
aí,
Academy, it is
foi
Doom
voltar
back in
pra
Academy.
equipe esse
Rest may
primeiro
he.
jogo. E a gente
I don't
já
know.
viu
Okay,
coisas
you know, not may he rest in
interessantes
peace. There's still a chance he can move up.
essa botlane da
I
Red
think he had a shot,
começa
and I think
muito
he
com esse
didn't get
jogo,
it.
com
So
essa Kai'Sa também, né?
I don't think
Agora
he'll be
a gente
back,
teve aí
but we'll see how it
7 na
goes.
posição de cada um. E pelo lado
Versus
da
Rats,
Red,
which is a very interesting
nada
team.
muito fora do que a gente tá
They,
acostumado a
yeah,
ver.
they are due for a win today because their record is win, loss, win, loss. Oh, loss, win, loss, win,
Trouxe esse
loss.
homem, a gente
With his game
comentou
6, it should be
no
win.
jogo que a gente tava esperando ele entregar e tudo mais.
Viban? Oh, we don't need a Viban, guys. Vi's not that good. I think these bans make a lot more sense. We go Rumble first pick. I don't hate it. We answer the Shinjao and Ezreal. Fine. We go Maokai Yone. I like this. This is really nice. This part is 4.5 out of 5. Said should have been better, but it was banned. So we go Karma Ezreal. Oh, I actually really like this, by the way. I think Enchantress supports are actually really strong right now. I don't know why nobody's playing them. Especially when we keep prioritizing Ezreal, like, Enchantress supports are so good. And they win lane. So, we ban MF. Okay, that's a good ban with this already. We ban Nautilus. We ban Ornn. I'd rather see Chiari and Ornn than a carry, personally, if I was playing against them. We ban Aurora. Okay, that's fine. We pick Gnar instead. I don't like this Gnar. Because now you have nobody set the Gnar, and Gnar has to find his own way in. It's not the easiest. It's doable, and Xinjiao will probably be your initiate, I guess, then. I just don't like Gnar without setup. It's too conditional for my tastes. Then we answer with Rel, which is great, and Jhin, which is actually good. I like Jhin here. There's no true tank on this side. You've already seen all of this. You know that the mid laner is not a true tank anyways. You can still flex Karma into mid lane, but then this means this is probably going to be Leona or Rakan, both of which are punishable by Jhin. So good Jhin angle, and more importantly, I think Rebello, I don't think of Rebello as like a carry, AD carry. Like he can. I don't think it's fair to say he's not. But in my head, he's not like one of the guys I'm super hyped over getting carry champions. So putting him on a utility champ, I like that a lot personally. So, yeah. That sets up for the team as well. Rel, again, I think Rel can be primary engage. It's a little bit tough, so having a Jhin to assist her is a great idea. And then we go with Ari, which to me, an R5 Ari is like an R5 Orianna. It means we don't have a good idea of what to pick. We're out of ideas. We're out of champions that you can play, which will do well. So we're just going to pick something super generic. Hence Ari. So comp, I like this. I like this. I am ambivalent about this. I am ambivalent about this. I do not like this. I think all in all, I'd give this a 2.5 out of 5. Could be better. Could be a lot better. It's not terrible, but could be a lot better. This is a pretty nice comp. I like this. 4.5 out of 5. The only thing, and again, because of the bans and the way things kind of panned out, I would have liked a bit more engage on this side, like a bit easier engage.
ela tem
Like a Leona maybe instead of the Rel when you've already got Maokai to kind of follow up. But overall, really good. Yeah, I think Red won pretty handily.
Posso te falar? Porque
Griftar Yone is not bad either,
seguindo
so
essa estatística aí do Maokai também, ela tá com mais derrotas do que vitória, a galera não tá conseguindo.
yeah, he can carry on the champion.
Então, a gente vê o meta meio que se
Doom on
formando,
Maokai is really, really solid. We've seen him on it plenty
vai
back in
começar a ver ela
Red
passando
Academy
mais um
days
pouco, eles
last
não
year.
tão mais tão confiantes com ela. Não sei se eles não estão sabendo encaixar, se eles ainda não pegaram exatamente o jeito, mas ela acaba deixando de ser esse pique prioritário,
Yeah.
porque no fim das contas, não tá funcionando.
Mas
Yeah.
eu acho que também entra muito
Laning
mais
wise,
porque como é um pick muito
I think the
popular,
bot lane is where my eyes are kind of drawn
bem
to,
forçado de ganhar
because
picks, mesmo
Ezreal
que
Karma,
não
I
seja o
want
melhor
Beanie
cenário,
and
você
Crustamel
sempre
to
vê
really be able to
forçado
show
a
off how
banir
good this
certos
bot lane,
campeões, deixa seu draft
like
um pouco mais
what
previsível,
a
te
support
loca
enchant
em
what an
muitas
enchanter support can
situações que
actually
eu
do.
acho que também acaba sendo
Especially
difícil
Ezreal
colocar
Karma,
numa
which is
situação
known to be
boa,
like
tem
a
alguns
very
piques
abusive
no
lane.
meta que
So
encaixam muito bem, por exemplo,
please showcase that,
Maria
Crustamel.
encaixa muito bem contra o Kalista por conta das pedrinhas, ela não consegue ter essa mobilidade toda. Então eu acho que
Yeah,
tem
and then
muitas
beyond that,
respostas
I don't know.
corretas,
This
mas
top
eu
side of
acho
the
que
map
hoje
worries me a
contra
lot for
Kalista, além dela
Rats.
ser muito
Like
opressora nessa
a
fase de
lot, a
rotas,
lot.
vem com o fato de que ela também pode aparecer muito bem com outras duplas que
Yeah.
pode aí diversificar
The more I look at it, the more concerned I am. Ari wins out early against the Yone, but once he starts to take over, that's going to be kind of GG. Top side, Nar is actually one of the better picks into Rumble, I personally think. Like, it's not a hard win, but it's really solid. It gets the job done very well.
Dentro das próprias lutas, mas ainda assim duas composições focadas em lutar e eu acho que é uma
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the
então quem acaba draftando
Nar in the lane, but
posições de luta acaba normalmente
yeah,
E é até bem curioso, porque se a gente for olhar...
we'll see. We'll see what the Xin Zhao can do.
Carries, né, trazendo um pouco de votação
Steiner had a
pra
really good
posição,
Xin Zhao game earlier.
foram-
Like, I am
no caso foi a MF,
kind of a Xin Zhao hater,
e o que
but
vem pro jogo é esse Ezreal e esse
Steiner made me
e o
believe.
Jhin, sim, que
And Drake
apesar
Hero
de
is
estar
technically
sendo
one of those
jogado
other guys
de um
who
jeito
should be able to
diferente,
make me believe. So
tem sido um campeão prioritário, mas tá aí na tela então os drafts de ambas as equipes, a gente começa a se preparar para esse primeiro
part of
jogo
me
de Red Canids contra Reds. Vocês aí do chat participam com a gente, conta pra gente também na hashtag Circuito Desafiante lá no
Will
Twitter,
give faith.
Então, o que vocês estão achando
am I a
desse
Shin
dia?
hater or
E, Andrezão,
Karaoke
vai
Shin
bem?
Zhao hater? I am a
Pode deixar com a gente, foguetinho,
okay. I am a traumatized Karaoke Xin Zhao hater, but in general, I'm just not that big a fan of Xin Zhao. The way it's played currently, like I understand why they pick it. I think compositionally, a lot of times when it's picked, it's good for the comp. My biggest problem with Xin Zhao right now is just that most teams don't play his early game, right? Like everybody just power farms, and nobody is like forcing invades, forcing fights with the Xin Zhao, which I think is one of his strongest points in the early game. So that's kind of why I hate the Xin Zhao. It's not so much the champion itself. I hate watching Xin Zhao because it's kind of boring, but in terms of the pick itself, it's more that teams don't play him right in the South. And it doubly bugs me in the South because like we're such a bloodthirsty region that if you've got an early aggressive, champion like that, you should be forcing fights with the champion, like it drives me nuts when you don't. So yeah, I'm a Rise hater, not just a Robo Rise hater. Yes, I am also a Rise hater. That one is more generic. I understand that there are good places to pick the Rise in terms of like how you say, like when there's a lot of mobile champions on this side and you need a point and click lockdown. Yes, I think Rise is a great champion for that, but I also hate that Rise just does nothing for the first 20 minutes of the game. Like, actually does nothing for the first 20 minutes of the game. You're waiting for Rod of Ages and Ceres both to come online before you're an actual champion. It's like KO or Kassadin. Like, pass me with that. Miss me with that. If I wanted to watch that sort of stuff, I'd go cast the LCK. LCK challenges. Holy Rebello. See, this is why I say I don't want to say that Rebello is not a carry AD carry because he gets moments like this, which are absolutely cracked. Let's go. Well played, Rebello. For me in Academy this split, there are a lot of players who I thought were very, very good coming in because we had so many CBLOL players dropping down to tier 2 with the reduction of teams. But I think the player who has impressed me most with their growth has been this Red Academy roster, Rebello and Zinz. I thought Yuzin was already pretty good, but Yuzin is doing very, very well. I just had higher expectations of Yuzin coming into the split, whereas Rebello and Zinz I was kind of down on. I'm also kind of down on Doom. Doom, unfortunately, has not changed my mind. But Rebello and Zinz, I think, are a big part of why Red Academy is middle of the pack right now. Is that right? They're 2 and 3? Surely not. I thought they were 3 and 2. This score is wrong. Red are 3 and 2 right now. They are not 2 and 3. Rats is 2 and 3. They've got the score flip on the top.
Força de
So,
farm contra o Ezreal.
yeah, just
Então,
ignore that.
essa iniciação que a Red faz ali embaixo, esse começo de jogo mais agressivo nessa bot lane foi muito importante.
I know, I like
pra criar pouco
Curry's Yumi as
pressão.
well. I just like Curry more on engage champions because he's such a fun guy to watch when he's got engage champions. But yeah, no, I'm quite happy with Curry Yumi as well. I'm pretty happy with any champion that Curry picks up, to be honest. Curry has a lot of credit as far as I'm concerned when it comes to his picks. I'm willing to let him try out anything and withhold judgment.
E a baixa importante que ficou na mão do Rabelo, né?
Man could
Então,
pick something with
acelera
absolutely no
ainda
CC,
mais
like
esse
Gwen
time.
support, and I would be like, okay, let's see how this works.
Ele tá aqui pra aparecer em teamfights, né? Ele tá aqui pra estar num bom
I'm not really a Yumi
posicionamento,
lover.
considerar
I just like
isso
enchanter
pra
supports
isolá-los
in
e
general. I think
abrir
they're,
pro resto do time.
especially in the current meta, like I said, I think they're actually really, really strong.
Conseguirem encaixar o seu grande dano, né? O
See,
Rabelo
like
tá
despite the
aqui pra ser uma
fact that
grande fonte
Rebello picked up
explosiva
first blood
de
onto
dano.
Beanie,
Então,
forced him out the first
acelerar
wave.
essa construção de
Like,
build dele,
Enchanter
acelerar
plus
a
Ezreal,
aparição
forcing
desse
back,
jogo é
kind of evened out the lane.
importante
So,
exatamente pra esses momentos.
Que beleza! Flash pra cima, o Du ainda vai
okay.
tancando a
That's actually
torre.
really clean from Doom and
Não
Zinz.
podia começar melhor pra Red.
Really nice for Doom to
Já
actually
muito
sit there and
mais
tank
uma
to make sure
eliminação
Zinz gets out clean.
belíssima, o gank do menino Doom.
Pois é,
Yo,
e nem
what the hell?
hesitaram em executar a jogada tanto o Zinz quanto o Doom, que foi pra cima, flechou e ainda pegou o agro da torre, segurou 2 hits pro
Ok,
Zinz poder
Red.
completar na gasosa, conseguir mais uma eliminação, um jogo bem ativo por parte da equipe da Red Academy e a gente vendo o motivo do qual eles estão ganhando tanto.
This is crazy to me that Red Academy is giving me a better game than Corinthians right now.
Um jogo bem agressivo por parte do Doom também, né? A gente tem que destacar esse Maokai jogando dessa maneira mais frenética, né? Que é esse Maokai que aparece mais nas rotas laterais.
Trajan feeling pretty good about the balding bet with 4-4 now, eh?
Encaixa bem os seus ganks pra auxiliar. E uma coisa que é interessante é que quando foi aquela agressividade na parte de baixo, ficou
Since you're on
abaixo
the kaboom side of the
agora
bet.
fica abaixo na mão do Rumble, então os recursos estão sendo muito bem distribuídos exatamente pra quem precisa ser habilitado mais cedo nesse jogo.
É, né, vai o jogo dos sonhos nesse iniciozinho pro time
Yeah.
da Red, eles já vão
Lane swap's already
fazer
coming through.
aquele swap que vocês tinham
I don't know, I guess I don't really like how early these swaps are coming through.
Grande pontuação do nosso chat.
Like at 5 minutes.
Árvore jumpscare.
Pois é, deu susto mesmo, até eu assustei aqui, eu tava esperando um flash tão rápido assim, achei que ele ia jogar um pouco mais no
Até
sapatinho.
você assustou?
I guess it gets Rebello and Usant out of a rough lane.
Pois é.
Complicado.
O negócio é que eles tinham visão. E
Oh,
agora
that
a
CC
parte
chain
de
is pretty
cima, a bot
disgusting.
lane da Red
Only
vai
half health, though.
tentando se engraçar pra cima do próprio Chiari. E fica esse detalhe, né? Eles tinham visão, tinha uma sentinela, mas
Yeah.
foi tão rápido. A árvore se chegou flechando pra cima.
I like this from Drake Hero.
Então,
This is a good response, right? Because that's why I don't like the lane swap being that early. You lose control over the dragon. Dragon spawns first, and then if the dual lane actually helps their jungler, they can then rotate over to the Herald or Grubs, pardon me, and actually still contest for that. Like I don't know if you can get it necessarily. That depends on your composition, but you can at least contest for it.
Só que nas outras vai rolando isso daí, ó. Doom mais uma vez abusando na movimentação pra não deixar o time da Reds em situação tranquila.
E a gente vê que eles querem pedir justamente de
É.
garantir a XP aqui, mas a iniciação continua rolando, só que o Doom não tem flash pra essa jogada nesse momento, então...
I mean, the crash down didn't
tentaram
actually
pedir,
catch him, so...
buscaram novamente uma iniciação, o Lynx interceptou...
They're denying
mas
CS
esse
still,
caminho
which is
já
not bad.
conseguiram,
That's good.
Estava fazendo esse dragão na parte de baixo, então um jogo bem agressivo, novamente aproveitando dessas movimentações e sabendo que eles tinham
Wow.
essa vantagem numérica, então nesse momento...
I'm surprised Graftar actually managed to win out that trade so heavily. I guess they used their ult, so...
Enquanto a gente tá vendo um Zinz com 42 agora, então uma diferença que tá começando
Oh,
a ser construída
Chiari's
pela
looking.
equipe da Red.
Que isso, gente? Olha o abuso.
Okay.
São
Yeah,
dois
Chiari,
jogadores fazendo meio
good play
cross,
from them to be able to zone him out. He missed like
deixando
1.5
o
waves,
ainda tenta ajudar seu companheiro,
maybe even
mas
2,
é
because that was
uma
like a pretty big
situação
wave they
de
crashed in.
tristeza por parte do time da Reds. A Red vai abusando do mapa que tem, aqui no meio também o Grevitar vai fazendo aquele bullying pra cima do Lynx.
Yeah, Rats is just getting bodied in the lane right now.
Apesar de ser o iniciozinho do jogo, já mostra muito como eles vêm pra essa partida.
Exatamente, e a gente viu que a troca foi feita porque o Doom executou as 3 vaciladas.
Like 62 to 57
Já estão um pouco mais
isn't as good as it
tá
looks
conseguindo
when
ser um
Graftar is
pouco
sacking his
atrasado
lane
nesse
to
jogo,
rotate
acabou
and
de
help
pegar, pode
cut
ser
off the
um
wave,
pouco
cut
na
off rotations
selva,
and stuff.
Mas a iniciação vai ter que partir justamente do Gravitar, só que ele não tem ultimate.
O Crashmel já vem fazendo aproximação, tentando tirar a galera de dentro
Pegou o
do
nível
campo
dois.
deles, garantiu o nível
Graftar has
dois,
no ult,
também
so...
vermelho. Drake Hero vem se aproximando
Oh.
e já utilizou a ult. Pega o primeiro jogador.
Okay,
consegue
easy
fugir,
pick.
mas é às custas
Nice
da
and easy.
vida do seu suporte. Mas o Doom
With the TP
também
coming
leva
in.
avanço retorcido, não deixa o
Oh,
cara-
beautiful equalizer.
Olha o Zinx também fazendo a
Burn,
diferença
baby,
no
burn!
flash. Garante outro abate, o quarto.
Or no, is it too early to call it? Is it too early to call it?
Aterrorizando os
I called a game yesterday. I mean, they still won, but it took forever.
Garantir essa primeira proeza.
I don't think it's too early to call it. I think Reds have this game in this bag.
Continuando
Rats are...
garantiu o nível nível 6,
Yikes.
o timing perfeito, executaram,
To be fair to Drake Hero, I don't think his Shinjao did anything wrong. This is the lanes filling the jungler in this situation. Like, Drake Hero couldn't really gank any of the lanes. Ezreal Karma were pushed out way too far. Maybe he could have looked at mid lane. That's like the only thing, but the way his lanes are falling apart. Yeah, and then now Drake Hero is just getting invaded and punished. Or, punished not the right term. It's not like it's his fault. Ooh, nice dodge from B. Too early, it's Red. But it's Red Academy, Lunar. This is Red with Greftar. I say it like Greftar's never thrown a game before.
Ótima ultimate também do Zench pra travar. Vai cair o teleporte dos Zints aqui, que apesar do time da Reds ter duas sentinelas mais pra frente...
The problem is actually less with Red about... That's for sure. Exactly right. But, okay, so that's the thing though. Is Rats a team that can punish? I don't know. I don't have that confidence in them. Yeah. Like, they could. They have Drake Hero. They have Crosshail, but... Yeah, look at this, right? Like, this is... Ooh. Oh, they missed the Deadly Flourish. Yo, come on, man. We missed the Deadly Flourish. Oh, nice barrier. Okay. Link is a Spirit Rush. Nice charm. It is not enough. And 3v4, we are losing. Okay. Meanwhile, Greftar is actually farming. Holy crap, Greftar didn't leave lane. Let's go. To be fair to Greftar on a carry, I actually think when he plays on a carry, he looks better. A lot of the time, it's that he gets put on things like Talia and crap, where he's like just reinforcing his team. Whereas like in CD, he's been given carries like Victor and Yone a lot, so... I mean, he also still plays Talia, but... Yeah. I don't know. I've always been a Greftar apologist. Like, I think the kid's good. Not saying he's the best mid laner. I've never said he's the best mid laner, but I don't think... Like, every split, they call for Greftar's hit. They call for a replacement. And every split I say, I don't think it's Greftar's fault. I was also a Jinkito apologist, though, for what that's worth. Also doesn't help my case, but... I'm actually a little bit sad, because having watched the Pain games this split, I do feel like Dinkido could have done... Dinkido would look every bit as good as Romer has looked this split. I know it's not a fair comparison because Romer's new and is trying to fit in, but yeah. But I also understand that for international reasons, if Pain wants to do on the international stage, they probably had to replace Dinkido. I think he was capped, unfortunately. Yeah. Even though I called it out for Red Academy and said that, okay, they've already won, they should win this, Rats' composition technically has ways back into this game. It's just a little bit tough and relies on Red Academy not playing perfectly and playing a little sloppy. Damn it, Lunar. This is Lunar's fault.
Avassalador da Red, eu gostaria de dizer, né? Porque
Yeah.
é um início
Well,
que eles não
that gives me
liberaram
time
nada,
to try and
né?
figure out
Liberaram nada, a não ser aquele dragãozinho que o Drake Hero conseguiu fazer.
if I can
Mas de
play
resto,
around,
mapa
find
inteiro
better.
do time da Red, cara. É brincadeira.
Pois é, eles estão...
There's about 1.1 extra credit now.
O trabalho de macro que eles estão fazendo tá sendo muito bom, né? Porque, por exemplo...
Rancy's up against Fuxi W7M. Just saying, he could rack up points, but then his loss, nah.
Para que
They
o
don't stick
time
with
da
Titan.
Red esteja dominando tanto
Titan
o
Trust.
território da Reds a ponto deles puxarem uma teamfight. O Doom garantiu
Yeah, Romer's really the only one who I might move up, but I only have enough points to move up to Tinones, which would use up my entire budget, but he's up against Furia, which is like a really bad bet.
É muito cedo para estar acontecendo.
I can't even move up from Wiser. Carioca is the most expensive jungler, period, north or south.
Ficar na frente o time da Red é mais a questão da postura que eles estão. Eles têm uma segurança tremenda de que eles podem
If I
ir
dropped,
aonde eles
if
querem.
I
Se o time da Red
downgraded from
conseguir
Titan,
frear
well,
um
Bronze and
pouquinho,
IU. Okay, I can't afford IU.
essa tranquilidade que a Red
Bronze,
tem de puxar o que ela quiser no mapa é questão
Too
de
risky
tempo
for my blood.
do jogo desandar, cara.
Eu acho que você puxou um ponto
I open up
muito interessante,
1.6, can I upgrade?
sobre essa questão da
How much do I
estabilidade.
need to upgrade to
Porque
this?
a
I
gente vê
need
como o planejamento da
2
Red
points
estava
to
jogando em
upgrade.
torno de alguma
Okay, see.
coisa, deu errado,
I got
o jogo
1.1, so I need
começou a
0.9
descarrilhar,
decrease in
E a gente viu que eles não conseguiram segurar
Yeah, I'm
essa
not touching
ponta. A gente
touch.
vê que, por exemplo,
Unfortunately,
no
Lava
momento
versus Fierce
teve
is
o second
scary.
dive que não houve nenhum
For
abate
too rich for my
que
blood.
acarretou na briga na selva, a gente viu o quanto que a Ari perdeu porque o Crash Mel tava
Well,
atrasado. em
Carioca
relação
down
ao
to
mapa.
Tatu.
Então, até
Ooh, that's
entender
0.9.
onde os jogadores
But no.
devem estar, a gente
Any
vai
other
ver
weekend, maybe I
eles
have taken
atrasando,
Tatu.
E a Red tá tirando proveito disso, avançando
But this week
conteúdo,
against Loud is too
realmente forçando
scary.
o dive, e mesmo que não
That's
consiga
why I
as
wanted off Shinny in the
eliminações,
first place,
eles
was because
ainda
it's too
assim
scary.
estão conseguindo tirar recursos e a gente já tá vendo essa vantagem crescer em tão pouco tempo de jogo. Então,
Batten
acho que
down.
também vem de uma leitura da equipe da
Win
Red
6 is not
de entender,
enough.
poxa, não deu
And
certo
then the
o que
next
foi no
round,
começo, mas não pode deixar todo
Evo is
o
way
flow do
too
jogo
far
mudar
down.
por conta de um errinho que pode custar muita coisa, é um erro pequeno que é grande, mas não pode deixar todo você perder esse momento da série.
Exato,
É
né?
um erro
Porque o
pequeno
início...
que é grande.
Ficou meio
We did sales
ficou
play
meio
last week.
redundante,
Eu
mas...
Okay,
pô,
so he
nem a
scored
palavra,
against
redundante,
Disguise.
eu falei, redundante. Pô.
Against
Ah,
Stake, he
esqueci
did
até a
kind of
palavra.
average.
Contraditório, serve?
É, isso aí.
É, contraditório.
Fica um
contraditório.
pouco
Maybe I
contraditório,
don't want
mas
sales.
assim, é um
What else I
erro que
got
custa
for-
muito, mas
Well, I can't even
é
afford
muito
freaking
pequeno,
prods.
é muito sutil.
É um
Not that I've taken him,
detalhe
he's up against
que
Spain.
pode
É um
acarretar em
senhor
coisas mais
detalhe, é um
no
senhor
Geeks
detalhe.
is not a
Esse
safe
borboleta, a batida de asa aqui pode virar
bet
um furacão no
whatsoever.
futuro, e esse furacão, até o momento, é vermelho, foguetinha.
É.
É, eu nunca assisti, mas assim, deu pra entender. É o furacão vermelho aqui.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah, this is going to be my team, I guess.
Ela veio de red hoje, ela
Pain
veio
plus
de
sales.
Ei,
Não
olha,
that's
o
it.
cara estragando
Não
todo o clima.
precisa, não precisa.
The difference in price between sales. Sales is like half the price of Curry right now. Holy crap.
Uma coisa que eu tava até prestando atenção, você tinha falado, prof, agora, sobre essa questão do
Yeah.
crescimento da área, né? Que
I think Carioca racks up more points
on
on average than Curry,
O Lynx tá tendo
so
que fazer muitas movimentações
he's a better
pra
buy.
apagar alguns incêndios por esse mapa. E aí, quando a gente olha pra composição
And
do time da Reds, que
Fu and
traz o
Romar are
CZ,
again like neck and neck for
principalmente o
price,
CZ, que eu
but
acho que é o principal
after Fu
foco de
disappointed me,
dinâmica
I
do time
can't trust him
deles.
anymore. I'm just gonna
Que é
go
um
with
campeão que vai demorar, que precisa
Romer.
escalar, que precisa que o tempo
I know
passe. A
Romer's
própria
not like
Karma
the
também, que vai crescendo um pouco
biggest
mais
carry
conforme o tempo vai
necessarily, but
passando. E
actually,
a gente olha pra essa composição, a gente fica um pouco tipo...
I don't know why they took him
Tá,
off Corky.
então
Maybe
até
because
o
they're
Laser
like,
chegar
just
no
trying things out.
no seu
So
Power Spike, né, que ele com seus 2 itens.
I did
aonde
like his
vai ter
Zerath in
a
6 games.
aplicação
His
de
artillery
dano
games are not bad.
se o plano tivesse dado certo.
The only problem is the points are not worth it when he
Deus
plays.
sabe
Pergunta
agora.
His Zerath game
Ela
is good, I
é-
guess, but that was
ela
switched
é-
to
não,
some.
Ela fez uma charada.
But that was
de-
the full game, right, right,
Furacão
Ela fez...
vermelho.
Zerath
ela
into,
fez uma
Zero.
charada.
Gira, foguinho.
Mas eu acho que o grande ponto aqui é que justamente a área atrasada vai ter esse scaling que vai demorar, então compromete um pouco, porque nessas lutas a área conseguiria...
I just have I want to go
segurar
Corky or
muito dano,
Yone
mas
or
eu
this
acho que é
week.
justamente tentando
I think
jogar
Yone is
mais
the stronger
esse
pick, but I
2-2
think
ali
Fu's
de
gonna
forma
but
milagrosa. Eu acho
it's
que
full
o
fearless,
grande
and I think they'll
ponto
probably
é eles
Fu will
conseguirem
probably
executar uma
prioritize it.
fight que eles consigam crescer a partir disso. Eu acho que quebrar o
Maybe I
tempo
go on
da
Corky
Red é o
instead.
mais importante, mas eu acho que acima de tudo, o setup de visão deles e a maneira que eles vão priorizar os próximos objetivos acaba sendo
How do I
muito importante.
change?
Então vai depender muito dessa questão
I guess
de como
you-
eles vão
there we
escolher
go.
as próximas lutas, mas
You hit
principalmente como
remove
eles
and
vão
then you pick
controlar essa
something
visão
else.
defensivamente
Should I
para
go
tentar
Corky
pegar alguém
here?
fora de posição, quebrar um pouco o ritmo do mapa e não aceitar essas lutas que a Red vai propor e que a gente sabe que nesse momento aqui
I think we're gonna see
a Red vai
Zerath
ser a
bans
melhor
against
sempre.
Romer.
Não, em ambos os aspectos, né, a gente pode falar que
The problem is I think
melhor
Fu
amigo
prioritizes
do-
the
do
Yone
Reds
and not
até
Pain.
agora é o relógio. Porque
So maybe I go
pelo menos
Corky.
é uma grande
Yeah,
vantagem,
go
mas
Corky.
ainda tá no início do jogo, ainda dá pra voltar. E além
Perfect.
disso, eles precisam que esse tempo passe pra
And we're back on the road.
habilitar esses campeões e talvez voltar no game.
What you laughing at, Lunar? My broke self who doesn't have enough to afford my entire Pain roster, damn it. If I didn't troll, if I don't keep messing around with like my one random pick every week, I probably would have enough for the Pain roster. But yeah, I also missed out my first week pretty badly. My first week I took the wrong strategy and I tried to pick based on just games, but yeah, I picked the wrong. I didn't realize like the wins weren't worth that much, so all my mistakes have come back to roost right now.
A gente tem que, claro, passagem de tempo para Reds é o essencial porque eles precisam que seus campeões cheguem aí nas suas itemizações principais. Mas eu quero ver como eles vão fazer esse trabalho, porque daqui pra frente, barrar o
Oh,
Greg,
Grevtar's
barrar
picked
o
up actually
Circuito
quite a few plates. They funneled mid to him. While all the action was happening down bot, he just sat mid, constantly pushing. He's using his TP to get to lanes rather than to actually fight. Oh, nice dodge. Rod of Ages completed for Linkas already. Okay. I mean, Grevtar's fine. He doesn't have the kill threat with Blade of the Queen just yet, but Bam Scepter in lane already gives him a ton of sustain, so...
E a gente tá vendo que por hora o pessoal da Red vai fazendo esses avanços, tem pressão na rota do meio, continuam avançando em termos de visão e eles podem buscar essa luta.
Oh,
Ah, eles não só podem
beautiful
jogar
from
a
Yuzin.
entrada do Zente,
That's
mas
really sexy.
tem também a passagem da ultimate do Doom.
Now imagine his team was actually there with him.
Ainda tá no meio da galera, mas ele tinha o flash
Grevtar was
pra
very late on the
se
rotate.
posicionar. É outro outra briga que a Red nem
If he was willing to come in sooner with the Fate Shield, I think that's a whole bunch of kills.
Porque eles sabem que eles têm a vantagem
Oh,
na partida.
Zinz. See?
Uma solada dos índios pra cima
This is why I'm so impressed with Zinz and Rebello. This game, especially, I feel like is exemplifying what I'm talking about. You know, it's not just the Greftar show when he came down.
Ele papa tudo.
It's their freaking Academy players really stepping up. They weren't like this last year, by the way. Like, Red Academy last year was really mid.
Primeira torre da partida também.
Like, they were aggressively mid.
Já fecharam aqui, garantiram as
Where'd they end up
proezas.
finishing?
A gente vê que nesse momento aqui a Red continua acelerando. Uma luta que parecia favorável na parte de cima. Eu acho que o Chiari tava
Lunar, you
tentando
won
na
in
parte
week
de
one.
cima,
Yeah, you
tava-
did.
tava
That
elevando
lead you have in week one has been haunting all of us
o fato de
since
Chiari
then.
tá
We're in week,
complicado. E
we're
fato
entering week 4, and your lead in week 1,
ouro entre os jogadores
man,
novos,
is like
ele
insurmountable.
2.100
Okay, Red finished 9th out of 14 teams last year in Split 2. They were aggressively mid. And they only changed his Pekko to Greftar. So, again, Greftar is a huge step up. Like, I'm not questioning that part of it, but I'm also just saying that they...
veio como quarta escolha da
Yeah.
Reds. Ele foi uma escolha bem tardia, sendo que o Rumble foi a primeira da Red.
Yeah, the other players
Eu
have
acho
stepped up
até
huge.
curioso essa escolha de Nar ser a escolha prioritária em cima desse
Insurmountable,
Rumble, né?
yeah, yeah.
Tudo bem que aguenta
We'll see
avançar
next
a corrida,
split,
mas
Lunar,
você-
whether or not you can do
eu
it
acho que
again.
você ainda tinha outras escolhas com
I do believe he'll still do well
oportunidades.
next split, but I don't think your gap will is big now that most of us have actually figured out what the hell we're doing.
Meu amigo, passou de raspão ali no Bini, mas vai estar tranquilo, vai ter que só dar uma passada no hospital porque machucou.
É, só pra finalizar, eu acho que ainda existiam opções um pouco melhores aí pra essa resposta do Rumble no caso do Nar, né? O Nar aqui ele fica numa situação muito complexa porque ele não vai conseguir avançar rotas e já não é da característica do campeão fazer grandes avanços de rotas laterais. E ele não tem muito setup pra ser uma proteção também pro seu time, né? Então é uma escolha curiosa que acabou
He'll
sendo a
always do the
escolha
first
do Chiari, mas que fica aí essa estrela pra gente prestar atenção.
Ah,
O que por hora também em termos de visão,
yes, just like INTZ will always be the sleeping giants, eh?
a Red consegue continuar imprimindo
Look where they ended up. Ooh, Blade of the Ring completed. Okay. Literally, I didn't even look at the items. I just watched how Greftar traded onto Ari, and I'm like, oh, yep, the Onis will have Blade of the Ruin King. Most freaking busted champion in the game.
Pode ser mais uma eliminação pra cima do Chiari que não tem flash.
Eita, Chiari já vai sendo largado no meio da
Hate it.
galera.
Oh,
Vem
Chiari's
ele ainda
cooked.
tenta fugir. A equalizadora não chega, ele
Run,
trava
Chiari, don't look
e
back,
fica
don't look
de
back.
oferenda. Foi
You
ali
get tagged by
aquele
anything,
grande
you're dead.
amigo salvou o Chiari mais ao custo da própria vida.
Pois é, o Doom chegou novamente muito
6-0.
bem aqui pra conseguir fechar esse gank e a Red continua avançando esse mapa.
Did Rats even get a single turret yet?
De novo, a Reds
don't think so.
colocando muitos recursos na parte de baixo do mapa, deixando esse Oni livre pra
I mean, it's no longer a perfect game.
esquerda.
Perfect games are
Acho que eu já
impossible
tinha
nowadays
falado
with
que é
plates, but
a configuração que ele gosta de jogo. Então o Grefter tá indo
damn, this game is clean.
espaço nesse mapa, crescendo cada vez mais, já abriu 1.200
What I kind of appreciate too is that I feel like Red is doing more than Los is. Los just sat back and kept waiting for objectives. Which, hey, it works because you're good, but it's not optimal. That's just basic. Optimal is actually pressuring and getting ganks and using the right lanes, pressuring the right way. INTZ is still more relevant than English soccer. Not anymore, Lunar. Not anymore. INTZ is dead. English football is not. Yet.
Pois é, e parece
Also,
que
Trajan's
também
gone, so
uma
unfortunately.
magia interna já, porque a gente
For
tá
you,
vendo
you're not hitting the right target
pra onde
audience.
correr, já são 5 mil de ouro de vantagem aqui, então nesse ponto você ter isso tudo de vantagem acaba sendo muito difícil você tirar e perder a mão nesse tudo aqui, ainda mais que a Red tá jogando bem controlada, tentando jogar através desses turnos que eles podem forçar essas agressividades, então eles estão respeitando muito bem também o tempo que a Red pode ser agressiva no mapa, que pode buscar a jogada, e o Greve vai lá, consegue sair tranquilo, porque tem essa...
As long as there is an Englishman alive, English football is not dead.
Claro que vai, eles estão sempre de fundação. Olha o Rabelo tentando fazer o inglês. Logo na distância, tem o
Oh.
também, o equalizador.
Oh, Beanie is caught between a rock and a hard place right now.
Ele ainda
Wait, does the
consegue,
ignite work?
vai queimando,
Is it enough? It's enough! It's not enough! Let's go! I love watching people survive with like slivers of health. It is glorious. Ooh, nice snapback from Greftar. Oh. Oh, the knockback went the wrong direction. Okay. I mean, really good from Rats. They didn't lose anybody. They didn't die. But it's just, Ritter is turning the screws right now. And this is what I want to see from Los Grandes. You've got the advantage, press it. Look for these advantages. Now, this gets a little bit risky because they don't have the Maokai ultimate. They don't have Equalizer. They don't have Curtain Call. So I think Red just need to play this a little bit more carefully. This is the other side of making those plays earlier. is that they don't have the
eles
outstep available
gastam
for the objective.
muitos objetivos, eles
I think it's fine though. I think they're strong enough to
gastam
brute force this anyhow.
Em segundo tempo, pode
And they have
acabar
Fate
surgindo
Shield, which is
alguma coisa
critical.
muito boa pro time da Red.
Eles tentam pegar esse arauto, mas tem também a aproximação do time da Red. O teleporte também
Yeah, they're
vai
playing
chegar.
this slow. They're waiting for Zinz to get here.
Já colando por
Zinz is...
aqui.
Oh, Zinz is TPing. Never mind. They go now. They go now.
Jogado pra trás,
Olha o
tem
Zinz.
que flechar pra sobreviver e o Zinz vem chegando na backline sozinho.
Watch for Greftar.
Ele já é focado por todos os jogadores do time adversário, vai finalmente ser abatido.
Okay, never mind. They can't get it.
Vai nas mãos
I thought
do
Greftar was going to try and
Zinz,
Fate Shield them
o
across the top like that.
fica nas mãos do time da
It didn't
Red.
work.
Quem
That's
pode
fine.
tentar brigar, hein? Olha o avanço.
There we go. That's what I thought I was going to try and do up top. Up top. Let's go.
Chama o Samu, que o sangramento da Red
That's sexy.
continua.
Oh, Rebello's running them down. Oh, yeah.
São duas eliminações na mão do Rabelo, que
Oh,
continua com
for
o
shot.
assassino pra pegar mais um abate. Enquanto isso, Gravitar na perseguição.
Oh,
ali,
he can't even get that off.
E o Rabelo
There we go. There's the fourth shot.
finaliza por aqui. É o ace em menos
Damn.
de 20 minutos pro time da Red.
Red Academy
Não
are
vai ter jogo
clean.
perfeito.
Well, they lost.
Olha o que vai fazendo a Red Canids.
Rats are finally on the board. They put first kill onto Zinz with that Mondo flank from Zinz. If he had Equalizer, I actually think he doesn't die there. But, yeah. It doesn't matter. The lead is just too big. 7k. I thought they were just going to wait for Zinz to walk it in. He was like walking. But they actually called for the TP. That's crazy. And then when Greftar comes down here, I thought he was just going to out across that way. But
Eu acho que também teve um pouco
like
de
right here,
pressão
he had the
aí do
angle,
time da Red, né, desse
but he held it.
recorte do Zinz. Ele acaba caindo muito
Zinz
cedo,
dies for the greater
espaço pro
cause.
time da Red se virar. Mas aqui, quando o
Salute.
Doom vai pra pegar o arauto, ele empurra o Crashmel pra trás e isso dá espaço pro Zent fazer uma boa entrada.
Yeah,
Então,
really
apesar
incredibly
deles
well played from
terem
Red.
Uma rápida
Holy.
descoordenada ali antes, eles conseguiram se comunicar bem pra todo mundo estar na mesma página.
Yeah, this is how you play with a hands lead.
Se já estava
Like when you're the better
do
team,
time
this is
da
how you need to
Reds,
play. This is
mais
clean.
abate na mão do Grefter. Quando você é perseguido
None of that
por
low
time
scrap where you're just sitting
aí,
waiting for objectives for
honestamente, eu
days.
estaria chateada.
And the fights
Eita,
continue.
que beleza, e a gente já voltou da maneira
I don't know
que
how
foi
or why
embora,
this broke out.
com a Red Canids pegando a abate
I'm
da
guessing Red were
defesa
just
do
invading their enemy jungle,
Guerreiro.
taking away their red buff.
Essa ultimate é covardia, não deixa ele ir a lugar nenhum. E são mais 2 abates pro time da Red.
It should be Atacon,
A
no?
gente vê que o Doom vai continuar acelerando esse mapa.
Oh,
aqui
we're
também.
pushing instead,
Já
okay.
utiliza o Arauto do Vale pra continuar
Okay,
abrindo
I don't
um
hate
pouco mais
this.
esse mapa. A equipe da Red tem essa pressão na
Oh,
rota.
they didn't finish taking that.
Pode se movimentar aqui pra cima.
There we go.
Vão
Thank you,
utilizar
Zinz.
a cabeçada aqui, um pouco de
Hey.
não levar essa torre,
Meu Deus.
mas também podem tentar garantir justamente o atacante, desculpa, perdi,
Uf.
pensei em atacante, eu não falei
Apocalypse. Oh yeah, they
mas
6
estão
scrubs.
indo
Forgot
pra
about
esse
that.
atacante agora nesse momento, o
Atacante,
atacante
o camisa 9.
Crazy.
mas não vão fazer esse retorno na base.
Yeah.
Acho que eles entenderam que é um pouco ganancioso da parte deles.
Yeah, I think Rich is
continuar.
going. Actually, no, Giants come in a minute. They'll probably go Dragon.
E o de ouro.
O jogo
Into
tá tão frenético que
Atacon,
eu tinha prestado atenção
into,
no fato de que a Red tinha ficado com
Ideally, I
seis
think a
lives.
1-4
E aí, a hora
split
que eu vi
push.
a cabeçada do Arauto surgindo
I
aqui,
think that's the
eu
ideal
tomei um
rotation for them
susto.
right now.
Falei assim, galera, que isso, mas é assim, é um jogo muito
And the
complicado.
setup to that is
Agora
their
com o
base
de ouro,
now.
né,
They come
a
set
Red
up.
tem
Greftar
arma,
continues
você
pushing the bot
pode ver
lane.
também a diferença
With
de
Vision,
ouro
I
pra
really like
pra
that he's
quando
not
tá
being
roda,
disrespectful
tá
and just
susto.
pushing without
A
vision
Red
while his
vai
team's
ter que
resetting.
tirar
He's
um
waiting for the
contra
resets to come
pistola
through
e
and then the wards to
conseguir
drop and then he'll
roubar
push.
pra conseguir
And then that will allow their team to pick up Dragon, rotate into
Vai ter que sair
Atacon,
o bom
rotate
de
into
gol
mid.
da rataria
and
aqui,
top.
porque a gente vê que nesse momento essa teamfight pra equipe da Reds aqui é muito uma execução muito difícil.
That's
porque
by the
depende
book League of
do Diário
Legends.
acertar tudo, o Lynx conseguir acertar um orb de ilusão no meio, conseguir executar esses abates, e nesse momento a equipe da Red também tá muito tanque. Então acho que é muito difícil, é uma condição muito estreita. Pra mim aqui a Red só perde a luta se estiver desmaiado.
Se tiver o quê?
Como é que é?
Desmaiado. Tem que estar literalmente desmaiado. Não tem como perder de outra forma.
Uma outra coisa também que
Oh.
é bem interessante que a Red tá fazendo é que eles estão conseguindo isolar o Crashmel em todas as
Okay, Rats is reading it.
Se acabar
That's why they're
na próxima,
gathering around
é mais
Atacon.
uma fonte de dano
They are
menos.
thinking that
E a
Red will
cura também
do
que não
the
chega
Dragon,
naquela
like we
hora.
call.
Opa, olha o Zent já encaixa
But Red
no
actually
escudo.
read them.
Tem também o follow-up do Rabelo.
With no vision,
Olha
too.
a quantidade de dano que ele já vem encaixando pra cima do Derek Hero. Ele aproveita,
Oh,
consegue
yeah.
fugir, mobilidade do Shinzal. Já tomou o terceiro tiro, o quarto tiro vem chegando também. E eita! Machuca demais.
Nice, good patient play.
O Zent tá por ali, enquanto lá na parte de trás o
And
Zent
we're
vai
hunting.
procurando. Crashmel
Wow.
quase consegue fugir agora, o que
Is that
é?
just so
Essa
unbound
volta
from
pra
Greftar?
já são 2 abates pro time da Red que continua com
That looked like a
tranquilidade.
Zed
Eu
ult.
acho que de agora,
A
o
death mark the way it
caminho
hit.
do atacante não passa, professor.
Pois
Okay.
não passa nesse momento, não tem o Barão ainda, só vai nascer daqui 1 minuto e 40. Então nesse momento
Even nicer from Red.
Tá disponível nesse mapa. Também tem o dragão na parte inferior.
They
que eles
read
podem
the
descer
Rats
depois desse
play.
objetivo.
They read that
Justamente
Rats
para
would understand
divertir
what they
um
ought to
pouco
do,
aí, estarem
and
mais
this played on the other
próximos
side
dessa
even
alma do
better.
oceano. Então, a equipe da Red tá
And
com um
because
jogo bem
Drake Hero was on
garantido,
that side, he got
então,
punished. They can't even go for drag.
comendo
I mean, they
tantos
could,
segundos
but they
assim.
didn't.
São coisas
So.
muito sutis mas ainda assim nada que comprometa
A little
a
bit
vantagem
unfortunate.
que eles têm nesse momento, e é um jogo difícil pra Reds conseguir encontrar essa chance de virar.
Okay, Rats gets one objective, one kill, and one turret.
E a gente tá vendo como a equipe
They
da
just
Red
really don't want to
tá
go out
olhando em
with
volta
0-0-0.
justamente pra evitar essas jogadas que possibilitem a equipe da Reds respirar.
E essa luta traz
Yeah.
exatamente o ponto que eu tinha
I
comentado.
feel like,
né?
what,
O
10 minutes
primeiro
ago, I was saying that
ele
there are still
não
ways
é
for
um
Rats to try and
papel,
play this out. I just
tirando
don't
esse
think
recurso de
they
cura
as
que a Reds
players
poderia
can,
ter
but I
pra
think that the
auxiliar o seu
champion, the
time.
comp can.
E o time
At this point in the game, I don't think they can come back in. Like, without Rid throwing a little bit or a lot.
Encaixar suas ultimates, então não tem muito o que fazer. A gente tá vendo que aqui a Red só tá andando pra frente, André.
E o Bini tava ali dando bobeira, ele ainda tinha o apoio do seu companheiro,
Yeah.
mas nem com o Lynx ele consegue se virar. Ele é abatido logo na sequência, tem
Yeah, that's what I mean,
pra
right?
cima do Rabelo,
Like,
mas
that's
não
actually a good
tem
play. That was the right play from
jeito,
Rats.
outro
They baited and then
outra
used Ari to
vez,
try and get the kill.
gente. Double kill
But
nas
it just
mãos
doesn't
do
matter.
Ziggs,
They're too far behind
continua.
gold-wise.
Dessa vez é o dupla acima do Drake
Ooh.
e não consegue arranjar nada.
Yeah.
São 3 abates pro top laner do time da Red e a perseguição continua. O próximo a ser focado pode ser o Chiari, mas eles não estão nem aí pra esse cara.
Yeah.
Eles querem levar mais uma torre.
E o Nar não pode fazer nada pra responder essa jogada. Os Inks continuam, o Zente também nesse momento. E o Gravitar vai empurrando na rota inferior. Um jogo extremamente acelerado por parte da Red.
I feel like this goes back to like game 1 where Los just stomped Corinthians game 1, but then they didn't close out that fast, and that's why it kind of got boring. Whereas watching Red rotate right now is really nice.
Ele é o grande
Tudo
papel.
bem, exato.
They're not wasting time, they're setting up properly.
Atenção pra isso, né? Pro fato
E é o
de
jogador
que
da equipe, né?
de que
Ele é o team player.
Exato, ele é o cara que tem que estar
Oh,
fazendo rota
this
lateral.
is
Ele é o cara
huge.
que tem que estar fazendo esse split push.
Like,
Hoje
even
ele tá
even
muito
just
forte no
killing
começo do jogo, então ele tem que
Rebello
tá
there. By
fazendo
the time they
isso.
killed
E
Rebello,
quando tem
Rebello
time
not
forte,
only took out the
ele
Ezreal, but he also massively chunked Ari too.
Não tem como
Like, Link is
tirar
just-
isso de-
Yeah,
desconsiderar
couldn't even get out.
isso.
Like, not even looking for a second kill,
Como
just
eu
looking to
falei,
get out alive,
lá
and just
no
doesn't work.
primeiro minuto de jogo, quando teve aquela jogada em cima do Ezreal.
I think MVP for me this game is probably Zin's, Rebello, or Yuzin, one of those
Mas
three.
é uma Red aqui que realmente tá surpreendendo essa
Like,
partida.
Doom and Greftar did a lot of really nice things too, but this game hasn't been about them. Greftar's
É um
insurance,
prêmio de consolação, mas
and
isso aqui
they don't
abre
need insurance this
brecha
game.
pro pessoal da Red buscar esse engage. O Doom tem ultimate e tem flash também.
Não sei se eles vão ter muito tempo pra comemorar. O ultimate
Oh,
já tá pegando o Costream,
it actually
o
caught
Zed já tá por
Krusty now.
ali, já conecta esse
Oh, rest in
engage,
peace, my sweet
muito
prince.
dano pra cima do Krusty.
Oh,
Ele
he
consegue fazer a
Does he
fuga,
get
o
out?
ultimate, teleporte também pra fugir, o segundo tiro não pega.
Oh, the snipe.
O Rabelo tá de sniper.
Rebello bending
Leva
it.
a eliminação pra cima do Krusty.
Wait, Chiari got out with a teleport on the other side.
A bala é rápida demais, meu filho.
Pois é, eles continuam acelerando essa partida. O Drake
Cute.
sabe que a Red quer buscar esse barão, mas a possibilidade da Red virar nesse momento é muito grande. O objetivo já foi iniciado aqui. Os Specs querem deixar no suspense aqui, mas a gente tá vendo como o Zente e os Inks
They reveal
estão
Yuzin
na
and Zin's just
maciota
sitting in a
pra
bush waiting
não
for people to
deixar
show
a
up.
Reds conseguir
Magnet Storm is available, Equalizer's available. This could be really bad. Equalize now, equalize, yeah! That's perfect. That's drop dead gorgeous. That's so sexy. Oh my goodness.
Abate pro Greve e o Barão já é deles também.
Não tinha visão, né? Não tinha nenhum.
You know, I would never have thought coming to this split that the team would bring that brings me the most joy to watch so far was going to be Red Academy. You know, I was guessing Flamengo, Los Grandes, Kaboom,
É o que separa a Red da vitória. Eles
maybe Cade, though the name's on Cade.
velocidade como essa torre cai.
Já era.
But Red Academy,
Só falta o Nexus, eles ainda podem tentar pegar o
yeah, we would not have expected this would be this good. This isn't even the Aegis Greftar iteration either. This is like the Doom iteration. Doom Greftar. Very nice, very, very nice. Okay, yeah. And once again, like we said, you know, Yone plus AoE jungler plus either Rumble or Gwen. Like, this start is like a 4.5 or 5 out of 5. Like, it's just such a good start to the draft.
Pois é, e farmando
Now, obviously,
bem,
Fearless means that these champs are off the table. We will not see this again, which I think is going to be very good for Rats. But at the same time, there's still so many OPs open. Gwen's still open, Nefiri's still open. Doom, let's not forget, Doom made his debut in LTA South on Nefiri and looked absolutely stunning on it. Was it his debut or second game? His first week, he had an amazing Nefiri game. Like, absolutely stunning, dropped it gorgeous Nefiri game. So that's still on the table. Rebello's got Ashe as well, who can do similar things as the Jhin. Oh yeah, Zin's... Okay, I think Zin's get MVP just off the damage and his KDA for this game.
É isso, né? São dois, os
But I
dois
think
jogadores
Yuzint and
jogaram
Rebello
bem,
did a lot
que
too.
que esse
Like
destaque
a lot.
número 1 que jogou. Outra partida muito boa, a gente falou
Yeah.
de estatísticas,
Yeah.
de números. Olha
I think there are enough champions still available that Red Academy could replicate their success fairly straightforwardly.
Se ele abrir uma barbearia, eu vou lá, porque ele tá fazendo muito bem barba, cabelo, bigode no mapa
yeah.
inteiro.
Tudo,
Fazia
né?
tudo. Farmava, levava
That's
torre,
definitely
ajudava na
interesting.
teamfight.
Okay, yeah, they don't show
Tá
MVP,
jogando bola, ia
so
cruzar e subir pra cabecear,
this is a good
tudo
time
mais
for me to
bacana.
just take a quick bio
Impressionante
break.
o que vai
I'm
fazendo
grabbing more water.
no
It's
nosso nível que ele
been
tá.
Pois
3
é, e a
games,
gente viu
so
como ele tá conseguindo
I'll be
realmente cumprir
right
todo o
back.
papel da barbearia aqui, faz a limpeza também depois de fazer o
Ah, com
o
certeza, dá
corte.
aquela varrida ali, né?
Exatamente, e a gente vê como vai prosseguindo o jogo aqui, mas eu acho que foi uma partidaça, principalmente parte do Zent, porque a gente viu que muitas iniciações que ele combava muito bem com os Zents, conseguia, era muito bem encaixado e muito bem sincronizado, porque a Red tinha discernimento e sabia quais eram os momentos que eles precisavam forçar. Então eu acho que um grande ponto dessa partida em específico é justamente a coordenação por parte da equipe da Red, mas principalmente a consciência de como eles poderiam executar essa composição e como eles poderiam rodar esse mapa.
E eu acho que esse detalhe que a gente chamou tanta atenção do Greve tá tão presente nas teamfights e também nas rotas laterais e também conseguindo se manter bem em farm, vem muito exatamente dessa coordenação. Eles sabiam e confiavam muito bem na execução, eles sabiam qual plano eles tinham que executar, passo a passo do plano que essa composição trazia, e como eles conseguiram fazer isso muito bem desde o começo do jogo, ficou muito fácil depois para eles deixarem o Ione fazer o split push que ele gosta tanto, enquanto o resto do time trabalhava em outras partes do mapa, né? Então, muito bem coordenado por parte da Red, que eles fizeram um ótimo trabalho, mas a gente também tem que olhar para o outro lado dessa história e tentar entender como que a Reds vai voltar para o segundo jogo, porque a sensação que dá é que depois daquele abate em cima do Israel que aconteceu lá na parte de baixo do mapa, eles se perderam. É como se aquele engage que a Red fez simplesmente lacrou ali que o plano de jogo deles tinha acabado, sabe?
Lacrou, mano.
É, lacrou, e lacrou com tudo mesmo, porque a gente
E
viu...
foi lacre, né?
E foi lacre, e
Foi
foi
lacre.
lacre, e foi lacre, porque a gente viu como eles realmente entenderam qual era a condição de vitória da equipe da Reds nesse começo, mas eu acho que se você tá na pele do pessoal da Reds, você não, obviamente vai ser um ratinho, né? Mas
Como é que é
ainda
o
assim...
ratinho
vai?
Faz assim, ratinho, faz assim, mas...
Kiki?
Não faz assim? É que nem capivarinha. Pode ser também, né? O do LoL, nosso Twitch faz isso, mas... Na pele do pessoal da Reds, eu acho que o grande ponto é você não deixar se abalar por esse primeiro jogo. Eu acho que é um jogo pra esquecer e realmente tentar jogar esses próximos jogos aí numa boa. É o melhor que dá pra fazer.
Ela é fácil, professor. Os caras acabaram de tomar
A Reds escolheu o lado...
azul.
Ê!
Aê! Ninguém esperava.
Escolheu... Então, a Reds faz a escolha do lado azul. Pra esse próximo jogo, a gente vai pro rápido intervalo. Daqui a pouco a gente tá de volta com o jogo 2.
Okay, I'm back. Just trying to grab some tea. Looks like I came back just in time for the actual break. Unfortunately. Okay. Looking at game 2. So I just remembered I can do this. Red Stellage. Rats and red. So yeah, champions have played so far. I don't know, for rats, I don't feel like it's a comp issue necessarily. Like I don't think this comp was terrible. I missed the content? What content? Okay, I missed nothing. Got it. I can just kind of scroll backwards through like that. Yeah, but What was I saying? Oh yes, for Rats, it's not a draft issue with them at all. Like with them, 100%, it's just yeah. Like we saw the Karma and Ezreal actually win out the lane initially, so that wasn't the problem. Kiari got bodied by Sins, which was not something I expected to see, by the way. Like Kiari's always been such a strong laner. So yeah, for Rats, their draft, yeah, it's less of an issue. I think if anything, we'll see Linka's default back to something like a Talia. He already played the Ari. Yeah, so probably like Talia to be safe. Yeah, the Ashe might become a prio actually between Rebello and Beanie. I'm more interested in what Red is gonna run compositionally. The fact that Zinz is one of the Ornn players, I think, is actually a huge deal. Because I think Ornn actually sets up a lot of other potential plays to come through. Doom being an Ivern player as well, I think is really good because you can potentially run double AD carry. So Corki wasn't played. I would like to see Red try and pick up the Corki and then flex it between Greptar and Rebello. You can run double AD carry composition with Ornn and Ivern. And that would be an incredibly strong composition for Red to try and play through. It wouldn't be like when you run a comp like that, you wouldn't be able to play as fast as Red were able to this game. Because yeah, Jhin being a lethality champion plus the fact that he can play from so far away, heavy burst plus the rumble allows them to go diving. Whereas if you go like Ornn Ivern, you can't go diving. But yeah, I mean you can go Gwen. Like, there's if you want to go diving, you can go like Jace or Renekton too. That's fine. And Bessa technically, I'm not an Bessa fan. I think she was really strong when it came out, but then I think they've balanced her enough now that I don't think she's S tier. Like A tier. She has her spots. I just think like Jace is stronger. I think Nara, Rumble, Gwen are all champions that pick over Ambessa right now. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many things open. And that's why like for best of threes, I feel like full Fearless doesn't hit right. It's not significant enough. What I don't want to see is them trying to play Pyke for Yuzen. I know it's like one of his pocket champions, but I don't think it's that amazing. And I think just a standard composition when Red is playing so well would be much more conducive to their win. Like, trying to play Pyke into this team... Maybe. It would have been a good punish into the Karma. But the problem for Rats was that they didn't know for sure it was Ezreal Karma. Like, I just took it for granted it was because it's such a strong combo. But Linkus has played Karma before too, so... They couldn't just assume. Yeah. Azir's still on the table as well for Linkus. That's a champion he did well with last year on Cage Stars Academy. So... wouldn't hate to see him pick that up right now. Yeah, Rats just needs to like kind of fix their laning, I feel like. They just got ran over this game. I'd actually be very interested to see Asmel kind of pick a another enchanter support, like go with Senna or something. I don't remember what they paired with Senna. Was it a Senna Ashe game? Oh no, it was with Soweto, right? It was the Ornn Senna game. When Soweto flexed AD carry because Warrior got kicked. And South always delivers.
Já tem Piquivan na tela pra gente acompanhar como é que essa história vai ser contada. E assim, galera, tá aí já, ó, tá aí, ó. Piquivan na tela, Rex já escolheu o Azir.
There we go, the Azir, like we called for.
Então traz, vai MF e começa a mostrar essa
Yeah, he went on red side ban from red. Okay, that's fine. Wait, hold up. What did they ban game one? Oh, so completely different bans from Red Academy. They just kind of took the very, like, yeah, so these are just red side bans. It's interesting to me that Drake Hero banned the Sejuani because they could play it, but they obviously didn't want to. So Akali's on the table. And yeah, that's the only one. I hate this. 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 I hate this.
no leque
I
de
hate this.
campeões,
I hate
e Nico sendo escolhido pra rota inferior
the Vi
justamente
prio
por
right now.
essa pressão toda vindo com a MS
See, you pick
aqui.
Vi, and then we just pick Xayah Rakan, or we
Em
just pick
relação a
Xayah, really.
demais
It's not even the
desafios,
Rakan. We just pick
mas
Xayah,
ainda
and
assim,
you're a
é uma
useless
dupla
champion.
que eu gosto, é uma dupla
Congratulations.
que eu acho interessante, comba muito bem, a
You do
Nico
nothing
é muito
here.
poderosa,
You
então
have no
tô bem
power
curioso
here.
pra ver como vai ser essa dinâmica dentro da partida aqui.
Okay,
Ver
we're
quem
banning out
como
mid
que essa
laners for
energia
Graftar. I think
vai
Victor makes a lot of sense. I think Talia's already banned, so that's good. Yone was already played.
Do outro lado, eu acho que talvez a galera da Red tentou pensar
What else does Graftar play mid?
mais segura, né? Porque a gente viu que o primeiro jogo foi
Corki,
começando a desandar
yeah.
exatamente na falta de segurança.
É curioso
da
isso
bot
que você
lane.
tá falando, André, porque a gente vê
Corki,
que eles fazem
Silas,
esse first pick
Aurora.
Azir, sendo que eles tinham retirado a Thalia e também já não estava mais disponível.
I don't know, but
por conta
I was actually thinking you banned the
a
Silas here.
Ari e o Yone.
Like,
Então a gente já tinha três
Azir can play into
escolhas
Aurora
de
fine.
linhas que são
I
as
don't
mais
think that's the bigger
populares, que
issue.
estavam retiradas.
You win
E
the
a
lane
gente
as
garante
Azir
que
against
esse
Silas,
Azir
but
já é
Silas is a little bit riskier than most of the other matchups because he can gap close.
De tentar trazer um
Oh,
pick que é
do
muito
it, Graftar.
forte do Lynx
Do
e
it.
também retirar um pick que é muito forte da mão do Graftar. Quando
Oh, that
vem
works
pra
too.
segunda
Same idea as
rotação, eles
Xerath.
tiram
Okay.
mais duas possíveis opções de mid lane, além do Jace, que também pode acabar
I still kinda don't
fazendo,
like
né,
this.
que é o Victor, que também é um pick muito característico do
Like,
Graftar,
Vi
e
Ziggs is
a
actually a good
Aurora.
combo, but
Mas, dito tudo
it
isso,
doesn't really help out the MF whatsoever. MF right now is still feeling kind of awkward. You've got Nico, but I don't know if I trust using to pull off like what Curry and Prods do with Nico. It's really hard what they do. They make it look easy, but it's not. Good Sion pick up here. Really good pick.
E também consegue jogar muito bem pós quando depois que ele pega o capítulo perdido, então consegue limpar muito efetivamente essa onda de minions. Honestamente, a Red vem com algo
I think I want to see a
diferente, mas eu
Camille
gosto da
from
proposta.
Zinz.
Eu gosto da proposta, eu acho que é
with
uma
this
proposta
matchup.
boa, e acho
It's
que
also really good
fala
for shutting down
tinha
a lot of these
bastante
champions.
opções também, né? Tinha
It's a good
Dove,
dive
que tá
buddy for
fortalecida nesse meta,
Vi,
tem
and
o
she can
Wake,
create a
que
lockdown.
eles até
2 separate
mostraram
lockdowns
ali
to help make it
aparecendo.
rain.
Então
Oh,
eu
not make it
ainda
rain bullet
acho
time,
que
sorry.
não precisava desse Azir, porque você ainda tinha muitas escolhas disponíveis.
Ooh,
né?
Pantheon
E
Jungle.
a gente vê que eles
I don't
trazem-
like the
eles fazem
Pantheon
essas
pick here,
últimas escolhas de sair
but
da
as a
jungle,
bridge to late,
porque
it's not bad.
como eles focaram muito nessa
I
mid
just-
lane, eles tiraram a Sejuani,
I don't feel like you can really kick advantage of the ganks that well.
Eles tiraram nos dois últimos
Cho'Gath.
o Skarner e o Ivern, não tinha mais Maokai, não tinha
I think
também
Jinx played it
mais
last year.
disponível- Qual foi
So
o
it's not
jogador?
completely out of left field, but it's also just.
Xinzao, exatamente. Então, eles trazem
It's
esse
a pick.
Sion e esse Pantheon, provavelmente é o Pantheon.
I think Rebello has been left out to dry again with the Shaw. Rebello using just have to do their own thing, I guess. Nico Misfortune. Oh. That reminds me, let me screenshot this in case we go to game 3.
Vem ele. O Shogar aparece por aqui e é curioso que ele já tenha aparecido em ligas
I do think we
globais
could go
desde o
to a game
começo
3 off of this.
do
I'm
ano,
not a huge fan of
praticamente.
Red's
Nessa
draft this
season que a
game.
gente tá agora nessa segunda temporada
Actually
de
quite
20
dislike it,
campeonatos
but
competitivos, ele também tem aparecido bastante, principalmente na
I like this a
modalidade
lot. This is a
de
really strong
reforço
front-to-back
desse
composition, a lot of
Sion.
safety, a lot of peel, super beefy front line. If you had like,
Mas aqui é o Circuito
I don't know.
desafiante, é lugar de ser louco.
something tankier in the jungle, I mean, I understand Skarner and Sedge were banned,
E
so
Yorick.
and Malgar's already used. There's not a lot of options. I get that.
Não, 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 não.
I'll give this a 4 out of 5. I think this comp is really good.
Ninguém quer aprender com a Joyce.
Really solid.
Vamos com calma, vamos. Tá dando muita
Rid's
água
comp,
pra
on the other hand, I think is very split up and disparate. I'm not sure how Cho'Gath does into Sion, actually. Like, I always think of just health as a counter to Cho'Gath, because Feast is based on health, is based on your health threshold. So just straight health is kind of the counter to true damage like that. So, in that way, I think Sion does well. But I know that Cho, his Vorpal Spikes does quite a bit of or does some percent health damage that shreds. Your silence interrupts Sion's ability to do decimating smash. Okay, I feel like it's probably like 60-40 for Cho, like, or not even 55-45 for Cho. But it doesn't stop the scaling from Sion. Vi can just dive past the front line, but then Xayah just messes her up, so it has to be on Azir. There's a combo to be had here. Combo to be had here. You don't have a tank buster to really get through Sion.
Um joguinho um pouquinho mais longo na minha visão, mas a gente viu
Oh,
também como
man.
o pessoal da Red foi muito bom na primeira partida em
Ah, não.
quebrar esses planejamentos
Eu
por
ia
parte da
falar
equipe da Reds,
disso.
então eu acho que pode ter essas
2.5.
variâncias aí durante a partida.
Eu acho que uma das coisas que eu mais,
Yeah.
que a gente mais
I think I give it a 3. I just really don't
muito
quite see how they're going to match the front to back of
é a forma como
Rats.
eles estavam muito bem azeitados e sabendo aonde ir.
Like, I've got to see
Talvez
Yuzen
uma
get some
posição
creative
que
flanks,
precisa
I
de um pouco mais
guess.
de tempo,
And
ou
to me,
então
that's
vai ter que
really
pensar em um
conditional.
pouquinho mais,
Like, you're a Nico, technically, you can do it, I
refinar
guess.
de novo, né? A gente gente já falou.
But when you're putting all your eggs into a very squishy basket, I don't have a lot of That said, I do think if Red Academy play the way they did in Game 1 and Rats play the way they did in Game 1, Red will win anyways, because they could draft almost anything and still win the way they played in Game 1. They were just smashing.
A grande diferença
Incredibly
é que
hard.
apesar do Ziggs ser um campeão muito bom pra derreter torres, derreter objetivos muito rápido, ele não pode ficar sozinho na rota como o Ione fica, né? Ele tem que tomar um pouquinho desse cuidado. A gente até viu na LT Azul esse final de semana, teve Ziggs aparecendo pra mão do Homer na PEN, e todos os momentos que ele ficava sozinho,
Yeah, I think Rats have drafted themselves a good composition, a comp that they can win with, and if they can't win, that's 100% on them. But then again, that's been the case, so yeah. I am personally very interested to watch this top lane matchup. I'm not familiar with it.
Como fazer esse trabalho, porque ele é um pouco diferente do Ione por conta dessas fragilidades que o Ziggs tem.
I feel a bit bad for Drake Hero because I do think the Pantheon can usually mess up Vi quite a bit, but you don't have the lanes to help you do it this time, so like maybe mid you could try and look for something early, but Azir's not the best backup either. He doesn't have a ton of base damages.
Vem com um campeão muito tanque, e não é que o Sion não pode criar, e que o Sion... o Sion também apareceu nesse final de semana de LT Azul. Eu cheguei a comentar com a Lagos como ele é um campeão que engana um pouco, porque você acha que o Sion ele só é um grande tanque, mas ele consegue aplicar um dano também muito forte. Você tem que tomar um pouco de cuidado com isso, porque você pode acabar cedendo um abate pra ele, achando que ele só vai tancar. Então, me interessa muito ver qual vai ser a dinâmica do Chiari com esse campeão, porque ele vai ter que ser uma grande frontline aqui e basicamente vai ser o cara responsável por abrir espaços para o seu time conseguir bater, né? Levando em consideração que Zaya, o Azir, o próprio Pantheon consegue bater um pouquinho mais de longe, então ele vai ser o cara mais responsável por criar esse espaço.
That's weird. Usually by now we're kind of in game. I don't know if there's some sort of delay happening. Maybe they paused up front rather than in game. That pause we had last game was a bit longer, I think, than the pauses we've been having. He said we've still been having pauses, but a lot of them have been just pretty fast, pretty straightforward. So a little bit surprised to see these longer delays coming through.
Um pouco mais diferente, mas eu vejo que nesse cenário de draft aqui era muito complicado ele acabar pegando um pouco mais de front para bater um pouco mais em cima assim dos Ints, e a gente via também que os Ints tinham esse potencial de last pick, então ele poderia pegar esse counter, então a escolha de Sion também poderia ser uma escolha um pouco mais segura para comprar esse tempo todo.
E agora a gente já tá vendo os dois times perfilados aí à sua frente e chegou.
I don't remember if Greftar has played Ziggs recently. Like I don't remember Greftar ever playing Ziggs actually.
Mas agora trocam seus lados, a Reds vem do lado azul.
It doesn't feel like a very him champion.
Obrigado, Fearless Draft, mas a Reds precisa voltar pro jogo urgentemente se quiser se manter
Over his career.
Exatamente.
That's crazy to think that his career started in 2020 in Academy, and then in 2022 he was. He's played it once. 2024 split 2 playoffs against Fuchs. I don't even remember this. No, it looks like this is his counter to Azir. I do not remember this at all. Holy. I mean, I do think it's a great counter. Like, it's like Xerath. Except maybe better.
Até agora, e aí eu fui pesquisar. Ele tem um jogo de Ziggs na carreira dele, mas ele venceu.
É 100% de aproveitamento, 100% de aproveitamento. Jogou uma vez, ganhou uma, é isso aí. Então tá valendo, tá valendo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some technical difficulties at this point.
Esse aí a gente deixa abaixo.
Ah, entendi. Mas falaram pra mim que ele ia ser o campeão favorito.
Like they were slow to load that sort of loading screen, and then they were slow to move off the loading screen, which yeah, sus.
Inclusive,
Very sus.
Eu perdia bastante, viu? Eu perdia bastante. Não chegou a nem a ser 25%. E de muitos jogos. De muitos jogos.
Isso mesmo?
Afundava muito, afundava demais. Tá lá no chão.
Yeah, but we're here now.
Talvez a gente encontre ela por aí.
That's the important part. Is we are here now.
Mas meu Brown era muito bom.
Isso
não dá pra negar, meu Brown era bom. Juro
dá pra
Deus.
negar?
O Colossus levou embora, né?
É dele, né? Eu roubaria, né? Mas...
Não, dava pra gente ter
na frente
feito...
das câmeras não dá, né? Na frente das
Exato,
câmeras não dá, né? No off
a gente bate papo com a galera aí. Próxima vez que ele trouxer ele, dá mole pra ver.
A gente bota cabelo nele, ele esquece da estátua, a gente leva embora. Acho que é uma boa maneira.
Só pra eu concluir a informação, é interessante porque... É interessante porque o Greve trouxe esse campeão exatamente contra um Azir. Foi
right from the get-go.
que ele fez esse jogo.
Very defensive. Did we see? Yeah, that was an aggressive war placed down by Red.
Contra o Azir e conseguiu a vitória, né? Exatamente a mesma
And there's
coisa
the
que
usual
É
kind
um
of
pouco
raptor
recente
word that
ainda,
came
né, se a
through
gente
from
for
rats
botar na
there.
ponta do lápis aqui, uma escolha
So both
recente
jungles will be
também.
tracked.
Ele já desenvolveu esse caráter, ainda vem praticando bastante.
Which
com esse
frankly makes a
campeão,
lot of
então,
sense.
tô bem curioso pra ver como é que vai ser a dinâmica, principalmente nessa rota aqui na rota do meio. Acho que em termos de skin aqui, eu acho que ele não escolheu a melhor não, viu?
Eu gostei da humildade do chat, né? Porque
And
tá
we're right
melhor
into a
do chat
pause.
disso.
Holy crap.
Então, já tamo indo bem, André.
Come on, man.
Demais, pô. Se você for olhar a minha estatística de Ziggs, por exemplo, você vai ficar de cabelo em pé. Não é o meu caso,
Mas
porque eu
é
não tenho
melhor
cabelo.
do que a do Náutico.
But the problem is, today we were moving
Acho
too
que não,
smoothly.
mano. Acho que não.
É um pouco difícil.
The games
ser
were too
melhor que o
quick.
Nautilus, eu acho que o grande ponto é
vou te
esse.
falar, eu sou um cara dedicado. Nesse aspecto aí, eu sou um cara dedicado, me dedico bastante, eu consigo ser um pouquinho pior. De qualquer forma, agora meu Nautilus é zica. Meu Nautilus
No
é sinistro.
5-4 was no game.
É que na,
Lá no Prata ele
No,
tinha
we.
um.
I'm
é que
sure
você
we've had
fica até
days
Nautilus
without
no Brasil,
pauses.
ele era uma coisa
I'm
assim,
sure
ou o
we
cara
have.
pegava e não morria quase nada,
I just can't
ou
think of
era
any
zero
right
kill.
now, but I'm
Mas
sure we
pegava
have.
na história com todo mundo.
Zero barra
Mas
tudo.
o Nautilus,
pegar.
ele tem essa
Ah.
gameplay, porque se você não encaixar a sua âncora, você vai pra frente. E se você não encaixou a âncora quando você olha pro lado, tem 5 caras em cima de você, ele não é um campeão mais tanque. Ele já teve uma época que você virava muito dano e ele não caía. Hoje em dia ele não é mais. Então, assim, jogou a âncora, foi?
This one.
Ó, amigo. Ou você encaixa ou tu não encaixa.
Foi, acabou
Vou passar
fundo.
um paninho pra você, tá bom? Nesse
Eu
caso.
tô merecendo. Levanta o pezinho que a titia tá passando.
Yeah,
Tem que
I
levantar o
think
pezinho,
the
levantar o pezinho. O do
Nossa,
Zero dá pra
patch
ver,
notes
né?
dropped
Do Zero dá pra
for
ver,
the
tá
upcoming
vendo?
patch, so maybe we'll take a look at that while we're waiting.
Então,
See if I can find it.
então é complicado, né? Complicado.
É, tá difícil de levantar aqui. É porque eu vi que o tênis aqui tá meio. Não tá combinando
Bom,
com
eu
cada
fiz,
roupa.
eu fiz a fiscalização aqui, o
É.
André levantou. Ele realmente levantou.
Tu sabe aquele negócio que tem de um cara do jornal que ele vai trabalhar de sunga? Ninguém vai saber que eu posso estar aqui de chinelo.
There we go. Yeah.
Não, agora tu
É?
vai ter que... Mostra o pé aí, vai. Não, vai, se vira aí pra tu mostrar esse pé.
Tá de LED, ó.
Pode?
Não,
Aqui, ó.
eu vou achar que você tá
Passa
de
em cima do
chinelo.
Darius,
Tá
ó.
de
Aí, ó,
tênis.
tô de
Pelo
tênis,
menos esse pé
rapaziada.
tá de tênis.
Mas quando eu vier de chinelo, ninguém vai saber.
Não,
Não.
quando tu vier de chinelo, a gente
Oh,
vai
this is
mostrar.
roundabout crap.
Acho que,
tá de
acho, que,
sacanagem.
acho que vai ser pior
É.
se você vier.
Eu vou
É
dar
que
uma olhada
você
na
tá
câmera.
Veja-
canta
Vejas.
de chinelo e sem camisa em
É
qualquer lugar.
verdade, é verdade. Não, sem camisa não dá. Sem camisa
O
acho que eu
quê?
vou
Foi o que
deixar
eu mais
isso
vi
devendo.
quando eu fui lá.
Não.
foi
Aqui
mais
eu vou
lá.
deixar
Okay,
ele
never
lá.
mind. So nature.
Lá. Aqui eu não venho sem
Lá é
camisa, não.
habitat
Eu
natural.
acho que se eu aparecer aqui sem camisa, eu apareço só uma vez. Depois eu não volto mais.
É, né? Só
You get
uma carta
damaged
de
straight
demissão,
off.
né?
É complicado.
E você?
Não
Cheio de
tem essa
boleto pra
coragem.
pagar.
Shen had changes, never even noticed. Nobody even plays Shen. Shen's not a trail champion.
Quem dirá aqui?
Não, tá maluco.
É verdade.
Tenho
Vamos
vergonha do
falar
meu
do
shape.
jogo.
Friozinho
Alright,
legal,
actually,
tá
we're
friozinho legal, tá
Vamos falar
friozinho.
do
There's-
Ô, tá o
jogo.
jogo.
Speaker.
Aê!
Graças
Okay.
a Deus.
Obrigado,
Game started
gente.
again.
O emprego agradece. E voltamos.
Should just skip to the bottom and see the number
Voltamos
changes.
aqui. De boa. Agora,
But I do like to
calma,
see
calma.
the ideas and thinking behind some of these changes, especially when some are actually just placebos.
O game por aqui a gente já vai observando um pouco a parte de baixo do mapa. Vai ter essa dinâmica entre
Okay.
a bot lane,
Yes.
a gente
Mid lane, I think favors red.
Pra ver o que ia acontecer com o jogo. Agora
Jungle,
não tem
I think it depends.
dos 2 minutos, então já começou a melhorar.
Top lane,
Queria só chamar a atenção aqui o chat.
I think it actually
tá
favors Cho'Gath in
falando,
lane.
coitado desses comentaristas,
And then as the
mas
skilling
essa
goes, it
população
will
de nova
start to
tá
benefit
sério,
Sion over time.
galera. Vocês não levam em
Bot
consideração
lane,
que era um assunto importante a ser discutido.
yeah,
isso.
okay. So it looks like in general, I just think
Não,
most lanes favor Red Academy, and Ratchet is skilling, so they just have to survive lane. Great gank from Drake Hero though. I really like this. And that's why you pick Pantheon, right? Get some early ganks off, get some pressure down. You punish Ziggs, who's less mobile, flash down on Graftar, you can revisit that lane. And if every single lane's winning for red, then you kinda need to break that from the jungle. Like, throw an extra body in there.
Mas ainda assim, o Gravitar vai ter que segurar um pouco mais
It's-
esse feitiço aqui, essa habilidade.
Even with the gank onto Graftar, notice how like Linkus is already down to about the same health. Like that's just how this thing goes. Your only saving grace is that Ziggs mana costs are pretty high early on. And if you don't have like a tier or lost chapter, you can't really sustain that level of poke. Whereas Azir is a bit more sustain heavy. Like his damage is more sustain heavy. His mana costs are lower.
Vai ficar de olho nesse cover que ele pode criar aqui justamente pro Gravitar não ser afetado.
entra um pouco naquilo que a gente estava falando sobre o Ziggs ser um pouco mais frágil, né, do que o Ione. Então o Greve vai ter um pouco mais de pressão por conta do fato de que ele consegue
Okay.
farmar.
I was wondering if we'd see the ping come down on Doom. It's like, did he just not get noticed walking past the ward? Was everybody just distracted when he did that?
Tem que tomar um pouco de cuidado e muito inteligente da Reds de começar forçando em cima dele pra tirar esse flash que é muito impactante.
Eita, ele tinha
Nice.
visão, mas o Doom não tava
And
ligado.
the rotate out from
Vem subindo a
supports.
rapaziada, aproximação também dos suportes. E agora vai ser forçado
Okay.
a flecha.
I mean, Rat so far has blown 2 flashes off of Red Academy, trading for only JQ Rose.
Também é conseguir encaixar essa primeira abate.
Sucks. I think it was Crustel who was having connection issues earlier,
Complicado
so.
você realmente sair dessa jogada, a gente
Yeah.
viu que o Doom realmente nem sequer hesitou ali, gastou o flash, foi pra fora, e a gente viu que o
3
Flashman conseguiu
points.
sair numa boa.
One nerf
Mas agora a
early.
gente já percebe uma Rats mais proativa e que tá respondendo um pouco mais rápido ao que a Reg propõe, né? Então o Doom tava avançado, tinha conseguido espaço dentro da selva ali do time da Reds.
Okay, so Ash Power is going to shoot through the roof, is what I'm reading here.
Pra tentar responder a isso, né?
And I guess that's what one of the benefits from Fields as well, is that it allows balancing to be a little bit easier. If somebody's a little bit OP, it's fine. There's only one game before they get taken out altogether anyways.
Se aproximar mais rápido do seu time.
Leo and
E aí o
Morg.
Lynx quase ficou numa situação um pouco delicada. Mas, pelo menos, a gente tá vendo uma Reds já com um pouco mais de tranquilidade pra responder ao que a Red tá propondo em relação ao primeiro jogo, né? Porque talvez na postura que eles
To be fair, I think most
demonstraram,
Gwens we
uma jogada
see
dessa
are
podia
in
ter
top
dado
lane.
bom pra Red Canids.
A gente
verdade,
viu
né?
que o Doom também tava
Which isn't to say that her jungle is not viable, but I think it shows that people still prefer her in the lane. And therefore, even if jungle is a bit stronger, that isn't really the issue, but...
Até o ping ali.
Exatamente, o Panther já pulou direto, então ele
Yorick
tinha visão
jungle.
pra conseguir utilizar aquela
I
habilidade
do not
point
wanna see
click.
that.
Então a gente viu como o pessoal da Red estava muito mais
Okay,
preparado.
Annie
E a
buffs.
gente viu que a jogada não foi tão bem executada por parte da Red, a gente viu que o Doom teve
A little bit of base
fora, a
damage,
gente viu
decreased
também
cost.
o Zent não conseguindo
Ooh,
acertar o
that's a
Ian
magic
pra poder
penetration.
comprar esse tempo,
That's
comprar
actually
esse
deceptively
companheiro de
strong.
grupo. Então acho que o pessoal da Red aqui um pouco afobado em termos de
Ash,
roubagem,
Q80 ratios.
ainda mais com o Gravitar.
Okay, so her scaling is gonna feel better.
E precisava do Doom tá ali?
Okay, I actually like that change. Pros aren't really using her for the 80 scaling anyways. Though I've always argued that a 6-item Ash is really strong. Cassandre boost is fine. I think Cassante's okay, but it's more... This doesn't change his fundamental weak points, which is that in Pro, yeah, champions outskill him will still outskill him. Champions who outrange him will still outrange him.
Eu acho que, levando em conta a dinâmica
Passive
de
duration
você ter
is
uma vai e um
nice,
campeão,
but
essa é a
not
questão que a gente
significant.
tem ali. São dois campeões que quanto mais você conseguir tirar recursos
Okay,
do
so it's
outro,
less
melhor,
punishing for
né?
you
Então,
to
por
miss
exemplo,
Zenith
se o
Blades.
Pantheon perde
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this changes fundamentally Leona's issues, which is more
Não,
that
exatamente. Se o Pantheon perde,
she's
então,
just not
a vai
tanky
consegue
enough to
retirar
kind of
ele
hang with
dele.
a lot of the
É
others right
algo
now.
impactante porque não são caçadores tanques, eles dependem muito
E
do
shield
seu
buff,
farm
okay.
pra conseguir ter os seus
Alt
grandes ciclos de
damage,
dano,
just
são
the base
campeões que são
damages,
caçadores que jogam
movement
com dano, né?
speed is
Então,
buffed
isso também é
early.
relevante. Pra
Okay, I
eles,
think these are
se
these are good
ia
for solo queue,
mudar,
I
se
guess.
precisavam ou não, ok, pode ter sido um overzinho, mas é uma
Okay.
pressão a mais que ele coloca em cima do Pantheon de tirar
I
essa,
do not know, see, or play
essa
enough Shen
opção
to
de
know
campo dele,
how
né? E sem contar
significant
que a
this
gente tá
is.
vendo também que a Red desde o primeiro jogo tá conseguindo gostando de
Like
dominar
1% doesn't
os
sound like a lot,
espaços, né?
but
Até
I
aquela
don't know like how
movimentação que a
frequently you can
Nico
proc that in
faz,
lane.
ela
If
já
it's pretty
tava
frequent,
subindo
it's
pra
pretty
lá, e
good.
provavelmente também era pra pegar um pouco
Okay,
mais
armor
de
growth
informação,
nerf
quem sabe
is
talvez
good.
colocar um pouco mais de visão. A
Jungle.
Red tá conseguindo dominar
Oh, wow,
muito bem os
okay.
espaços da Reds. A gente elogiou muito o macro deles no primeiro
So
jogo.
even though they targeted as a
Talvez também
jungle,
seja
Gwen, this
uma
actually
questão,
changes
né? Não sabemos.
affects Lane
E
Gwen quite a
acho
bit too.
que entra também
The
num
Q
ponto
damage
que esse
being
Phantom
reduced
quer
is
aproveitar
huge.
desse começo de jogo mais
They
forte,
nerfed it
porque ele nem hesitou
pretty
de
heavily.
ir na rota do meio, forçar o flash do
Because a
Gravitar,
3%,
e acho que também entra num
they
ponto que
shrank
esse
the
nível 6,
scaling,
a qualquer
like,
momento
by-
o Lynx pode chegar
what's that,
e ir
60%?
pra frente, flashar e dar ultimate, então esse Ziggs acaba sendo um alvo bem vulnerável.
And
E
granted,
acho
it's
que é
just
um
off the
grande
scaling,
problema
but it's like
do
how many
time,
times have
de
you
modo geral,
snip,
quando ele
right?
não tá na rota inferior, que é esse.
So
Você
that
ter
does
essa
add up. That's pretty
vulnerabilidade
significant.
toda com o suporte do lado, você tá um pouco mais
We're
tranquilo,
nerfing
você
Callista further.
consegue
I don't
controlar um
think
pouco
Callista is
mais,
that
fazer
strong.
os- É, exatamente.
Like,
você
okay,
tá tranquilo,
rending
você
base
vai
damage,
fazer
or rend
as
base
coisas,
damage
normalmente
reduction,
ela
I think is
vai
fine.
escape.
O Ziggs é um grande
Yeah, we're
inimigo
boosting her
pra
80
matar
growth.
isso que você tá dizendo.
Okay, so they're
Precisa, ele não tem mobilidade
they're
pra
weakening her
alta,
early
mesmo
game,
que seja
basically,
uma
is what they're
lane
trying to do.
relativamente mais curta, ainda assim
Okay,
você
I
tem
don't
esses
feel like
gaps
we
de
needed to tweak
dificuldade
her
que
80
pode ser
numbers,
acessado
but
e pode ser gankado, eu acho que prejudica muito.
to be fair, I don't
E acho
really
que
know how
ainda
impactful
entra
those
na
base numbers
dinâmica
are a
do
lot of
próprio-
times.
do próprio
So
draft da equipe da Red, que essa
yeah,
vai
I do like the
tomar um
rend
nível 6,
rend
ela não
base
quer
damage
tentar
reduction though. I think
buscar
that one
tanta
makes a lot of
agressividade
sense.
no mapa. Ela quer jogar de boa, quer fazer os campos, pegar esse nível 6 e a partir do primeiro item ela começar a acelerar um pouco mais, buscar um pouco mais dessas jogadas.
E entra muito naquela questão que a gente falou de simplicidade também, né? Se fosse ainda um gank um pouquinho mais elaborado, uma loucura, mas o Pantheon, ainda mais nessa altura do jogo, ele chega correndo pra
Yeah,
você igual
and
um
then
doente mental, clica no maluco e vai
Fury.
embora. Então, às vezes, você complica ainda mais a
Cooldown
vida dele,
increase.
você
Okay, I
diminui
like that
aquele
a lot.
gap, a gente sempre tá
W used her
repetindo
invincible
a
spell, if I
facilidade
recall
do
correctly,
draft, a
so.
facilidade do que fazer. Agora, nessa
E1
situação, a gente já viu
damage,
um Punk
reduction,
que
bullet
atirou
velocity.
2
Okay,
draft
yeah, that's fine.
consecutivos
I think the Fury is
do
slightly
adversário.
overtuned,
Então, é
so
um early game
these are
que pode
fair
começar a
reductions.
se desenhar a favor da Reds por causa disso.
E quanto mais
Yorick
rápido
is
o Pantheon conseguir fazer os seus
increasing
campos no
Mist
mapa, mais
Walker
rápido ele
damage?
atinge o seu level 6.
This is not a
Se
buff?
atingir o seu level 6, ele vai estar presente globalmente. Então, essa habilidade
Well, how much damage
da
it takes, maybe?
ultimate dele,
Not
quando
clear about
você-
that.
Eu parto do princípio de que se você
They are
traz
buffing
o
Ignite.
Pantheon nessa
Okay,
competição,
let's go.
você quer muito depender dessa habilidade de ultimate dele, né? E a
Switching
gente
dual
vê pelas
resists.
escolhas que eles fizeram no resto, do
Okay.
resto do mapa, que, por exemplo, o Azir é um campeão que demora a crescer, a
So
Zaya leva
flattening
um
it,
pouquinho mais de
strengthening it
tempo pra
early,
aparecer
weakening
também.
it late.
O Rakan,
Okay.
ele consegue passear pelo mapa
Rod
com
of
um pouco mais
Ages,
de
reduced
facilidade pra
HP,
auxiliar
reduced
nesse
AP.
crescimento do
This is a
Pantheon.
straight nerf of
E o
Rod of
Sion
Ages
é o
then.
Sion, né? O
Okay.
Sion, ele tá ali, não importa quanto tempo passe, ele vai virar tanque.
I
ele vai
really don't think that's the
cada
issue
vez
with
mais
Rod of
forte.
Ages, to be
Então
honest.
eles dependem muito
At
do
all?
que o Hero consiga chegar nesse level 6
But that's okay.
pra ele acelerar um pouco o jogo.
They're just tuning
jogo,
numbers,
as
basically,
rotas, né?
on this
Principalmente
item,
colocar esse Azir mais rápido
rather
no
than
game. Por isso que ele já fez essa primeira escolha.
necessarily
ir
trying
pra
to
cima do
address
Jeff,
the
que é pra
underlying issues. They
desafogar
want it.
pouco a grande
certain
pressão
way.
que o Ziggs conseguiria fazer limpando os minions pra que o Azir consiga aparecer mais, consiga
The
farmar mais
boots of
rápido, consiga
swiftness.
buildar mais rápido.
Okay.
E o
I
Pantheon
do think
tá
that
ali
boots of
pra
Swifties are a
conseguir
bit
fazer o
strong.
ultimate.
And I love the champions who
Assim,
abuse
não
it.
somente
Like,
nas
yeah.
rotas, mas uma outra problemática que a gente viu no primeiro jogo
So
é que a
probably
Red
only
conseguia
champs who
acessar os
really
objetivos
abuse it
muito mais
or can
rápido.
really
E
maximize
eles
its kiting
estavam
ability will start
presentes
building
como
that.
grupo 5 nos objetivos muito mais rápido. Se você dá uma ferramenta na mão do Drake Hero que ele vai conseguir acessar
They reduce the cost of tier
esses
3s.
objetivos com mais facilidade, então pra Reds teoricamente é melhor.
Exatamente.
And nerfing the
Vamos ver
actual
como é que
movement
vai ser
speed.
isso dentro do servidor. Os dois times ali já vão
Okay,
começando a se
feats.
desenhar, já vão
I
começando a mostrar
I actually
as
think feet boots
estratégias
should be left alone. I don't think they're that impactful or that powerful.
Por enquanto,
Like
fazendo
as it is, I'm gonna be honest.
tem como não
So
controlar
when I'm preparing my stats, I often don't track feats stats because it doesn't matter. The best indicator of an early game is still goal difference of 15. And I don't think there've been any games where I look at the feats of strength boots and go like, oh, that really made this game all the different. Like it's such a minor difference.
Tem vacina para
And I don't know how to statistically check if it's relevant because
verdade.
the team that gets the feat of strength is often up ahead in so many other metrics as well that yeah. Like it's hard to figure out what is the feats benefit versus what is just
Veterinários do
them being the
chat,
better team.
tem vacina pra
Leptospirose.
And then the game doesn't matter. I don't think it makes any difference. Symbiotic souls, increased movement speed,
Isso aí,
Seria um
isso
pouco
aí.
melhor, mas acho que não deixa de
and base
ser
boots.
Saída
Okay,
da
that's
zona
fine.
de conforto, professor. Falar um pouco daquele assunto que a gente
I think Symbiotic Souls had some really weird things happen to it that were not expected. So,
gostoso.
Pois é, e a gente tá chegando aqui no
like
jogo
the
que
abuse to
faz
be able to
mais
get back out of
o pessoal da Red
in mid lane
Cara,
especially where you could just
Dragão
base and get
aqui,
back to
essa
lane
formação
without dropping a
Pois é,
wave
e a gente tá
is
vendo
really
agora que
busted.
quem tá garantindo
So,
outra
that's fair.
verdade aqui é o pessoal da Reds que
I,
tá se movimentando
I feel like increasing
bastante
movement speed kind of
também,
goes counter to that,
mas
but
a gente tá
then
vendo o Doom
yeah.
e o Zent já chegando nessa movimentação.
Exatamente, né? Vamos
It wasn't the
observar
base movement that was the issue, it was the
pode ser feito
hitting
pelo
passive.
Drake Hero.
Okay,
Não
Drake's trying to
consegue levar a
steal
primeira
one.
larva e olha por ali. Primeiro não, né? Segundo.
Doom gets that without smite.
Apontar, esqueci que tinham acabado de fazer esse dragão, mas agora são duas vacilavas nas mãos da
Nice.
Red.
So Doom
Eles
actually
vão
gets in, says thank you for the leash, picks up 2 of the grubs.
Aqui já tem 3 jogadores colando aqui.
That really sucks for Drake Hero.
E agora eles vão levar ninguém.
And they actually rotated members up, but Red rotated more people.
Das proezas de força.
Rebello actually moved.
Curioso a velocidade que a Red teve pra levar aquele dragão lá embaixo e já montar um bom setup pra estar nas Vastilivas e conseguir levar.
I think this game is not
duas,
dissimilar
né?
to
Não
the
levou as três, mas saiu com
Corinthians Los game,
a-
game 2,
o maior
where
número aí
Los
de
just had
objetivos.
like
Então,
the
essas
early game
movimentações
composition
de
that was
novo,
had to
né?
get a
O
lead
mapa da
early
Red tá
and
sendo muito bem
but
feito.
didn't.
E a gente vê
Red's
que essas
composition-
movimentações que eles
I mean, the
fazem
scaling is not bad from them,
garantem
but I
um
do feel like their
objetivo
laning is
e
strong, and then the
rapidamente
mid game
se
gets a little
mover
bit
pra
dicey.
outro é
'Cause
um
Rats
pouco
is a really good front to back
preocupante. Ó, o
fighting.
chat te respondeu, tá? Não tem.
Não tem, então. Seguimos bem, sem espalhar nenhuma informação. Mas por hora eu acho que um ponto que é interessante ressaltar é que a gente vê como o pessoal da Reds acabou tendo que trocar, mas a gente viu que o Doom fez um time muito bom, porque acabou dando match com a própria bot lane, chegar a tempo para poder contestar e não fazer essas vaciladas. A gente viu até que o pessoal do Reds ficou um pouco perdido, que Ari buscou uma ultimate um pouco antecipadamente, não conseguiu buscar uma luta, e a gente viu que o Doom ficou de boa, pegou 2 vaciladas ali, tava tranquilão, meteu
Maduro,
marcha.
né? Maduro.
Então foi tranquilo, justamente, não, beleza, não vai garantir as proezas por conta de não conseguir as 6 vacilarvas.
Mas às vezes negar o objetivo é como se fosse uma disputa de objetivo, né?
Exatamente, exatamente. E a gente
Yeah, it looks like Costream was the one with connection issues. That connection drop again.
Tá ótimo. O Gravitar recuperou seu flash, não sofreu nenhum punimento por conta disso.
Hello, Dark Knight.
Buscar uma treta por aqui agora, porque o Drake Hero tá pertinho e a gente pode ver o
I'm gonna be honest. I was not happy with the first series. It was kind of a stomp and a little bit boring. And
Olha o tamanho dessa
the team, well, screw it. Spoilers. Los won, but it felt like they were better players, but their macro wasn't particularly clean. If anything, I actually thought the first game of this series that Red Academy won was much better macro-wise. Very, very clean game from Red. Zinz, Rebello, and Yuzint looked really, really, really good. It wasn't even Greptar. Okay.
Mas tem também a chegada do Drake Hero. Força o flash do Zinz, ele dá aquele salto.
Oh, beautiful knockup from Zinz. Zinz looks really, really, really good.
Ele vai conseguir sair com vida.
Pois é, conseguiu impedir muito bem que o Drake Hero com
I mean, Los played like an English football team. Like they were playing so slow even when they were winning.
Não consegue nenhum abate, mas ainda assim tira o flash desse Cho'Gath. Mas Fogueta.
That was like a one-goal game.
E é o jogar, né? Ele,
Então,
enfim, mas ainda assim ele tentou utilizar. Ele
Man,
fez bons
oh, I think I said this
danos.
yesterday. I was like
Falei, né? Quando
low-key
você
annoyed
fala
with like Twitch chat on
é esse tipo de
Sunday. Was it Monday?
você
Sunday?
quer
Monday?
usar sua
During the Pain
ultimate
game where Romer
com
picked
algo que
Ziggs
ele
and people were like, "Oh,
sabe
Pain
pra
Gaming into the draft. What is this Ziggs with Ivan? So bad, so bad." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? That draft was good. Like Ziggs skills." Ziggs is really good here too, by the way. Was Monday? Okay, yes. Thank you, Larry. Yeah. I just remember getting kind of annoyed seeing that. And I was just like, "What the hell?" I saw it after the game, so that's okay. You see, Darren, I thought that too. Like when I was casting, I was like, "Oh, Romer's just feeding. What's he doing? He's inting." But then he actually did more damage than Titan. Like he doubled Titan's damage in the mid game. It was pretty weird. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. I feel like this is what you need to do when you get the Vi. When you pick Vi MF, you're not looking for the AoE ultimate, you're looking for single target burst. And then making sure that everybody else gets zoned out from the fight too, so they can't help that one person. But I don't like it. It's not efficient, but you have to do it. If you drafted these two together, that's just what you have to do. Yeah, and then Beanie just has to get forced out. You can't be there. Yeah. Yeah, I remember like I was literally just saying, "Oh, Romer's doing nothing. He needs to do more." And then they showed the damage totals in that game on Monday, and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind. He doubled Titan's damage." That's not good for my narrative, but oh well, it is a fact apparently. And Greftar's doing much better than Romer did. So he's already got Blackfire Torch. He's past the weak point of Ziggs. He is now relevant and champion. You prefer the eye test than looking at damage? Yeah, that's true, but specifically to that game, Romer wasn't poking, he was dying. He was just getting popped because he kept walking into freaking bushes and crap. Yeah. No, but Ziggs is a good champion. Especially with the Vi. I think Ziggs Vi is a better combo than Vi Misfortune. I still don't like Vi Misfortune. Yeah, the Romer face check. That was really rough, man. He's better than that. He really is. I don't know why he was struggling so much that game. But yeah, Ivern Ziggs is a valid combo. Basically, any hyper skill plus Ivern is a good combo. Zinz has no flash this time, so this is probably him dead. Yeah. Nice sidestep from Drake Hero to avoid the knockout. It doesn't change anything, but yeah, still good sidestep. Good awareness.
O golpear do Doom parecia um pouco esquisito, mas era justamente pro Doom conseguir acumular os stacks da ultimate vindo de objetivos dele.
No, you prefer the eye test? Romer preferred the face test. Does my face survive the bush? If yes, we are good to move. Okay. Link is doing well on Nazir though. It was, I feel like, one of his better champions last year on K-Stars Academy. And I like that he's kind of avoiding that direct matchup with Greftar right now.
realmente focado em realmente capitalizar esses recursos pra conseguir crescer a partida.
Mas o Greve não tá tentando deixar ele se
Okay, I don't like that slide.
já garante uma certa quantidade de dano pra cima dele, só que a espetada também é muito
That slide was actually kind of bad. Linka's lost half his health going through that minefield. He is so dead.
Vem colando pra não deixar ele avançar. A ultimate é utilizada.
He literally just died to Blackfire Torch Burn.
Pra cima do Lynx, enquanto isso, chegada do TP do Chiari, ele ainda tem essa
Yeah.
velocidade do movimento, mas não
Man, I was
vai
just praising Linkus while he was playing Azir, and then he goes and eats half his health by sliding through a
Pois é, e
minefield.
nesse momento
Okay.
que coloca em xeque a torre da rota inferior.
He
Porque
is
nesse
dead.
momento, o Zinc está garantindo barricadas lá embaixo.
Yes,
Beleza,
both
é um
Roamers
jogate
and
que
Linkus
vai
is
com esses
dead.
recursos, mas a Red continua criando essas jogadas.
O Doom já devolve
Oh.
o combo do milhão pra cima do Crash Mel.
Okay.
Chega só pra
Okay, Doom, I respect what you're doing with the Vi. Maybe CD is making... I feel like this happened last year with Cassante. When Cassante first started popping off, CB LoL Academy figured out how to play Cassante, and CB LoL looks so bad with Cassante. I feel like I look at Vi in CB LoL, right, in LTA South right now, and I'm just like, Vi is such a bad champion. And then I look at Steiner play it and Doom play it, and I'm like, okay, maybe Vi is not that bad a champion. She still is, but at least they're doing stuff with her. Where was the problem? I don't know. The few games I saw Buero, he looked okay. Like, he ain't Ayu, but I didn't think he was a problem necessarily. But a lot of stuff happens, like, behind the scenes, comms and stuff, so who knows.
De qualquer forma, sai esse abate pro Ziggs, coloca o Greve numa posição um pouco mais tranquila.
Nice
E até a luta do dragão é
silence.
interessante porque o Ziggs é cobrado exatamente porque ele tava sem aquele flash, né? Que a gente tanto chamou a
Beanie has
atenção.
looked good on this
Essas
team, though,
chegadas do Drake Hero
to be
precisam
fair.
aparecer um pouco mais pra pelo menos forçar feitiços e aí numa segunda luta ou numa possível luta eles conseguirem eliminar a galera do time da Red.
E aí, a gente tá vendo aqui já muita movimentação pra essa parte de baixo do mapa. A gente
And
vê
this
que
game
o
has been better for
pessoal
Rat
da
so
Red
far. They've been
conseguiu sair
competitive.
muito bem aqui. O Lynx garantindo bastante ouro, o Chiari também crescendo bastante na partida. Mas um ponto a destacar aqui é que o pessoal da Reds quer justamente garantir essa torre da rota inferior.
Top matchup
quer
shit from
continuar acelerando
2009.
esse mapa por hora e justamente ter esse controle da parte
Well,
de
not
baixo,
even, because
também
Sion back then wasn't a top laner.
o pessoal da Red
In 2009, Sion was a mid laner. He was a mage.
Pega na alma.
I mean, you could build Crit Sion as well, but usually if you played Crit Sion, he was actually in the bot lane with Pantheon. Then you go Sion, Pantheon, double stun. Bot lane.
Eles vão zoar a gente do chat de qualquer jeito, então tá tudo bem. Mas a gente te ama vocês.
How was it? Cryptic Gaze? Cryptic Stare? Was his Q back then?
Mas é afastado pelo Pistouro. Olha o do... Eita! Consegue fugir do decreto do Imperador. E exatamente por isso não vai ter eliminação pra nenhum dos dois.
Cho'Gath was a top laner though. I remember Wicked had a... Was it Ninja Cho'Gath guide or something? That's some ridiculous guide. It worked though. I did play Cho'Gath back then in top lane. Because of Wicked. Oh.
Olha o do Mechanics.
Oh! Nice. They didn't get the combo. Oh, didn't get the knock up either. Victor's able to sidestep. Okay. And Zin's got the turret too. Damn. Rid got both the turrets despite Rats getting all the plates. Rats was like double the amount of plates Rid had. I don't know what you saw in Linkus here. You don't like it so far? Yeah. It's... Last year he played it well. Last year it felt like all the Kate Stars mid laners all learned how to play Azir and... what was the other champion that all of them were playing? I can't remember now. Oh shoot, I can't remember. But it felt like Orianna. Orianna and Azir were the champions that every single VKS mid laner learned how to play last year. Because Takui was good on it, Leleka was good on it, Linkus was good on it. But yeah, this game, it's been bad. It's been really bad. Oh, nice flash from Rebello. Rebello looks so good. Like, what the hell? Sometimes tier 2 Brazilian AD carries just pop off and they look really, really good for a split. Rebello right now is looking really, really good. I hope this is not just for a split, you know? Oh. Do it to them, Zins. Do it to them. Feast it. Oh, Drake Hero's up a creek with no paddle right now. Oh. Thank you for the leash. That's the phrase of the day, apparently.
vão garantir mais um objetivo, então vamos
Oh, Zinz doesn't have feast.
desse próximo dragão. A gente tá vendo como a Red tá
Used it.
conseguindo acelerar demais esse jogo. E esse dragão ainda garante que esse Cho'Gath escale ainda mais por conta das
Na
resistências.
parte de
Okay,
cima, o
yeah.
Arthur também fica
Red's starting to get the snowball going again. Let's see how clean they can play this. Game 1, they were so clean. It was a beautiful, it was such a joy to watch.
daquela tentativa do
Like, Los was only playing for objectives, so every time
objectives
objectives were down, they just sat in their lanes and just farmed. But Red Academy was very proactive. Like, they were actively pushing, trying to find picks, getting 4-1 split pushes going. This game, they have to be a bit careful about 4-1 split push. Sion and Pantheon are both very fast at crossing distances. So, like, if Zinz is far ahead enough, they can do it. But if Zinz is not, they have to be careful they don't accidentally feed.
Muito bem os erros de posicionamento. E falando em posicionamento, podem buscar o Chiari, mas o Doom já foi visto por essa sentinela, então o Chiari sabe. Então ele consegue sair tranquilo aqui até então. Acho que forçar nesses tanques aqui também não é a melhor pedida nesse momento. Então a gente vê que o Doom continua crescendo no mapa, continua farmando, mas a gente pode ver que o jogo tá um pouco truncado também por conta dessas torres da rota do meio aqui, que são um pouco mais difíceis de obter, mas o Doom pode utilizar esse arauto para justamente levar
we're using
e
Herald
abrir
here.
esse mapa
Okay.
da Red.
Você pediu, ele obedeceu, já puxou esse arauto, já vai também fazendo ali a caroninha nele. Não
Hey. Oh, I actually thought they'd get it.
Olha
Guess not.
perigo
Okay.
indo pra cima dessa torre.
Bit more health than I expected. That's fine. That mid outer is primed to fall.
Qualquer onda de minions assim que pode ser que chegue, a torre vai cair muito rapidamente. Então, o pessoal da Red
Rats are doing much better this game. They're doing much better this game, pardon me, than last time in game 1. Like, they're actually getting side lane pressure down. Chiari might be on a tank, but he's still getting a lot of push. A lot of push. I mean, you could argue that topside push also came from Linkas, but yeah. So Red can't accelerate the pace of the game. Red are strong when grouped, but not as strong in their split lanes right now. Okay. We are stopping Linkas from basing. Why? Just because. There's no objectives, there's nothing. Okay, sure. It'll be up before the next objective. Atakan doesn't count. Nobody's taking it at 20 minutes this game. Not the comp strong enough.
E que eles já conseguiram empurrar bem, né? Como, por exemplo, essa rota do topo. Isso é muito importante porque o Ziggs não pode avançar muito por conta da ultimate do Drake Hero e a própria ultimate do Sion também, que pode chegar nele muito rápido. Como a gente sabe, ele é um Ziggs, ele é um pouco mais vulnerável.
1.3 at 20 minutes is not that huge. I think both teams still have ways to play this. Like I said, I really like the Rats composition. I think it's really straightforward front to back. They've got go buttons. I'd like to see them use it. That would be nice. So far, their kills are mostly from picks or ganks from the early game.
Pois é só uma bombinha também, nem precisa dar muita cara, é só jogar o W, blau, já era essa torre, então...
I think ideally it's like Costream engages with Chiari using Unstoppable Onslaught to follow up.
Tem esse atacando na parte superior do mapa, não é muito fácil fazer esse objetivo nesse momento, e a Red está aproveitando muito bem o erro de posicionamento da Red.
Yeah, good play from Rats actually. They threaten and slowly push up, and then they use the numbers around just to make that happen. Oh, that's so bad, Lynx. Linkas is trolling. Oh, wow. And Beanie got melted. He had Featherstorm and Flash, by the way. He just didn't have time to press either button. He got melted so damn fast. And I guess you don't need a tank buster if nobody dies and you just sit on tank as 5 members. Rebello? Okay, Rebello's fine. Yep. Okay. Well played from Red. It's more of the same from game 1. It's not as fast, again, because they can't match the side lanes, but... Old man Beanie. Wait, how old is Beanie? Is Beanie old? I thought Beanie was young. Let's see. He was born in 2001. December 2001, so... He's 23. He's not that old. I guess for tier 2 you could argue he's kind of old, but... I mean, how old is Crastiel at this point? Like, Crastiel is 1999, so that's 26 this year? That's like almost loud levels of age. 23 is not boomer. I'm in my 30s and I'm a millennial, so technically... He's a zoomer? No, is he a zoomer at 23?
o dano que vai entrar em cima da Reds é muito
Oh,
grande.
the clone.
O clone ali já garantindo um pouquinho.
And Leak Sanders kind of okay, fine.
Todo mundo do time da Red já tá colando pra essa região importantíssima.
I mean, yeah, I'll call Cross the Owl a boomer, but I don't know. 23 doesn't feel like a boomer to me. Like when it comes to the age yet. Holy crap, bro! What did Linkus do to Red Academy? They're like hard focusing him. He wasn't even the easiest target, and they just went on Lynx anyways. They really want this Azir dead.
E o Doom visou muito bem essa iniciação, conseguem 3 abates.
Okay, Zoomer.
Vão garantir essa alma, e a gente vê que a Reds não vai se contentar por muito pouco.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm done. I'm done with this game. I know it's over. He's soft inting now.
Vão garantir essa alma da
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not disappointed with Rats, I guess. Like, I'm not angry at Rats. I'm not even disappointed at Rats. They're just getting outplayed. Red Academy just looks so damn good. Like, genuinely, they look amazing. Oh, Graftar's dead. No? Oh, there we go. Okay. Rebello is dead. No? Surely we kill Rebello here. If you can't even kill Rebello, we've got problems. There we go. 1-for-1 is not good, though. But you take what you can get, I guess. Yeah. Link has played on Red before? I actually don't know. He used to be on KHS Academy. That's where I remember him. I thought that was his debut, but let me double check. He played for W7M. He was a sub on Rise. He played for Flamengo Academy. He's played for Vorax Academy and Liberty Academy. But no, his first time on Red. Oh, sure. Not first time on Red. On Rats. Oh, bad blood. I don't know, man. But the way they're focusing on Linkus, it's like, what did you do? Steal somebody's girlfriend here? Like.
E acho que realmente vai começar os preparativos para esse próximo Barão, que vai nascer aqui daqui 40 segundos. É o grande objetivo da partida, mas isso aqui é só uma bomba de fogo.
It's just brutal watching this.
Buscar uma próxima iniciação, aproveitar novamente essa iniciação do Doom e a gente vê que
I mean, it is kind of an effective tactic though, because Lynx is probably the one who can most easily pump out damage in these teamfights. So if you take him out right away, Beanie's range is a bit shorter. So the moment he has to pop Featherstorm, that's Beanie pretty much out of the fight. So, yeah. You go for simple, he's probably still shot. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, he's definitely not one of his better Azir games. And Red's just making it look way worse. Okay. I think at this point, Red are far ahead enough that Zinz can actually split push rather effectively. And Greftar can easily handle Linkus. So, yeah, now is when I expect to start seeing Red really turn the screws. 4-1 split push with Ziggs is always really effective because you can always drop a bomb from mid lane. So, 4-1 I think would be the best setup right now. Yeah, and then 4 can always fall back onto Baron. Dins can always TP in to help out. And then Ratch just gets pressured at that point. I don't really like that Greftar's the one in this bot lane right now because he has no TP. So he can't join Baron fight. As long as he shows bot, there's no chance for Baron. Like, I know there's no chance because Doom is there, but Rats don't know that. Okay, Rats, y'all, not Rats, Red. Y'all played a super clean game 1. Let's see more of that here in game 2. Set up properly, please. How much health does Zinz have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5,000 and change health on Zinz. Plus a Mountain Drake, Mountain Soul Shield. That's so disgusting. Zinz is unkillable. I love that Yuzin became another Zinz. How scary is that to see 2 Cho'Gaths walking at you? Oof. Beanie 1/3 of health from 1 bomb. The Andrew's Blackfire is annoying, to say the least. I mean, Carry's tanky, but even he's getting shredded. The 2 tanks. 2 fat tanks. Oh, again, look at that! Okay, that's Beanie, not Linkus. Okay, never mind. Oh, nice. But unfortunately, you only caught Carry, who's already dead. So honestly, best possible fight for Rat so far. Maybe that's why they keep focusing Lynx, because Beanie can get out. The engage onto Beanie not so great there. No feast, no smite. They can't do Baron. They just reset, and that's good for Rats. They trade 1 for 1. Win. He looked at their catering funny. Yeah, maybe. I remember when... Oh, who was it? Was it Prods? When he went to Cade? Pain were like doing some... We're messing with him a little bit in game. Like they were targeting Prods for fun. And then... I think it was Gigo and Aegis and Greftar were like pranking each other in locker room and stuff when Gigo switched off of oh no, when Greftar and Aegis... Wait, who was it? Wait, I forget now. But when some people switch off of Red, there was some like pranks being played. I think it was when Gigo left Red. Aegis and Greftar were pranking him. Okay. Yep, nice easy Baron take. There's nothing Red's gonna do, unfortunately. They reset slow. They're going for Dragon now. This is Elder, so it's do or die. I do think this Elder will just decide the game. I think it says a lot that Red had perfect control over Dragon Pit, that they're getting a 30-minute Elder spawn. And Gigo and Grev. Oh yeah, it was Grev who went to Cade. Yeah, so it was Aegis and Grev who were like pranking each other. Yeah, I forgot that Greftar wasn't Cade. Actually, that was the 3G network. The Mad Mexican. That was a fun roster. It was not a good roster, but it was a very fun roster. Lynx is half a world away. Rebello is a quarter of the world away. Okay. Man, I like junglers like that. Like again, they're not good junglers necessarily, but I really like people like Grell and Randall. I want to see Randall play, man. Okay. The tank's just facing off. Okay. The feast. And you get wiped because Linkus is not there. That's kind of rough. Oh! They can't kill Zinz. They can't even hurt Zinz. Like, Zinz does not care. Rebel's ending game. I like that call. Greftar's joining. They can't do anything to Zinz. It's so disgusting. Wait, why am I Grell hater? I like Grell. I found him really funny. I love the way he plays. Like I said, I want Randall and Grell back, man. Those are fun junglers to watch. Okay, that's it. That's wipe. Man, just the Mountain Soul alone is just enough to ignore everything Link has popped out. Don't die. Okay, really super clean game from Red. It's... Yeah. It's their Academy holdovers too. It's Zinz, it's Yuzint, it's Rebello, it's those three who are really impressing me. More than anything else. Yeah, Crazy Girl Randall was on one of the tier 3 teams. I forget which one, but he did not qualify, unfortunately. Yeah. But he was like Brazilian Grell, you know? But ballistic Brazilian? I don't know. Yeah, he was fun. I liked watching him play. Like, one way or another, he made action happen. Oh, who do you even MVP, man? I think they just did really well as a whole. I don't know. I don't want to give an MVP. I want to see who they give MVP to, because I think everybody was good. So, no need to MVP. Yeah. Okay, yeah, the Cho'Gath matchup went about how I expected. I thought Sion would eventually outscale, but it looks like Cho'Gath scaled faster. To be fair, I think that's also because Zinz was ahead, and Zinz was playing better. I don't know, it's like, yeah, with Rats right now, they're just not quite matching hands. I'm a little bit surprised that Chiari struggled as much as he did, because I thought Chiari was probably their best hands player on this team. Yeah. But, and last split, we saw, like, I mean, Chiari was in CBLOL last split, or last year, pardon me, and I would have said he bodies Zinz, not even close, but Zinz, I don't know what happened this year. Zinz is actually looking really good. Zin's hands have improved tremendously. Okay, I'm just waiting to see who the MVP they voted for was. My heart wants to give it to Zinz, but I think Rebello might get it. And again, I think every single player on Red Academy is deserving of, like, you could justify them getting MVP. I think all of them played really well. Doom and Steiner had some really good buy games today. I've said this before in the past, but sometimes I really do think Tier 1 could take some notes from Tier 2. Like, LTA South could learn how to play Vi from CD. Okay, that's it for this week. It's Wednesday. I know it's only the second day. It feels like a Tuesday, but it's a Wednesday because we had Super Week, so that's kind of done. I would argue no real upsets today because I think Los was already performing better than Corinthians. The biggest surprise was, I think, just how clean Red Academy looked. And if Red Academy keep playing this way, I think they could push their way up further up the standings. I think they could be a top half the standings team. Yeah, next week will be 3 days. They moved the Monday to Wednesday, basically. So, yeah. That's all they did. And we are 1, 2, 3, 3 more weeks before we start hitting playoffs. It feels so long, and yet it feels so short so far. Like, there's so many days. This is already day 14, which is a lot of days. But at the same time, I still feel like there's a lot of teams where I don't really know where they are. And I feel like I haven't seen enough games to get a great feel. But they get to Doom. Okay. Oof. 1 death over 2 games. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm down with that. Again, I'm impressed with his Vi. I mean, if you can play a good Vi, you've impressed me. My standards right now are very low for Vi's. For the jungle. It shouldn't be, but like, yeah, I don't know. It just, the South does not have a good Vi's, I guess. Okay, so that's it for this stream. This weekend, though, LTA South, we are starting group stages. So, best of 3s. We just recorded GL this morning as well. That should come out probably Friday. So, we'll talk about our rundowns there. But, yeah, tune in. And don't forget, this Saturday, games are starting 1 hour earlier than they did in the positioning phase. We are back to split 1 schedule. So, that is, I think, is that 1 p.m. Brazil time, I think? 1 or 2 p.m. Brazil time? Yeah, 1 p.m. Brazil time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. This Saturday, we are starting ever so slightly earlier. So, yeah. Thanks for all y'all who dropped by. As always, appreciate y'all chatting with me, making sure I don't fall asleep, especially during that Corinthians Los game. Those games were really boring, man. It's like these games were one-sided, but those games were boring. Like these games are at least interesting because Red was pushing past. But yeah, okay. See you all around. Peace. Bye.